Yeah, interesting day for North Melbourne. So they have been pretty well beaten in their last three. It's the last three games, it's fair to say, and a bit of criticism for North Melbourne and Coach Alistair Clarkson over some of the selection. He has been sticking by some of the more veteran players, but I think 5 changes today for their game, and Luke Davies-Uniacke is one of them. Blake Jury, the top rookie pick, comes in as well, so he has turned to more kids against St Kilda today, but they are coming off losses to 90 points to Melbourne, 43 points to Gold Coast, and 75 points to Brisbane Lions. Boys, do we feel like, you said that Hawthorn's rebuild was on track, Brownie? Do you feel like the Kangaroos rebuild is on track 8 rounds into 2023?
I think their midfield, there's something to work with there. There's a nucleus. I think the problem is in their defensive end at the moment and at either end. So they need help for Larkey, because I think Larkey can become a 60 to 70 goal kicker for a year. I think Common's going to take time, and he's out now. But, they just lack depth at the moment.
And lastly, keep an eye on Harry Himmelberg, who is a free agent for GWS. Richmond, Sydney and St Kilda, the clubs interested. I think that Richmond are a huge chance to land his signature. Joey, how do you feel? We know they've got Taranto and Hopper. We discussed them off the top of the show. How do you feel like Himmelberg would fit into the Richmond lineup for next year?
Oh, beautifully. I really like Harry Himmelberg, probably more as an intercept defender rather than a forward. I'm sort of not sold he's a number 1 forward, but he might be a good foil to work alongside Tom Lynch if this is Jack Rewalt's last year. So you can play him at either end, but you don't have to give up any trade picks as well, which Richmond have obviously given a few away. So it'll be a good get for the Tigers.
Well done, Jay. We'll let you go. Good job as always, and you'll be rating your top 10 journalists at the Herald Sun as well at some point.
Probably.
That will be.
It'll go down well, do you reckon? Could be my last day at the Herald Sun.
Very good. Well done, Jay. Always great. The number 1 man from the Herald Sun. As he likes to tell us, built tough Aussie editions when it comes to water heating. Ask your plumber to install a ream. This is the Triple M footy prime time for Jim Beam. It's set to be an epic match, and that's worth raising a Jim Beam. Drink responsibly as the Pies come out, headed up by their skipper Darcy Moore, who's just doing wonderful things, whether he's on the field or off the field this year. So let's get into full preview mode of this game of football, because it teases to be a ripper if the Sydney Swans can keep track with the Pies. But let's go to the back row. Daisy Thomas and also
Steve
Johnson to tell us how it's going to unfold.
Did he just forget you?
Yeah, I think so.
That's okay. That's interesting. You've been here for.
I've been in his back pocket all day.
Yeah. Anyway, how do we see this one playing out? I think the conditions are certainly going to play a part in it. We know the Pies love to be so bold with that ball movement, but if the rain continues to fall down, we're under some sunny skies at the minute, but it will be damp and a little bit shifty underfoot, so it'll be interesting to see how they have to adapt. I think that plays into the Sydney Swans hard, who really enjoyed hard and tough and are more happy to take territory rather than look for those perfect plays. And a couple of the big boys up forward for them, obviously Buddy Franklin there and Logan McDonald will be providing a contest. I think the Sydney Smalls are going to provide some serious headaches for those Collingwood defenders.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the midfield battle today. I think that's where the game's going to be won and lost, as it is most weeks. You could probably vouch for that happening. But, we've got in there Parker, Warner, Mills, Rowbottom. They're proud players, the Sydney Swans boys. They'll hate the fact that they've let a couple of games slip that they probably should have finished off in recent weeks. And yeah, I think they're building something, these two teams. It goes back to that final last year where Collingwood are a little bit unlucky not to win that game and go into a grand final. So they'll be up and about as well, wanting to get a little bit of redemption for what happened to them there. So I'm looking forward to that midfield battle, and we'll see how that plays out.
Ryan Clark tagged Nick Dacos last year of halfback, and then Craig McRae put him into the middle, put him forward, so then they dropped the tag. Does he go to him from minute 1?
Well, I would be playing Nick Dacos in the middle of the ground from the opening bounce. Then they might force Clark to come into the centre bounce, which takes away one of Sydney Swans' best midfielders. So that'd be the way to do it. If he was to do that, he could also do it from a half-forward flank, but that'd be one behind ahead of the ball. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Does Isaac Heaney have the capabilities to do a role in terms of work to Dacos and then work off him? Because I think if it is a pure midfield and that's the way they go and that's the way we think, so Craig McRae forces the hand a little bit of the Sydney Swans. If he lines up directly on Heaney as it is, I think Heaney can really expose him with his decision-making, but also his ability to mark the ball going forward.
I think that's certainly something that would have been discussed from the Sydney Swans coaching group this week. But I think initially Clark has done the job before. He was able to push forward and score on him the last time he played on him as well. So that'll be number one. But yeah, you make a good point there, Daisy. I think if that's not working for them, we've seen what Ben Keys was able to do at Adelaide last week. He played on him and then tried to work off him and test him defensively, and unlucky not to get onto a couple more where Dacos was a little bit lazy. So that's definitely going to be plan B.
Choice Hotels around the grounds. There's another game going on at the moment, Daisy.
There certainly is, and we've got our man in the hot seat, Ethan Meldrum here, ready to tell us what's happening.
G'day to you guys. If I had a scoreboard right in front of me, I'll be able to tell you. But
Port by 1 point late into the third quarter.
Yeah, Port by 1 point, and played by inaccuracy as well. Port Adelaide 9 goals 16, Essendon 11 goals 3. So should be in front by a bit more. You'd think Port Adelaide.
Oh, considering you've inserted yourself into the pre-game, Eth, let's go through some more Triple M Red Z lending stats. Loans for the self-employed. Ash Chua not here today. It is his son's 18th birthday, I believe.
Yeah, so I've got the hot tag off the bench. Happy birthday to Ash's son, of course. Collingwood v Sydney. First time in 10 years these two sides have played at the MCG, which is remarkable. 11 times in a row that these sides haven't played here. Last 7 of those clashes decided by an average margin of 11 points. Of course, the prelim last year, Sydney have won 3 of those in a row against the Pies. Collingwood won 14 of the last 15 games at the MCG, though. Number 1 for contested ball differential, tackles, second for scores from stoppages. Josh Dacos cleared 30 disposals in his last 3 games. Hadn't done that in his previous 81 games of his career. Polled triple MVP votes in 2 of the last 3 games against Sydney as well. For the Swans, number 1 pressure team in the AFL, really good in the midfield as well. Second in the league for ground ball gets and loose ball gets. Callum Mills, last 3 games for Collingwood. Poll coaches votes in all of them. Brownlow votes in the 2 home and away games.
There's a serious battle going on between yourself and Ash Chua. Ash is a part of the furniture here, and you're trying to really cement yourself. Have you clipped up his last month and sent it to you and Giles? Because since Gather Round, I feel like Ash is really starting to stutter and stammer towards the finish line of this season.
I'm doing my best. I haven't clipped anything up to you, and I can tell you that much. I'm just doing my best.
Well, let's head down to this man who always does his best. Robbo for Bob Jane Team Arts.
Thanks, Brownie. And it's cold, bloody cold down here. Blue skies and whatever at the moment, but on the radar there's a little bit out there to see. Hopefully we're not in the corridor, but we'll see about that. We could be in the firing line in the afternoon. Collingwood, 2 big changes. As we know, Pendlebury in after that eye injury. Mason Cox lost a lot of blood with the spleen, hasn't played since round 2. Ginnivan not in the 22, and Kruger, as we know, are out with those ribs. Sydney have got a severe injury list. McInerney and Robbie Fox come in. They train, we found out, at Lakeside Oval to get rid of the warmth from Sydney and train in the cold and in the conditions to get ready for the MCG. So it's wet weather footy. Subs are Ginnivan for Collingwood, Aaron Francis for Sydney. Collingwood win by a point last week. Sydney go down by a point, and I reckon the Pies can do it again on the G.
Joey, would be talking about Sydney the way we are if they had got over the line against Port and the Giants. I mean, it is a game of inches, as we know, but if they have those 2 games, they're well entrenched even in the top 4.
Yeah, it's a great point, and that's what we do a bit. It's a result-driven industry, but maybe if we delve a bit deeper, Sydney are going a little bit better than we think because a couple of kicks or touch on the line here and there. And you're right. So I'm fascinated to see Sydney against the benchmark of the competition, where they're at. Their forward line has been a bit of an issue. They're just struggling to score. Their efficiency going inside 50, which has been one of their greatest strengths in previous years, has just been off. There has been a lot of talk about Buddy Franklin, but for me, I want to put it on guys like Will Hayward and Isaac Heaney, because they're 2 players that have played a lot of footy now, are at the prime of their career, and they're just been they're down from their best this season. So they're the guys that I want to look to. It's not so much young Logan McDonald or Buddy at 36 years of age. I want to see Heaney and Hayward have a big game on a big stage.
Just looking down at the Collingwood team, and I was looking down who that wild man down there is with the hair everywhere, and it's actually Bo McCreary. I've never seen him with his hair out at the moment. It's just a big bouffant, Stevie.
It is. I think he'll put it up though, Brownie, because it's getting in his eyes at the moment.
He normally wears the man bun.
I love watching him play though, just the pressure he gives them ahead of the ball. He's just an animal the way he goes about his business, McQuarrie.
Just the small intricacies of football. I think the Sydney away strip is just about one of the best jumpers in football. It's white and it's just got the red V. I think it's brilliant.
Do they not have it in a long sleeve?
aesthetically pleasing. I think they're a side that says no long sleeves.
Yeah, because we look up the other end. The Pies long sleeve is one of the great long sleeves in the game at the moment. So no one from Sydney is wearing one, where we've got 4 or 5 up the other end.
Who are they for our listeners, Daisy? Which are the Collingwood players in the long sleevers today?
We got Bobby Hill down there.
All the
McCreary is down there. Darcy Moore as well. Taylor Adams, and I think maybe Billy Elliott.
And Jamie Elliott.
Yeah.
I always thought Taylor Adams was tougher than wearing a long sleeve.
Well, I once told him when I played for my first game against the Pies, he was wearing the number 13, that it must be nice to play on your hero, but I didn't get a kick that day, so he's probably not as tough as we may think.
Okay, so the discussion around Lance Franklin, Stevie, there's a lot of people saying that maybe he's not in Sydney's best team, but I thought that he held up his end of the
There's
bargain.
not a lot of people saying that, Brownie. There's not a lot of people saying that.
There's a
couple. There's a couple.
Oh, it's Kane calls.
Yeah, that's my point.
Brownie, I think Dean Cox alluded to it a little bit before when he said that we need to make sure that he's able to engage a defender because he's still a really important player for us, but we've got to be careful and conscious that we don't go to him too often, because I think the last game they were criticised that Lance played that the ball went in his direction probably 50% of the time. It went inside 50, and that's too much. That's why Isaac Heaney and Will Hayward, these guys can't have the impact that they need to be having. They can't be too predictable going forward, so they need to, at times, play him deep, when he needs a bit of a rest, but at other times play him up around centre-half forward, so those guys get some good isolation, some good matchups in the forward 50s.
Let's have a look at the Harvey Norman replay. Up to 30% of clearance mobiles now at Harvey Norman. And the great Peter McKenna, camera on him at the moment. He would have been in your top 10 of all time if you had to play with him, Steve.
Oh, he didn't miss, Peter McKenna.
As we head into the middle, and we might head back down to Robbo in a minute to talk about the toss and the benches as well, but Darcy Moore and Callum Mills. Amazing that Callum Mills only a couple of weeks ago played at full-back on Tom Hawkins. He'll have a bigger role today. Can Sydney get them with their leg speed, Stevie?
I'm doubtful. I think that, there's a few nervous Collingwood supporters around today. They're thinking that this is a real danger game, and I think, probably inside this box as well. But I think just you can't doubt Collingwood. We know that they're going to give maximal effort every time they go onto the footy field. Yes, Sydney does have a talented list, and if they start well and their pressure is up and about, like their coach has alluded to before, well, then they could be in this game, but I'm tipping Collingwood.
Robbo, set the scene on this beautiful Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, well, blue skies, Brownie, but it's really cold. Like, seriously, it feels like about 6 degrees. I feel as though I'm sitting in the South Pole at Mawson Base with the Emperor Penguins, but it is really cold. Squirrely winds, south-southwest, gusting all over the joint. The flags are saying punt road in, and that's the way Sydney are going. They've won the toss, go into the grog squad or the punt road in.
Nice work, Robbo, for Bob Jane Team Arts. Buy 3, get 1 free deals plus instant cashback. Call order online today. So not far away from getting this one underway. Collingwood up against Sydney. Quick tip in the back row.
I am one of those nervous Collingwood supporters going into this one. Just think that the blockbuster syndrome could be a bit of a thing. Anzac Day, then a tough trip to Adelaide. The only reason why I still will be tipping the Pies is because the Swans also had a very tough one last week against the GWS Giants.
Nick Dacos just trying to run through the middle. Mills went to him. Parker went to him. Both of them bumped him. Then some Collingwood players come in late.
Into him.
Now he's going to Papley. Papley pushing and shoving him at the moment. Now Quainer comes in. So this one looks like, and I think that the tag will be there. Ryan Clark going straight to him at the first bound. So fireworks could be set here at the MCG. Collingwood up against Sydney. 2 big-time clubs with some big-time players. Here's Lee Montagna on Triple M Footy.
This week only, score a Big Mac meal and cheeseburger for just $6.90 on the My Macca's app. Sun's poking its head through. I know it's cold, but it's a good afternoon for football. 2 big clubs. If McDonald's and Ream Hot Water are underway, it is that man, Billy Frampton, who's been doing a great job. Wins the first centre clearance. Coming through was Taylor Adams in that long sleeve. Couldn't take the mark. Handball to side bottom. Who kicks a high tumbling ball inside 50. It's wide. And it's marked by another long sleever, Billy Elliott, who's standing on the boundary line. Going to have to kick this every bit of 50 metres. It'll take some sort of kick from here.
Just put the left hand out as if he's going to pull the kick.
He's going to load up and have a shot. He doesn't. He squares it up. He fooled everyone. Goes to Hoskin Elliott. Where are the crummers? One of them's Josh Dacos. Pendlebury couldn't get the handball free. This is all happening about 25 out from the Collingwood goal. Chad Warner just got boot the ball. Parker feeds it back. Oh, Robbie Fox had a fumble. Live ball now on the ground. Campbell. That's Braden Campbell for the Swans. And Parker just blasts it off the ground. This might be insufficient attempt. Let's get down to Robbo. There's an injury already. Bob JT Marks.
Centre bounce, Peter. It's Laddams coming off the ground, just seeing whether into the bench or going down in the rooms. He's going down the rooms. I reckon they're going to look at concussion, but also left arm, shoulder. So carrying that, got hit big time in the centre bounce, Joey.
Side bottom, smothered off the boot. Went back and picked it up. Noble danced around Haywood. Then sent his left footer, looking for DeGoey, sets himself, lost his boot as well. Then the ball came back to him, he picked it up, could have got a free kick. Adams was tough in and under. His handball went to Parker, who then just went in and belted a Collingwood player. And the ball comes out. High ball, relieving the area for Sydney. Haywood underneath it. Darcy Moore over the back. Huge mark by Darcy Moore, so he's still 55 out. He's a big kick of the footy too, Darcy Moore.
Looks like he's going to back himself to have a shot here too. Going back with some purpose.
Working really hard to get the hair out of his face.
No, he'll
Darcy
pull the
Moore looking for a pass. So he sets it up, looking for his tall forwards. Johnson! Big grab. 15 out. Good start to the Pies. And it looks like the Sydney Swans are going to be down a big man.
We've got to look at that on the Harvey Norman replay. It was DeGoey coming through that centre bounce. Laddams was on his haunches already after that contact in the middle, but then DeGoey came through with a left hip, caught shoulder and head as well. So no doubt, as Robbo predicted correctly, concussion test, but also a shoulder injury as well.
Love the way this guy plays. Super talented. He's just going to get better and better. A big marking option for the Pies to kick there first. 15 out directly in front. Kicks the goal. First one for Collingwood. 1 straight 6-0. Titanium Caravan Scoreboard.
That's where we know Sydney have been stretched in recent weeks with their key defenders lacking a little bit of height. And it just looked like when Darcy Moore was able to take that good grab between two Sydney Swans players, he went back and he thought, well, I'm just going to kick this to the hot spot and back our key forwards to get a good run and jump at it and take a contested mark, and that's what Johnson was able to do there.
Same as Elliott with that first kick as well, probably within distance, but a long point, not so good. So the preferred option, try and exploit that Sydney small defence.
Ethan, Choice Hotels around the grounds, game at Adelaide Oval.
Yeah, and it's the Bombers in front, 12-5-77. Archie Perkins getting the goal to put them in front of Port Adelaide, 10-16-76, 14 minutes left in the last quarter.
Taking a look at a couple of contested marks from Darcy Moore and then Ash Johnson. Triple M Harvey Norman replay, up to 30% off clearance mobiles. Now at Harvey Norman. Hurry while stocks last. We're back in the middle. And this time it's going to be McLean who's going to do the ruck work with Laddams down in the rooms.
High contact.
Free kick's going to go to Tom Mitchell.
Kick back here.
High contact as he went to kick that ball. So he'll take the free kick inside the centre circle.
Right over, please. Time back
Callum
on.
Mills and Nick Dacos. A little bit of pushing and shoving.
Play on.
And Mitchell just going to drive it towards about 30 metres out. Who's going to fly? It's going to be the big man, Hayden McLean, who takes the mark in defence. And happy to go lateral to Errol Gordon, one of the best kicks in the league. And that's a nice kick to his mate, Chad Warner, another young star, and he'll work back to Errol Gordon, who continued to run on. So they've worked it towards the wing. Shane Warne stand side, MCG. Sun is shining for the time being, and the kick goes towards Logan McDonald. Got two hands to it. Couldn't take the mark. Murphy. Sheether for the Swans. Just scrambles a little handball forward. Picked up by Papley. Goes inside 50. Heaney had two to beat. Side bottom of McCreary. He jumped early. He got the sit. And he's taken a nice contested mark to try and get the Swans first.
Thanks, Sydney.
On an interesting note, guys, with Laddams going out of the game, it's forced McLean to go up into the ruck, and it looked like from the start of the game he was actually set a role on Darcy Moore. That role's now gone to young Sheether, so he'll have his work cut out, and we'll have to look at the influence that Moore's having on this game today.
Isaac Heaney wanted to see a big game from him today, just the 7 goals in his 7 games so far this year. To get the quick response for the Swans, it's been an issue for him this year. Isaac Heaney, that's a bad miss. Through from one behind. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard. Titanium Caravans built to tackle Australia's toughest conditions. Visit titaniumcaravans.com.au.
Nick Dacos to do the kicking in. Gets his first possession by leaving the defensive square. Short ball finds Quainer. Hasn't lost a one-on-one in 5 years. He told us on Triple M football he hasn't lost one this year. So Quainer. Right foot towards centre wing. Looking for Johnson. He sets himself at the front. Good hands. So important to get that mark on centre wing, and he gave it off to Nick Dacos, who ran and gave it to his brother. Pendlebury forward handball. They've got Frampton on. He gets another handball. Frampton crosses the 50. The big fella lowers the eyes, looks for a pass. Probably should have kicked the goal. Now Lloyd. Handball out. Sydney under pressure. Ball jars out. McCartan at ground level. So too Elliott. Picked up the ball again was Parker. Went back to the Lizard. He slithered his way towards the back line and kicked the ball along the ground. And now Sydney through Goulden.
Haywood up at half-back. Short kick finds Franklin, who's getting booed for being a good player. So Buddy, back of the wing, he sees Papley up ahead, so he doesn't want to go long down the line. Squares it up to Blakey, who runs back deep in his defensive 50, then pulls a kick. Good ball to Braden Campbell. So they're going to come out this member side of the MCG from half-back, or he shanks it, Campbell. It went through three hands of Collingwood players, and then Murphy slipped. So McDonald goes off the ground, only as far as Frampton. Tackle, taken in a tackle. Now Florent sweeps a handball. Here's Ryan Clark off Nick Dacos. Lets it fly from 50. And there's a win. And look at them all go to Nick Dacos. All the Swans players are going to give a bit of lip to Nick Dacos. Murphy, he's in there trying to stick up for the youngster. He's going at it with Buddy. A bit of feeling in this one, and no doubt Nick Dacos is a target player. And on the Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard, Sydney 117, the Pies 1 straight 6.
It certainly is. Team tag. You can see Buddy Franklin, after that last shot on goal, came to him and tried to get into him as well. But as soon as Clark kicked the goal, he didn't even go for the celebration. He went straight back to Dacos, as everyone else did.
That'd be a free kick against Papley.
And they're on again. Brother Josh has come in now.
Papley went in and belted him in the back. Now they're into it. Maynard's in there. Josh Dacos on the back. Parker in there as well. And then thrown to the ground was Heaney. McCreary's in there. He's put his hair up as well. This is all happening at centre-half forward for Sydney. It's going to be a free kick to Collingwood. So the umpire now trying to get players back into the middle of the ground. Sidebottom said, yep, I'll take the free kick. He's in the middle of the ground. He's less to wait for the host broadcaster. And now that is Sidebottom. Tumbles one inside forward 50. McCartan couldn't take it. He was tackled to the ground. Goulden getting early touches. Nick Dacos tackled around the neck. Should be a free kick. There's a spot right behind play as well. Spot lines everywhere at the moment.
McCartan and Mychek, I think, are into it now.
So Josh Dacos has got the football about 55 from home. Right foot to the top of the square. What have they got to offer? Big ball, but it's touched through for one behind. And this has been a big start to the game. It's even at the moment, 1-1-7 apiece.
I don't want to see that again. No.
Oh, real old school this. What about the umpire? Telling the players, I don't want to see this. Leave it alone, umps. They can do what they like. If there's a free kick, pay it. Parker. Short. Oh, he missed Cunningham in the corridor. Could be a turnover. Mitchell. There's Nick Dacos running off Clark. Goes on the left boot. Hoskin Elliott in space inside 50. Gets him on the bounce. And now Nick Dacos goes and has a bit of lip to Ryan Clark. And all the Pies get over to Ryan Clark.
It's going to be on again.
And say they've got one back.
The buzzer's in his ear. He's gnawing on it.
Loving this. Pies have got their second, 2-1-13. Sydney 1-1-7. Good bit of feeling. Enjoying this one Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, well, going back to that Nick Dacos one, I don't think it was because he didn't want to defend. It was a little bit of an unlucky deflection that landed in Clark's hands, and that's why they were able to kick the goal. But that was always going to be a team plan. If he could get off him, they were going to get back into Nick Dacos. But the perfect way to respond is do what he done there, concentrate on his footy with all the attention that he was given, and try and hurt them going back the other way, and he set that goal up beautifully.
Robbo on the boundary.
Yeah, Darcy Moore's brought himself off the ground with the doctor, blurred vision, so they're doing an eye test as well. Don't forget Laddam's in the rooms. Heavy contact to their head and shoulder.
Look at Big Mason in there. For McDonald's room up water, Triple M Rocks footy. Electric start here at the MCG. The Pies and the Swans, goal for goal. And there's been a bit of fisticuffs as well. Mitchell at ground level, lost the football. Warner went in and picked it up. His handball was wild. That match up again. Dacos just shovels the ball out towards Crisp. Quick one to DeGoey, back to Quainer. Steps around Franklin nicely and then lays one off. Noble, the bounce needs to be good. He's got company. Now he picks it up, Noble. Settles on his right foot, looking for side bottom. Has to stand and deliver. Flicked it over the back. First one back there is going to be McInerney. Can he pick it up? He's under the pump. Now Sydney. Nice chain of handballs. Out towards Campbell. McInerney tackled to the ground by Sidebottom. And the umpire balls it up.
Choice Hotels around the grounds.
Yeah, 2 quick goals to Port Adelaide, 1 to Junior Rioli. They're sitting out 13 points in front, 12-18-90, Essendon 12-5, 77.
Pies lead by 6 points early in the first quarter here. Cox down to Crisp. Quick kick off one step, under pressure, inside 50. Sydney at ground level. Braden Campbell, he's kick under pressure. Only as far as side bottom. 55 out, screws it to the top of the square. Johnson tried to fly, couldn't get hands to it. Blakey just tries to punch it forward. Collingwood's forward pressure's been good early. McCreary lurking. Ground ball. There's going to be a lot of ball on the ground in this game this afternoon. Warner taking in a tackle. Crisp coming through. And now Parker got the handball to McInerney, who went looking for Clark. Little deflection from Crisp. Now Cox to Noble, who kicks a bit of a munger wide across the other side of the 50-metre line, but only as far as Errol Gordon. And he goes short to Ollie Florence, centre-half back.
Could use a Gordon, like him at half-back. Short ball. And now they get it to Blakey running. At half-back, pinpoint pass, looking for Hayward. Hayward dropped what he should have marked. Now he's got a bit of an issue. Out to McLean, Schultz and Candy. Didn't know McCreary was there. Should have been holding the ball. Play on called the umpire. Warner in the middle of the ground. Dives for it. Handball off the row bottom. He's got Blakey on. Completely misses him. Cox came in. Now Nick Dacos again. DeGoey, Mitchell. Got Crisp on. Running through the middle of the Magpies. Left foot, Crisp inside forward 50. Bobby Hill out the back. The bouncing ball. Beat everyone. Myercheck picks it up. Myercheck kicks the goal. Big move by the Pies. The umpires are going to discuss it.
Score review. Leave it. Time, walk away. Please check if it's hit the post and touched off the boot.
Score is a goal at the moment by the umpire. So the review, that was brilliant play by the Magpies from half back all the way to full forward, and Myercheck, I'm not sure how they can overturn this. This should be a goal. Nick Dacos numbers so far.
Nick Dacos, Red Z Lending stats, up to 4 disposals, 100% by foot.
Triple M Red Z Lending, loans for the self-employed, REDZED. As the Arc makes its decision, hopefully soon, everybody can see this is a goal. It's taking a long time to do that. Now they're checking, was it touched off the boot? I can't see a finger going back there, Dale Thomas.
I can't either, and there was no remonstration from the Sydney defender there to put his hand up and say, yes, I did, overturn it. We go now to the...
Well, the players are now walking down.
Looking at these angles and edge, we can see there is no spike. Decision on scoreboard.
So that's going to be a goal. All the Collingwood and Sydney players are starting to wander down there like it was going to be behind, but this will be a goal to Myercheck. And Collingwood get their third, 3-1-19. Sydney 1-1-7, 12-point lead. Titanium Caravan scoreboard. Titanium Caravans are built to tackle Australia's toughest conditions. Visit titaniumcaravans.com.au.
The forward pressure from the Pies has been awesome so far in this one. Ball living down there, but their ability to get after the Swans and not let them transition out easily has been a real highlight so far.
Yeah, Red Z Lending stats. Collingwood's pressure factor up to 218, way above the AFL average of 180. 6 forward, 50 tackles to none.
I think these greasy conditions will suit Collingwood style. Just surge the ball on, keep it moving forward. They've already been able to do that a number of times. Good start by the Pies. Good feeling in this game. Halfway through the first quarter.
Okay.
Goals to Johnson, Hoskin Elliott and Myercheck.
Here we go.
Mills and Nick Dacos standing side by side at this centre bounce. Clark will come in after the bounce. Frampton and McLean. McDonald's and Ream Hotwater. Parker had a little fumble.
High contact.
And that was taken high.
Sydney, free kick.
Let's go down to Robbo. Rob Jane team up.
Yeah, Ladham's back out of the rooms now, sitting on the front. So that's a good sign for Sydney. Just explaining to John Longmire, the coach, the right side, the right neck. Still uncomfortable. I reckon they'll continue with the big fella, though.
Taylor, stand.
Gordon with another disposal and another nice kick finds Hayden McLean, centre-half forward, 55 out. Then he has a player all free inside 50. Miscommunication and breakdown by the Pies. And it's Isaac Heaney who'll go and have his second shot for goal in this first quarter. 45 metres out, 50-degree angle.
Luke, hop out, please,
Interesting
mate.
to see the Harvey Norman here, just how he did get out in such a big pocket of space. Yeah, Frampton's backtracking,
Just
so
up and down,
Quainer handed over to Frampton. Frampton went to the line thinking he was going to have the long shot.
So Heaney shanked one badly from a better position earlier this quarter. And this one's not even going to get the distance from 45 out. Lands in the goal square. And the Pies will run it out through Noble. Although his kick smothered, he ran too far and he ran into McInerney. Logan McDonald has a fumble. Taps into the path of Sheether. Well done by Quaynor not to give away the free kick. Nick Dacos, little handball. Pendlebury. Hoskin Elliott. They sweep it out by hand again. Collingwood. Now crisp. Markov continued to run on. This is along the boundary line. Shane Warne stands side. Mychek was on his own, but great work from Campbell. Left his man to get the fist in. And then we should get a ball up right on centre wing.
Been a real feature of their play, Collingwood. They're getting back in numbers, supporting their defence, and then they're looking to really run and gun out of their defence. But that was a terrific effort by Campbell to stop that bit of play.
Yeah, it was brilliant, Stevie. Pendlebury, handball up to Josh Dacos, right foot from centre wing, looking for Mychek. Elliott at the back, couldn't mark it. Ball popped out the back. Now the Swans. Fox, underground ball, got it to Mills. Goulden, forward handball. Wants his left, got it back to Mills. Sydney running the ball back. Good pressure by the Magpies. They've turned it over. Pendlebury picked it up. Chipped the ball inside forward 50. The lead comes from Cox. Florent couldn't mark it. He got in the way though. Affected that spoil. And now Sydney at the back end.
They have some numbers. Lloyd to McInerney. Takes the mark. Defensive 50 around the grounds. Choice Hotels.
Yeah, Jake Stringer just kicking a goal for the Bombers. So 7 minutes left. They trail by 6 points against Port Adelaide.
Good kick into the corridor. Mills. That was a poor kick though. Tried to go short. Through the corridor, picked off by Murphy, who sees Bobby Hill wide inside 50. Well done again by Sydney. That was McInerney get the hand in. And now Fox and McInerney. Again, Collingwood's forward pressure's very good, and side bottom just gets a little deflection, and we'll get a throw in 50 metres out. Member side of the MCG. Collingwood 15 inside 50s to 3, doing all the attacking. They lead this one by 12 points.
The boundary thrown on the 50. Frampton worked his way to the front. De Goey went through scooting. He couldn't take it with him. Kept running inside the forward 50 to Goey. Ball bobbling around and McInerney picked it up. Pendlebury tackled him. We'll ball it up. Right on the 50. Good quarter of footy so far. Umpire elevates it. McLean wins it. Rowbottom picked it up and it was a high one towards centre wing. Markov is there. Franklin is there. Fisted away from both of those guys. Heaney will get a free kick. He was tackled too high by side bottom.
Put him up now.
And he's at half back.
Takes his time getting to his feet and then wants to get it moving. He wants to switch it to the open side. It's a good kick. Goulden has found plenty of space in this first quarter. Has Franklin on a lead. Another nice pass. Franklin couldn't take it in the hands. Good pressure from Darcy Moore. And again, the Pies will mop it up from Noble, but the kick out to a contest was marked by Robbie Fox in front of Brody Mychek. Right on the wing. Outer side MCG. Collingwood 19, Sydney 7. We've got 8 minutes to go in this first quarter. Oh, there's a kick from Cunningham. He went into the corridor and it went straight into the umpire, did Mills, and now it's a turnover. This could cost a goal. Although De Goey fumbled a ball when he was in 15 metres of space. And Sydney get out of jail.
Chipping the ball at half back and he finds Rowbottom.
Outside 5.
Rowbottom, players queuing up in the middle of the ground. Went with a dangerous ball and it's turned over again. Nick Dacos picks the footy up on centre wing and went back to half forward, but ill-directed. Straight back to Sydney and the mark taken by Robbie Fox, sliding in. Chips the ball backwards in the defensive 50. Florent, he moves the ball even wider to the outer side. Sitting underneath that is Lloyd. It's a stack of the footy, Lloyd.
Play on.
Good to play on. He's got Cunningham running. Uses him now. He's got space on the outer wing. He'll have a bounce. He's got room to have a second bounce. Selects not to now with the foot to half forward, looking for Papley. Smallest man down there against some big guys. And the big guys went out. Frampton. Now the ball jars out. Now Sydney an opportunity. They've got players on inside the front of the goal, but going for a shot at goal, and he's made some terrible mistakes in his first quarter. Has been Isaac Heaney, had McInerney on, and the ball slides out of bounds.
Felt like he was certainly in two minds there. I think he was going to pull the trigger, sensing he was under pressure, but as he realised he had more time than he had, or thought he had, he then looked to the top of the square, ballied the ball out of bounds.
Throw in left forward pocket. Sydney with an opportunity. Adams, who's taken off the long sleever, and he's put the short sleever on. Quick kick from Collingwood. Mason Cox just tries to knock it forward and get that surge ball going. Fox read it well. Under pressure, got the handball out. Sydney now. Blakey, short kick looking for Franklin. Met solidly by side bottom. Again, another fumble from Robbie Fox. They're not handling the conditions as well, Sydney. And Collingwood on the counter-attack. Pendlebury didn't want to go to ground, kept his feet. He wanted a slide-in free kick. He sensed that the Sydney players are going to go to ground, and now there's a hard ball to be won on the wing. Crisp squeezes it forward. Josh Dacos first onto it. Forward handball for De Goey. Had a fumble earlier. Tries to tap this one forward again, and then just goes off the ground. Keeps the surge mentality going. Hoskin Elliott was clean. Got it to Mychek, who from a metre out has missed. 3-2-20, Collingwood, Sydney 1-1-7, Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Whenever the ball's been in chaos, Collingwood have looked like they're going to be the cleaner team. I haven't seen Sydney fumble like this for a long period of time, and that's due to the perceived pressure because of the pressure that Collingwood have been putting on.
Stevie Johnson on the super special comment. Seabus Super making hard work pay off, and the ball's out of bounds on centre wing on the outer side. The Shane Warne stand.
Just happy to keep it moving, aren't they, Stevie? Just their ability just to, if it's on the deck, just to scrap it forward either by a fist or kick it on.
They've actually looked more dangerous from their defensive 50 stoppages than what Sydney have in their forward 50. They look like if it gets outside 50, they're going to be hard to stop going defensively.
It's a 13-point lead to the Magpies at the 21-minute mark.
Play on.
Ball on the outer side. The umpire calls play on. At the ground level was Pendlebury. He inched the ball forward. Hoskin Elliott already kicked the goal. He was tackled. Doesn't want to let this one out. And he held onto it. The umpire's going to ball it up. Time in the forward half, Heath.
Time in forward half. Red Z lending stats 65% Collingwood, 18 inside 50s to 5 their way.
18-5. That's a massive number for the Pies. Only 2 goals in front, though. Wasted a couple of opportunities. De Goey had a bad fumble before. They go to half forward. Sydney fisted away. Bouncing ball. Josh Dacos being good. He was collared in the tackle low. Pendlebury at ground level. Wants to get it out. The umpire might ping him here. I think he's going to. He looked at it and then he saw the ball pop out and it went underneath Adams and we'll have a ball up.
Big Lance looks a little bit angry at the moment, Joey.
Yeah, he's throwing his weight around, wasn't he? But he can do that occasionally. Just likes to hit some bodies, get up the ground. Now he goes back to centre half forward. There's going to be a free kick from this scramble. Again, it's going to go the way of the Swans. It's Luke Parker. Short to McLean.
Outside
Murphy's
5.
dropped off for Collingwood. Heaney now drifts forward. And they don't want to go deep, Sydney. They want to try and find a better option. So Mills now into the pocket over the head of a couple of blonde Swans. They look like twins. Sheether and Heaney down there. We're going to go to the Robbo, Bob Jane Teamnuts update on Peter Adams.
Yeah, he's still on the front pine, but they've given you a full fitness test with regards to strength in the shoulder. They're moving his neck. They've had him up and down the boundary. Still talking with John Longmire a lot as well, so they'll consider him a quarter time, I reckon.
Party boy Adams. Boundary throw in. The ball socket away. Pendlebury with the first one there. Papley came charging in and got the ball out of bounds. Round the grounds.
Round the grounds. Port Adelaide 6 points in front. Minute 38 left in that game, so still up for grabs for the Bombers.
Keep some live updates on that one, Heath, as we're calling this one. The Pies lead by 13 points. As we see on the Harvey Norman replay, just talking to Laddams on the boundary. Out of the ruck goes Frampton. Turns the footy around into the middle of the ground and a bouncing ball. Hoskin Elliott wrapped up again. And we'll have another ball up. So the game just tightening up a bit here. A lot more stoppages than what there was in the first 12 to 15 minutes.
Thanks, boys. Thanks, mate. Billy and Hayden, clear out.
Around the grounds, Ethan.
Yeah, Essendon about to bomb it inside 50, a minute 20 left on the clock, so 6 points the margin there, still for Port Adelaide. Looks like a mark to Andrew Phillips as well, 48 metres out.
McLean got the ball inside 50 for Sydney, but as they've done most of this quarter, Collingwood repel, and Johnny Noble's been involved in a number of them. And he finds Hoskin Elliott. Noble continues to run on, takes the mark in front of him to change gates.
Been good, your man, Hoskin Elliott, Joey.
His pressure's been good. He's clean with the footy as well up there in that forward line. He was the one who picked it up with one paw and gave it to Mychek.
Noble goes long to Big Meso in the bright orange boots, takes the mark. He goes inside 50. Ash Johnson's on his own. Couldn't take the mark, but he might get the free kick front on contact. While he goes back to have a shot, talk us through what's happening at the Adelaide Oval, Ethan.
Yeah, Andrew Phillips just looked like he almost had it, had the shot on goal from outside 50. It's gone through for a point, so Port Adelaide in possession, 5 points in front, 30 seconds left, just bombing it down the wing now.
Ash Johnson got a free kick front on contact against Robbie Fox. 45 metres out. He's going to kick this on the junction of the 50 and the boundary line. Kick the opening goal of the game. That nice Casual approach, just going to go across the face and through for another behind. So for all their time in half and inside 50s, Collingwood, they've just got 3 goals, 3:21 to show for it. Sydney hanging in there, 1-1-7, Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Stand.
So McInerney, just inside the 50s defending, handballs it off to Lloyd, who ran around the back. Lloyd with a right footer towards centre wing. Here's Laddams. Can't mark it, but he created a path for Papley. Papley handball backwards. Sheatham with a right footer looking for Logan McDonald. Haven't called his name yet, Heath.
Yeah, Logan McDonald, just a second disposal for him.
So Chris down to half forward, but he's put it out of bounds on the full, so free kick will go to Sydney at half back.
Justin's kick. Yeah,
2 minutes 20 left in this first quarter. Lights are on.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's cold, but pretty nice conditions for football.
Play on inside. Play on.
It's been a bit of an arm wrestle after a fast start. McInerney will kick a long ball to a contest.
Holding. Darcy Moore. Collingwood. Holding. Darcy Moore. Collingwood.
Darcy Moore was held at the back of that contest, and then Peter Laddams has thrown it away. Oh, Peter Laddams. He's prone to a brain fade, and he's given that one away, and it might get Darcy Moore within range.
Should have stayed off.
Got 50. That's enough. Here's the mark.
Him and Frosty, they're the two in the competition, aren't they?
Yep. The old brain fade, Peter. And Darcy Moore, who set one up that was marked by Ash Johnson at the start of the game. He's a bit closer this time. He'll be able to kick it 52 metres, and he's going back like this time. He will have a shot. How many goals Darcy Moore got in his career there, Ethan?
67, Joey.
67 goals. Started as a forward, of course. Launches it from 50. Gets plenty of purchase on it, but just across the face.
Right out of the square.
Clear the fence. 3-4, 22 Collingwood. Sydney 1-1-7. Minute 45 left in this first quarter.
The final score in that Port Adelaide game as well. They've won by 5 points. That's now 5 wins in a row for the Power over Essendon.
Blakey did the kicking in, the short ball, and he finds Mills. Mills in the back pocket. City end of the MCG. He's got a player at centre half back, and it's a nice kick to Florent. Florent transfers play out to the outer side. They've got some space to move now. Cunningham to McInerney. McInerney will get it on the bounce. Can he keep it in? He can't. That's a poor kick from Cunningham. They're out everywhere then, the Sydney Swans. And again, they butcher the footy, Stevie.
And again, they fumble it. That's one part of McInerney's game, which he's been very good at in his short career so far, but I reckon I've seen him do it 3 or 4 times today. It wasn't the best kick, but he still should have been able to mop that up.
So the ball will be thrown in centre wing. Frampton and Laddams. There's Adams, shovels it out and does well. Got it to Frampton. He goes towards half forward. Mycheck and McCartan. Mycheck worked McCartan off the footy. Had a little fumble. They both did, and then Mycheck almost tackled his own teammate Crisp, who handballed it back to Mitchell. Throws it on the boot inside 50. Free kick, Taylor Adams playing in front of Cunningham. Harry didn't think he did a lot wrong. Umpire said it was a hold.
10 metres.
And Taylor Adams, who at some stage in that first quarter went and took off his long sleeve up, put the short sleever on, will try and have a shot from 50 metres out, 45-degree angle.
The left arm, they'll pay that against Cunningham. Wrapped it round the body of Adams. That's the cue they're looking for, the umpires to pay the hold. Again,
there was just that chaos ball going forward, and we've seen them chain with hands. The forward handball, I'd love to know what the metres gained by Collingwood is with their handball forward.
Do we keep that stat, Heath?
Yeah, we certainly do. Metres gained by hand. Pies are plus 119 so far.
4 goals for the year for Taylor Adams from 48 metres out. They need to get some reward for their dominance, Collingwood, and another miss. So 3-5-23. Sydney 1-1-7. 20 seconds left in this first quarter. Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Could nearly have been a margin hard for Sydney to come back from in this one if the Pies had made the most of all their opportunities. 3 goals, 5. Of those 8 shots, 6 of them certainly gettable.
Errol Gould, standing start with the left foot towards centre wing. Going back with enormous courage was McDonald, and he got whacked for his trouble, and then Buddy fell over him after that. But Sydney have gone forward. They're down to the last few seconds. Can Laddams take a mark? He can. And he can make up for his mistake of 50. He's had a big first quarter, Laddams. Came off early, almost knocked into next week, had the concussion test, come back out, gave away a 50. Now he's taken a big mark on the quarter-time siren.
This becomes a really important kick. All the dominance the Pies have had. To get one back just on the bell here of quarter-time. Give them great confidence going into the break.
It's a nice one-handed grab too.
1 metre.
To the punt road end. This would be huge for Sydney. 20 out directly in front. Laddam's left foot. Oh dear. Laddams misses from 20 out directly in front. It just hasn't been his quarter, this first one. He'll regroup. So will the Swans, but Sydney, they trail the Pies by 15 points. 3-5-23. Sydney a 1-2-8. For McDonald's Ream Hot Water. Triple M. Rocks footy.
That quarter, the Titanium Caravans. Titanium Caravans are built to tackle Australia's toughest conditions. Visit titaniumcaravans.com.au.
For McDonald's,
Triple M Rocks footy.
this week only, score a small Big Mac meal and cheeseburger for just $6.90. Only on the My Macca's app.
Haven't settled on a Melbourne breakfast show to wake up with yet? Triple M's got one we think you'll dig.
Under the cover of darkness, drop all the soil in the middle of the bay. Everyone who lives in Yarraville would still have their hair.
The Marty Sheargold Show, featuring Marty Sheargold. Ooh, yeah, he's loose.
Takes on a redskin. Can't say that anymore.
And he does not care, so you might want to buckle up.
Put your belt on, you don't need his hat.
If you're about good times and rock's greatest hits, the Marty Sheargold Show's for you. Weekdays, 6 to 9 a.m, only on 105.1 Triple M.
The Quarter Pounder. 100% Aussie beef, cheese, mustard and pickles. If you think about it long enough, you might forget you've already made dinner. Now that is a pickle. Grab a Quarter Pounder on the My Macca's app today. Available after 10:30 a.m.
Together, we create what's next. You've got the potential. We've got the means. So let's get started. Apply for mid-year at RMIT. Start July. Cricos 001 22A RTO 3046.
Australia's constitution is 122 years old and still doesn't recognise Indigenous Australians. This year, we have a chance to fix that and give Indigenous Australians a real say in their future. To find out more, visit yes23.com.au. Join us.
Authorised by Dean Park and Australians for Indigenous Constitutional Recognition Limited, Sydney.
G'day guys, Matt Wright here. Now jump on board for a once-in-a-lifetime adventure. Experience a wild territory at Top End Safari Camp with me. Escape the cold this winter and head up north. Check out topendsafaricamp.com.au.
For every sense of humour, Listener has your comedy sorted. Laugh out loud with Abby Chatfield on her podcast, It's a Lot. Laugh with us listening to Complete Drivel with Christian Hull. Laugh till you cry with Ursula Carson on That's Enough Already. Or laugh along with Will Anderson's TOEFOP podcast. Laugh like you would with your best mate with Rosie and Jacob on Just the Gist. And laugh all day with the Matt and Alex All Day Breakfast podcast. For all your laughs and more, download the Listener app and search comedy. Listener.
Autumn is here. The season is changing. You can feel the chill in the air at night now. Prepare your immune system for winter with Nature Bee Power Pollen. It's a one-stop shop. Nature Bee Power Pollen is nature's superfood, supporting a healthy body and mind through a broad range of micronutrients. Stay strong through the seasonal changes with a 200-day supply of Nature Bee Power Pollen for just $160 plus delivery. Plus a bonus pack of pollen and honey soap. Order your Power Pollen today at powerpollen.com.au.
This exploding bath bomb situation has got me thinking, Sarge. You can really relax knowing you're insured with Budget Direct.
Aye, especially with their sum insured safeguard added to your home insurance policy.
Add Budget Direct's optional sum insured safeguard to your home insurance policy and we'll increase the sum insured up to 25%.
Insurance solved with Budget Direct.
Terms and conditions apply. Issuer Auto and General Insurance Company Limited. Read PDS and TMD at budgetdirect.com.au to decide if products suit you. Individual circumstances and policy terms may vary. Compare for yourself.
Join the project tonight for a special celebration of Jocks on Frillo. Friends and chefs from across the globe share memories of his remarkable life. A very special project. 6:30 tonight on 10 and 10 Play. Followed by episode 1 of MasterChef.
Shut up! The footy's on the radio!
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Beacon Trade. Beacon Trade's here to partner with your business with a huge range of lighting, fans and electrical accessories. Beacon Trade, let's make light work.
That was a fiery first quarter at the MCG. Collingwood kicked 3 goals to 1 and they lead by 15 points. Ryan Clark tagging Nick Dacos, kicked the goal early. All the Sydney players attacked Nick Dacos. There were spot fires everywhere. Then the exchange happened at the other end when Nick Dacos set up a goal and they all went to then and had a go at Ryan Clark. So it's been a big first quarter. Robbo might set the scene down there with party boy Laddams. He went off, he came back on. How is he?
Well, he seems to be okay, and they were desperate to keep him there because it happened in the opening bounce, the centre bounce, and he got collected by DeGoey, head high, so they've taken him in the rooms to check concussion and also shoulder. So they've given him a full fitness test, had him up and down, strengthened the shoulder and the neck, so they've given him the all clear. But yeah, as you said, tense, all in, spot fires, typical of this encounter. I tell you what, it is cold, and we found too that Isaac Heaney and a couple of kicks going to that punt road end were being held up. So really tricky southerly wind swirling at the G.
Triple M Red Z leading stats.
Yeah, all Collingwood, plus 13 inside 50s, plus 11 forward half intercepts, leading ball winners on the ground. Fox and Parker, 11 for the Swans. Jack Crisp leading the way for the Pies with 10.
Seabus Super making hard work pay off the back row.
Yeah, it looked like Callum Mills got him in at the end of that first quarter of the players. He probably said we're within grasp and we couldn't have played any worse. And John Longmire very animated at the quarter-time break.
It'll be a very fascinating second quarter here in Sydney. As Stevie J just said, wipe that first quarter and be glad that they're only 15 points down, or Collingwood look like blowing this one open. Pendlebury, first centre clearance. Parker wraps up Tom Mitchell.
Thanks, Tom. Billy.
Pendlebury, Mills, Chad Warner, all at the feet of the rucks in this contest. It's Crisp, though, who squeezes the ball towards half forward. Goes to space. Lloyd was first there. Hoskin Elliott, pressure was good. Gordon mops up the ball, feeds it back, and now Parker takes a mark. And they've got a bit of space here, Sydney, on the outer wing. Kick finds Hayward. Darcy Moore left his man to take the mark. So Logan McDonald is free inside 50, but Collingwood roll numbers back. So Sydney prepared to play this kicking game. Patient build-up. The skipper Mills on the Toyota logo, out of side.
Yours kick.
Again, happy to chip it around. Draw out the Collingwood defence.
Outside 5.
Inching it up towards the 50, still wide. Interesting approach here by the Sydney Swans. Now they're going to wheel and go in towards the top of the square, but Collingwood have got about 5 spare players back there. They can all raffle it. Side bottom handball to Maynard. In his defensive 50, well done by Heaney. Just hedged his bets. Forced Maynard to kick it under pressure. Point of the square, half back. Again, Collingwood have the outnumber. Tom McCartan on hands and knees, so's Mychek. Umpire's going to try and let him get it out, but in the end forced to call the ball up.
Don't mind the approach from the Swans there because they were still taking territory as they were kicking the ball. The last thing you want to do is start to take those lateral kicks and just let the Collingwood defence shift. Every time they kicked it, they went forward, drew a defender out.
Both engaged.
Saw a ball up near centre wing, side bottom, had a go at it, couldn't get it. Laddams, he was pushed over. Chad Warner, Bananas one out of the pack to half forward. Darcy Moore being held. Umpire said play on. Then he was collared in a tackle. Quainer's handball, looking for and finding his teammate who goes over the boundary line in Murphy.
Thanks, guys. Watching here.
Sydney have taken the 36 uncontested mark to the Pies 7, so a clear directive to when they do win it back to be patient with it, try and draw that defence out rather than going to the Pies numbers who are flooding back.
Laddams and Frampton to do the ruck work. Laddams takes front position, but Frampton won it clearly. Pendlebury, handball looking for Nick Dacos being held. Buddy picked it up and then went out of bounds as well. Chris pushing him over the boundary line. We'll have a boundary throw in on the 50 for Sydney.
It's an interesting one, Daisy. I think they actually need to try and take that contest just a little bit earlier. I know that Collingwood are getting back in numbers, but you've got to get back while they're still a little bit disorganised rather than allowing them to get set, understand where that ball's going to go and get their numbers to where the full of the ball's going to be.
They've all thrown in, 50 out from the Swans goal. Laddams had an interesting first quarter. Handball. Now Florent throws it on the boot. McDonald coming out full-chested, takes the chest mark. They'll have a shot 40 metres out, slide angle.
Just playing in front there. First to react, it was just a hack kick forward.
Right out, mate.
Under pressure from Florent. Murphy going back the other way, couldn't affect it. Maynard was hoping he may have gone back with a touch ball conviction, but a nice mark coming the other way, McDonald.
So Logan McDonald, 14 goals in his 7 games this year. Normally a pretty reliable set shot for goal. From 45, pushes it left, so nobody's getting it right down that end. We'll get the Robbo in a minute, whether it's still blustery, how those conditions are, but Sydney 139, Collingwood 3-5-23. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. Robbo, Bob Jane T-Marts, what's the weather doing?
Yeah, it's a south-southwest and it's strong, so it's gusting, swirling all over the joint. As I said, ball holding up down the punt road end, but they're having real difficulty in accuracy in the city end.
Johnson over the top. Big mark at half-back. Got a clean pair of hands. And he's looking for Myercheck now at half-forward. DeGoey was out the back. Side bottom got it. Barrels it forward. Looking for Elliott. The bounce will be key here. Elliott, can he pick it up? Now he's got Fox. The bounce just went a little bit high. And he couldn't run onto it like he wanted to. The boundary throw in.
That becomes a concern for the Swans when they're so slow with the ball. You'd think that defence would be set going the other way. But on that occasion, as soon as the Pies kicked it out the back, they had about 50 metres of space to work back into. If the ball had sat, Elliott would have had a good look at them.
14-point lead to the Magpies. Parker, tackled by Mitchell, ridden into the ground. That'll be in the back. Parker's had a stack of it, Triple M Red Z Lending.
Yeah, Luke Parker, Red Z Lending stats, 12 disposals, couple of clearances as well.
These sort of conditions today, a little bit greasy. Tough, lot of ground ball. He goes laterally to Blakey. He wants to go further.
This is allowing Collingwood time to get back. You look at their players through the middle of the ground. They're going to get back and they're going to have to go into this uncontested style mark game again.
Collingwood got their zone set up. They're not phased by this sort of ball movement. They'll allow this all day, Collingwood.
That's so far.
Blakey will switch it back to this members' side. So they haven't really gone anywhere, Sydney. They've taken 4 or 5 uncontested marks. And then it just takes one poor kick like that and the ball's out of bounds.
And that's what they'll get. They'll allow certain players to have the ball in their hand. They understand that there's a couple of players in their back after the beautiful kicks. Jake Lloyd, you want to tighten up on, make sure he doesn't get that ball. But Robbie Fox, not quite as good with his ball use by foot. Allow him to try and take the risk, and eventually you might get a front half turnover.
So ball going to be thrown in now, 50 out from the Collingwood goal. Spills to the back of the rucks. Ollie Florence handball too sharp for Campbell. Swooped on by DeGoey. DeGoey it is who gets the goal. And just like that, they generate another one. 4-5-29. Sydney 1-3-9. They continue to fumble. And Collingwood are starting to make them pay 20 points. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Well, they've certainly been the cleaner of the two sides in this one all afternoon. And on that occasion, Jordan DeGoey is one of the cleaner players in the game. Makes the most of all his opportunities, and he coming through. Pounced on that. A nice snap. The ball did drop on the goal line as well, so some seriously good work down there from Johnson, who provided the shepherd. Some good reward for effort for the Pies. Dominant in that first quarter. Not able to put enough scoreboard pressure on.
Thanks, boys. Here we go. Thanks, Brett.
It's a nice finish there.
Waiting on Sydney.
Errol, straight out.
Clean our head.
Thanks, mate. Here we go, boys.
So very busy, the umpires in the middle of the ground. 20-point lead to the Magpies. For McDonald's Arena Water, Triple M Rocks footy. Frampton wins it forward. Sydney have got the sweeper, but the sweeper couldn't get it because Mitchell did. High up and under ball. Myercheck will be the flyer. Went to the front of the pack. Elliott was at the back, trying to burst through. Again was Bobby Hill. Sock it off the ground down towards Johnson. Sydney with the numbers at the back. Big tackle late in the pocket. And the umpire will ball it up. Well done by Elliott. Locks the ball in there for the Magpies.
Just this surge mentality by Collingwood. Get it forward and then get after them with their forward pressure. 8 forward 50 tackles already. And now a stoppage top of the square. Bobby Hill lurking. Handball's back. Missed Taylor Adams. Rowbottom went to ground. Got it out to Clark. And Goulden, under pressure, just kicks it into the middle of the MCG. Franklin tries hip and shoulder Murphy, who went off the ground, but only as far as McInerney, who looks up and sees 3 Collingwood players ahead of the ball. So they have to change the angles. That's a good kick from Warner. Got it to Clark. Papley running on. Now from 52. Papley's going to go for home. Misses again down the city end. 1-4-10. Collingwood 4-5-29. Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Absolutely torched Hayden McLean there. Did the pat. He popped it into a pocket of space. Would have been a 15-metre chip kick. Went himself.
Quain over centre wing, looking for Mason Cox. Can't mark it at the front of the pack. Was McCreary. McCreary tackled by Warner, trying to work his way free. Umpire called play on, and then he thought better of it and pinged him holding the ball. So the Chad on centre wing. Logan McDonald is off for the lead. Buddy's there from the side. Can't mark it at the ground level. McLean doing the roving at ground level. Papley Right foot, centres it, got players. McDonald's one of them, and so too is Errol Goulden, who McDonald let it go for and marks on his chest in the pocket.
This would be a tough one for him. He's a left footer, not noted for kicking on his right foot, so he's obviously going to have to go for the banana on his left or even a straight drop punt, but I don't think he'll turn onto the right foot here.
One of the best kicks in the business, Errol Goulden. Goes back and he looks like he's setting up for a normal drop punt at the moment. Seeing the way he holds the ball, definitely the straight set shot. So Errol to the left side. Through for one behind.
Interesting, a player, if he's skilled, can't kick a banana on his right foot whatsoever. We saw him in the pre-game, both left and right side with the soccer ball. Just hasn't ever worked on the right foot, obviously.
Yeah, you don't see too many left footers that have been too good on their right foot, do you?
Nathan Brown has a look around the back and says, I wasn't too bad on my right foot. There's the kick in from Dacos to the point of the square. So inaccuracy costing both teams in this one.
One for the other.
You kicked on your right foot a bit, didn't you, Brownie?
A little bit, Lee.
Mark Bays, Brett Ellison, Schwass.
Yeah, Schwatter could kick both feet. From the ball up, DeGoey. McCreary it was, in fact, couldn't take possession. Sydney flick it around by hand. Warner, Blakey, there's the pressure again from Collingwood. Adams, good tackle. Thought it should have been holding the ball, probably should have been. And then 4 Collingwood players all converge on McInerney, which meant there were Sydney players free all through the corridor. And they worked together. Warner, Robot and Franklin flew, got to the back. Sheether lurking. So is Oleg Markov. Cleverly rushed that one through from behind without giving away a free kick. 1-6-12 Sydney. Collingwood 4-5-29. So Sydney having a good little patch here, but just can't put the score on the board.
Darcy Moore to do the kicking in, goes into the pocket to Oleg Markov.
Stand.
So Markov in the back pocket. He's got Johnson and Cox for the get-out kick. That's where he goes now. Cox will be the fly up against the Lizard. And Cox has been paid a free kick for an arm shot.
They are wildly loud boots, aren't they? Fluorescent orange.
So he's got the ball at half back. Points his hand to Sam, going down the line to half forward. Only Sydney players there. Clark dropped the mark. Laddams slapped it out towards Rowbottom. Rowbottom couldn't pick it up. Now he's got a problem. He's going to handball it from hands and his knees. The ball wedged back into his hand and they'll have a ball up. So 17-point lead in favour of the Magpies. Almost halfway through this second term. Umpire balls it up. Laddams and Cox. Cox wins that one. Pendlebury did well to get his boot to it. To half forward and really good body work down there by Blakey. Took the mark over Johnson.
It's an aggressive kick into the corridor over the fingertips of Papley, but it might work out. Cunningham had a fumble, so it's going to be turned over again. Noble was legged. Playnor didn't want to take the free kick. And there's a couple of Pies queuing up out of side. One of them's Hoskin Elliott, takes the mark. 60 out. Sydney have a lot of numbers back deep in defence, so Hoskin Elliott cleverly goes short to Adams. Probably too far out for him to score. Man on the mark's 49 metres out and just a metre inside the boundary line. So Adams squares it up to Pendlebury. He's taken the mark 47 metres out and he's going to go short again to Crisp. Oh, that's slack by Sydney. They're all just guarding grass deep inside their defensive 50 and Collingwood able to pick their way through it. And now Jack Crisp will have a shot, 45 metres out, 45-degree angle.
I know you're really big on this one, Stevie, knowing the limitations of your opponents when you're coming up against them. Both Adams and Pendlebury weren't going to have the distance from 50 or 45 metres, so you had to be high alert, trying to figure out where they're going to go next. Crisp was the obvious option.
And across the 50, he'll kick from 44. Across the face again. So both teams missing golden opportunities. Collingwood 4-6-30. Sydney 1-6-12, Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
So 1-6, Sydney been wasteful. Collingwood missed a few easy ones as well. Lloyd kicks it out, looking for Franklin and Moore. Moore works his way to the front and fits it back. Pendlebury handles the ball nicely and then just picked it up and gave it to Joey's man, Hoskin Elliott. Back inside forward 50, Mychek couldn't mark it. The Lizard will run off and give the handball. Now they can run, Sydney. They got Parker at half back. He's kicked towards half forward. It's a bouncing ball. Papley wants to use his body. He did okay. Got it out to Heaney. Heaney, handball. McInerney kept running. Handball forward. 1-2. McInerney's got Papley. Absolutely torched him. He's got players in the pocket though. McLean comes running. Can't mark it. Logan McDonald off the ground. Can they get through for a goal? That could be off the ground by Sheether. So the umpires will confer. They're not sure.
I believe it's behind. I want to make sure he didn't get a boot to the ball.
Umpire's call is a behind, please.
Sheether seems to be running back. I don't think this could be paid a goal. It comes off his shin. Does he get his foot to it? Doesn't look like it. Ball sits up.
Shin's a goal though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a goal.
Below the knee. Anywhere below the knee is classed as your leg. In terms of boot hitting it for a kick.
Daisy's electing to go for the goal here. So the ball definitely comes off his inner shin.
Review complete. Looking at this angle, we can see this Sydney attacker kicks the ball over the goal line.
And you don't doubt Daisy. Picked it up straight away. That'll be a goal to the Sydney Swans. A much needed one to the young man Sheether. First goal in league footy. And the Sydney boys get to him, and he's happy.
McLean's just dropped Taylor Adams off the ball.
Yeah, we got the free. It's going to be a Collingwood free kick in the middle of the ground. You take it. Yep.
So the celebration of Sheether is short-lived as we all dash back to the middle of the ground and free kick to Collingwood, and they'll have a 12-point lead.
Most unconventional first goal in AFL footy. He didn't even know that he was going to get the goal.
I have a question for you, Joey. Late in a game, if the ball's going back to the middle and you're not allowed to break a 6-6-6 free kick, is it worth giving away a free kick? The umpire waits for the host broadcaster, then you can get everyone behind the ball. Discuss.
It's not the worst idea, Daisy. Because right now, Sydney have got 18 players behind this ball. I thought from this free kick you meant to start 6-6-6, and then once the free kick's taken, you could go. But anyway, the kick from Adams was into the man on the mark. So Sydney were away, but Franklin tried to bounce it. It didn't come back. And the Pies fans loved it. And Quaynor goes lateral to Noble. And now side bottom.
Stand. Play on.
He goes inboard to Braden Maynard.
Stand.
So it's Collingwood now at the patient build-up. They lead by 12 points. One goal each in this second term to Goey and Sheether. And Maynard goes towards half forward. Frampton didn't even try and take the mark. Just punched it down to ground level where Pies had the numbers. De Goey, side bottom, and now Noble pops it towards Chris. Well done, Hayden McLean. Got a big fist in, out of bounds in front of the Swans interchange race.
Yeah, that bit of play by Franklin. It just looked like the Franklin of old going through half-foot flank was going to take a bounce and then probably skid one through from about 60, but it just hasn't been his day so far. A few balls have slipped through his hands and then that one there.
A couple of good players with Moore and also Murphy playing back there on him. Pendlebury slung to the ground. Goulden with the right foot to half forward. One of those defenders, Murphy, beats Franklin again. Moore, Hoskin Elliott, Joey's man, out towards Nick Dacos. Mitchell, underground ball was good. Pendlebury on centre wing, left foot, sees Mason Cox, pulled the kick nicely. Cox marks it, and the umpire's going to pay a mark. Wants to move the ball quickly. He's had to go back over the mark. He hasn't heard the umpire now. He calls play on De Goey. Slicing right foot ball, but ill-directed. And McInerney marks it.
Has Florent working hard for him. Give us some numbers, Ethan. Red Zed Lenning been quiet this quarter.
Yeah, well, that man, Justin McInerney, on the other hand, number one ranked player on the ground, up to 15 disposals for the game.
Florent just tries to throw a bit of a forward handball into a whole flock of Pies, and they're going to turn it over, potentially. McInerney, Warner, underground handball. Florent didn't take possession, tapped it forward. This is a bit better by the Swans, bit more surge. Warner stepped around a couple of Pies, found Papley. Franklin's all alone in the pocket, and the ball will get to him now. They got themselves out a bit of a pickle there, the Swans. And now Buddy, it was on the wrong side for him, so he gave it back to Papley, who throws it on the boot from 45, and he misses again. 2 goals, 7. Throws the head back in disgust. Pies fans love it. They're 19, Collingwood 30.
I thought Papley made the wrong decision kicking it to Buddy, because Papley could have kicked it from 50. He was on a more severe angle, and he gives it back to him. That was the mistake as well, but Collingwood have the answers at the moment. Long kick towards centre wing, looking for Bobby Hill. Fisted away by Lloyd. Lloyd underground handball, side bottom tracks the football. Sydney definitely playing better at the moment, smothered off the boot. And the ball's out of bounds of a boundary throw-in. Player in pain down in the forward half of the ground is the young man Sheether, who kicked the goal.
Let it go.
Looks in a lot of Barney rubble.
Might be a knee, I think.
Let it go.
Topi's okay as we see come in and
hyperextension.
Buckled underneath him, didn't it, in a smothering motion. Parker. Handball's up to McInerney. McInerney has Mills. Mills has Warner. Warner, forward handball, back to Mills, and Warner kept running again. Warner's got a player forward, but it's smothered off the boot on this occasion. Now Collingwood with a chance. Adams, Pendlebury, they've got Noble in the middle. Noble sets it out in front of grass, looking for Mason Cox, but he's the slowest man out there. He was never going to get that. And then the Lizard just ran away and slithered his way all the way to the wing. The Lizard will get it back. Right hand, wants to get on Pendlebury. He had to take him on, and the handball went wide. Mills, bouncing ball out wide, and the mark taken by Luke Parker.
75 from home. Collingwood have numbers back, plenty of numbers. So Parker has to pop it between three of them and did it beautifully. A breakdown again by the Pies. And Will Hayward has taken an uncontested mark. 40 metres out, straight in front.
Yeah, really smart kick there by Luke Parker. It looked like he was going to be kicking that long to the top of the square, and then he'd just seen Will Hayward out the corner of his eye in a little pocket of space, and it was a deft touch and just found him free ahead of the ball.
Jordan.
Let's see if they can break these run of behinds from Sydney. 2 goals, 7. This should be pretty regulation for a player of Hayward's talent. The breeze is swirly, as Robbo keeps telling us. And again, another miss down that end. That's about 3 goals, 12 from that end at the City. And it's Sydney 2-8-20, Collingwood 4-6-30. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. Beacon Trade here to partner with your business with a huge range of lighting, fans and electrical accessories. Beacon Trade, let's make light work.
Robbo, Bob, Jane, two marks.
Yeah, Sheether into the rooms, grabbing that left side. Don't know whether it's ankle or knee. Really favouring it though, so he's in a lot of pain down the stairs.
In Red Z Lending stats, 4 goals, 11 to that City end, as you were saying, Joey. Sydney now 0 goals, 5 from set shots today.
So Sydney in the last 10 minutes have played much better football, but still trail by 10 points. So the boundary throw in, Laddams and Frampton, DeGoey, clearance specialist to Pendlebury, found space like he always does. Nick Dacos on the run to Mitchell. Mitchell's got a player forward as well. That's Elliott. Elliott's got Cox. Left foot now to Cox, underground ball. He's 6'10", Jamie Elliott. You need to get it in the air. And now Sydney win it back. Left foot to Laddams. Laddams gives the handball off to Clark. Clark now to Mills. Mills, right foot ball, looking for Heaney on centre wing. Heaney looks up. There's players everywhere for Sydney. Logan McDonald, he'll look up and see a player in the goal square. It's a high one. It's a good one. And Logan McDonald's got it. And he kicks an easy goal. The ball came from McLean. And it's now a 4-point lead to Collingwood. Sydney playing great football.
Well, that was strange from Darcy Moore. I don't know if he's seen him or whether he didn't, Daisy.
He couldn't have, because he stood 30 metres out with a man directly behind him and started to press forward where there was already 4 Collingwood players.
Strange situation, that.
Mind-blowing, but the game was screaming out for somebody to connect from the half-forward line, 80 metres out, inside forward 50. The Pies had a beautiful opportunity, but Jamie Elliott, he looked backwards instead of forwards. Should have been aware that when the chain of handballs was coming, each of the Sydney defenders was pressing out one by one, so there was always going to be an overlap. Cox was the next one in the chain. He went the underground handball, and on the back of that, Sydney went the length of the field and scored rather easily on the line.
Well started from Nick Blakey at half-back. If you can turn the ball over against Collingwood, you get looks the other way. And they're able to take advantage that time, Sydney. For McDonald's and Marine Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy. Warner, almost a good centre clearance, but DeGoey did well. And then a second effort from DeGoey, even better. Forced Rowbottom to dispossess the ball, and now Collingwood kick it to half forward. McCartan had a fumble. Chris picked his pocket. He's on his right foot, so he handballs to Hoskin Elliott. Goes to the top of the square. Mychek and Fox. Mychek on hands to it. Couldn't take the mark. Mills having a good game. So's Parker. And a sweeping handball to Florent, who sees Maynard on the wing on his own, so they have to go short. And he gave it off to Gordon and found Ryan Clark. Still at half-back. Franklin offers a little lead, goes there now. Again, Collingwood fans boo Buddy.
Do we know why?
Oh, just because he's good.
Okay.
And Maynard picks off the kick from Franklin. He was looking for Errol Gordon. Braden Maynard just read the cues, got across, took the mark.
So Maynard, pretty much every player ahead of him, makes it hard for himself by trying to get around Goulden and kicks to the smallest man there is Elliott. Elliott was good enough to bring it to ground level. Parker picked it up. He's tackled by Josh Dacos. He shrugs that off. Wild handball to Gowie. Couldn't go in and get the footy because he was just waiting on the outside to tackle, and now we'll have that ball up.
Parker's got an appetite for it this afternoon. Breezy conditions. Joey, you said it will suit him, but his want for the contest and want to feel some body really standing out up here.
Big numbers, Heath.
Yeah, Luke Parker, 19 disposals, most on the ground.
Goulden, the left footer down towards McLean. A bouncing ball at the back. Murphy read it well. His handball came out to Maynard. Maynard flicked one out to Darcy Moore, but he's got Papley for trouble. Clark spun around in the tackle. Ball hit the ground. Maynard again, tackled by Goulden. Can they keep it in the Magpies? They do. Crisp. Left foot, but only as far as Party Boy Laddams, who dropped the mark he should have taken. Now Mills, McCartan, Laddams, left foot, good ball. Clark.
Has Gordon running past, so that's the right option. Give it to the kicker, who went in between Hayward and McDonald, so the ball bounced. Hayward goes and gets it taken down in a tackle. 40 metres out from the Sydney goal, and a good quarter. Some of the numbers in this second quarter. Ethan, what are the inside 50s this quarter?
Yeah, Red Z lending stats, inside 50s 12-7. Remember, Collingwood were plus 13 in the first quarter as well. Sydney also going at 77% by foot.
Good response by the Swans here. Game on. 4 points down, 30-26. 3 minutes 20 left in this first half. Side bottom squeezes a kick out only as far as Tom McCartan, who puts a high ball up to the top of the square. Heaney flew. Collingwood had numbers down. Oh, the handball was picked off by Rowbottom. Had a fumble, so he handballs it to the top of the square, and then McLean off the ground like a soccer striker from the cross. Put it in the back right post. And this umpire loves doing score reviews. This goal umpire has more score reviews than any goal umpire in the game. He loves the airtime.
You think he's getting some kickbacks here from Crypto.com?
Yep, I think he is.
Second income.
This is Erling Haaland-like.
This was absolutely... Maynard was the goalkeeper who picked the right way. He went left, but he couldn't get a finger on it.
That's a brilliant goal.
Are you eating?
But even a better setup.
Brownie's trying to talk while he's got a mouthful of Help Jam Donut. And the Swans, for the first time today, are in front. The goal to Hayden McLean. That's 3 in a row this quarter. And they're 4-8-32. Collingwood 4-6-30.
Yeah, you could look at the goal kicker there in Hayden McLean and say, well done, great strike, and it was. But the credit has to go to James Rowbottom. He was the one that picked the pocket of the Collingwood defender under pressure and then realised that he wasn't going to be in a chance to kick a goal. So he just done the team thing and knocked that ball back to the top of the square with a blind handball, and he followed him in and made the most of the opportunity off the ground.
Bob Jones, team March, Robbo.
Yeah, Mark Sheath, fitness test left knee now. So they've checked the patella, the front of the knee, heavy strapping left knee. So in a bit of strife.
McDonald's Rema Order, Triple M Rocks footy. Sydney with the last 3. And now it's a game. Game on. Sydney in front. Warner picked the footy up, but eluded him at the end. Mitchell went in and slid in with a handball to Goulden. To half forward. Franklin couldn't mark it. The ball hit the ground. Quainer was there to Nick Dacos. Nick Dacos' kick has been turned over. And Sydney win it back on centre wing. Down to 2 minutes 43 to go before half-time. Short ball finds Warner.
That has been the one thing the tag has done on Dacos in the last couple of weeks. Just forced him to make a quicker decision.
Into the pocket. Big rise out there. And Hayward takes a mark. And it's all Sydney at the moment.
Dominant period of time here for the Sydney Swans. The Pies struggling to get it forward of centre. And when they do, the turnovers are coming from the Sydney Swans, and they're picking the way through now with a bit more pace than what we saw in the first quarter and a half. It's catching these Collingwood defenders out, getting them some good looks one-on-one.
Going to go the snap from 45. You have to hit it perfectly from here. Hayward does just that. That is a big kick. Big swinger. And they lead by 8 points, Sydney. 5-8-38. Collingwood a 4-6-30. And that was as good as Stevie J style.
Yeah, well, that's a pretty handy snap from that distance, and it wasn't that he was just 45 metres out and he turned to go the snap. It was that he put it through probably 4 or 5 rows back, didn't he, Daisy?
I wouldn't have been able to kick a tort that far in my latter days, Stevie. That was very impressive, and the confidence too. We love it when a player goes back and either knows his limitations or knows exactly what he's capable of. And on that occasion, didn't even worry about the drop punt on an afternoon when a lot of players have had shots and missed with the swirling wind. That was absolute class from Haywood.
Nice mark, better finish. Sydney up by 8 points, Ethan. Some Red Z lenders.
Yeah, that's now 10 scores to 2 Sydney's way in this quarter. 78% by foot, plus 30 disposals. Collingwood's pressure factor in this second term down to 160.
Yeah, Swans, great quarter and a great tap from Laddams to Parker. And now Warner steams out of the midfield. He went looking for Frank. There was a poor kick. And Darcy Moore was trailing in and took the mark.
Can't take a trick, buddy, can he?
And Darcy Moore has been having the ski rope out all afternoon, probably 25, 30 metres behind Franklin. So if they do lower their eyes and connect, Buddy's certainly going to get a fair bit of it.
Pendlebury's had a big half, Ethan.
Yeah, Scott Pendlebury, that's disposal number 18.
Oh, like a nice fine wine.
Play on.
Mitchell
Outside
goes
five.
lateral to Quaynor. Bottle of red waiting for you tonight, Daisy, when you get home.
Yeah, I'll have to crack it between here and first crack, but yep.
Quaynor, long down the line. Frampton, no one went with him. Took the mark on the wing. Sydney have got the spare defender. They're trying to shut shop in this last minute of the first half. They're happy with their 8-point lead. So Frampton has to go along the boundary line. It was a good kick from Big Billy. Finds Mychek. 60 out. He's only got Ash Johnson and Dacos top of the square. That's Josh Dacos. Goes in that direction. Hoskinelli drifts forward. Heaney's got back. Got the fist in, but that keeps it a live ball. Top of the square. Braden Campbell taken out of bounds in a tackle from McCreary. He does got the hair back in the man bun.
It's a big main when it's out.
Certainly is.
Pete Billy.
Covers a lot of area. As we see Jack Ginnivan on the bench. And a big puff jacket keeping warm. It is very cold in Melbourne today. Luke Park has been everywhere. His left foot ball doesn't clear the area and Quaynor marks it. Against Papley. Papley looks upset with himself.
Braden, can you clear out, please?
And there's Quaynor again, hasn't lost a one-on-one contest.
Right out, mate.
So this is the end where he's kicking slightly into the breeze, but all of the set shots here in the first quarter weren't coming back as much as the players thought, so they were aiming outside left post. You can't give the goals away. Just have to keep it inside the left post, and it should drift back over the umpire's head.
And all the other ones from the other side of the ground too, Daisy. So let's see if this side has any difference. Quaynor from 49 gets onto it but pulls it. And it's going to be no score out of bounds on the full. So half-time sees a big Sydney comeback. They trailed by 20 points when De Goey kicked the first one of the second quarter. And from there, they kicked all 4 goals. 5-8-38, the Sydney Swans. Collingwood with some work to do. They're 8 points behind. 4-6-30 for McDonald's Ream Hot Water. Triple M, Rocks Footy.
That quarter for Beacon Trade. Beacon Trade's here to partner with your business with a huge range of lighting, fans and electrical accessories. Beacon Trade, let's make light work.
For Ream Hot Water.
Triple M Rocks Footy.
Built up for Aussie conditions. When it comes to water heating, ask your plumber to install a Ream.
Triple M and the Mighty Seagull Show's 10K Spinner DJ. Melbourne, there's now just one song standing between you and $10,000 in cold, hard cash. You've already identified these 6 songs. Yeah! And now it's up to you to guess the final golden song. Pick the track, win the cash. Your next shot is at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning on the home of good times and rock's greatest hits, Triple M.
Imagine a time, far from now, where all of the world's energy is generated from 100% renewable sources. Well, now that day isn't someday, it's today. Here at Pacific Blue, we generate 100% clean energy from renewable sources like the wind. And we have done for more than 30 years. Pacific Blue, generating 100% clean energy. Now, discover more at pacificblue.com.au.
Every small business is on a journey, but some are on an obstacle course, jumping from invoicing to marketing to social media. That's why you need Thrive, the all-in-one management software built for small business. Search Thrive, THRYV today.
Autumn is here. The season is changing. You can feel the chill in the air at night now. Prepare your immune system for winter with Nature Bee Power Pollen. It's a one-stop shop. Nature Bee Power Pollen is nature's superfood, supporting a healthy body and mind through a broad range of micronutrients. Stay strong through the seasonal changes with a 200-day supply of Nature Bee Power Pollen for just $160 plus delivery. Plus a bonus pack of pollen and honey soap. Order your Power Pollen today at powerpollen.com.au.
The Bunnings Trade Expo is back. Thursday 11th of May from 12 to 8 p.m. at the Melbourne Showgrounds. Check out the latest from all the major trade suppliers with amazing expo-only deals, free food, drinks and loads of free parking. Register now for free on the Bunnings Trade website.
Once in a while a TV show comes along and takes things to a whole new level.
The most death-defying adventure series ever seen.
Freezing black lakes, sky-high falls, and rising above it all, the summit. 14 Australians stepping out of the ordinary world to get to the summit and claim their share of $1 million.
I don't trust anyone but myself.
This is going to get wild.
The summit starts next Sunday at 7 on 9 and 9 now.
Melbourne's best buys.
Arm yourself this flu season with Amcal, your vaccination destination. With pharmacies all across Australia, there's an Amcal near you with expert pharmacists and private consultation rooms. Just search Amcal Flu.
Best buys.
Nothing is tougher than a cat forklift. A heavyweight champion. It handles any weight class. A lion. This cat has more raw power. A regular forklift needs to lift its game. Toughen up with a cat forklift before June 30 for an instant tax write-off. Only at United Forklift and Access Solutions.
This year, Australia has a chance to give Indigenous Australians a real say in their future. Join us. Visit yes23.com.au.
Authorised by Dean Parkin, Australians for Indigenous Constitutional Recognition Limited, Sydney.
Shut up! The footy's on the radio!
Triple M rocks footy.
This halftime break for Mitre 10 Trade for expert advice and a job done right first time.
McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy, half-time at the MCG, Sunday afternoon footy. And we've got a good game on our hands between the Pies and the Swans. Collingwood, well, they dominated the first quarter, really. 3-5. They missed a couple to lead by 15 points. And then it was a complete contrast in that second term. It was the Sydney Swans, 4-6 to Collingwood's 1-1. And Sydney take an 8-point lead at half-time. All individual goal scorers for both teams. This is, of course, the half-time break for Mitre 10 Trade for expert advice and a job done right the first time. Ethan Meldrum, the Red Z Lending Stats. What do they tell us about this first half?
Well, a lot of numbers in favour of Sydney in that second term. They flipped the inside 50 count, of course. It was 21-8 in Collingwood's favour in that first term. It was 15-8 Sydney's way in the second quarter. They went at 75% by a foot, almost double the uncontested ball, 77-41, and had 10 shots on goal to Collingwood's 2. So a lot of numbers in the Swans' favour. The Pies' pressure, which was hovering around the 200s to start that game, dropped to 158 in that second term. Pies, of course, the fourth best pressure team in the competition. Sydney ranked number 1 in that category. So a big number for both teams today to focus on. Leading ball winners, Scott Pendlebury, 18 touches to halftime. He's got the most for Collingwood. Jack Crisp, 14. Darcy Moore, their number 1 ranked player, 12 disposals, 6 intercept possessions. Of course, he has the job on Buddy Franklin today, split with Nathan Murphy for Sydney. Luke Parker racking it up. He's got 21 touches. Errol Goulden, 18. Fox, Warner, McInerney, 17 apiece. Hayden McLean, number 1 ranked player on the ground. 13 goals, 13 disposals. He would be number 1 ranked player on the ground with 13 goals. Very Buddy Franklin has 13 disposals and a goal to half-time playing out of the ruck.
Stevie J, how did the Sydney Swans turn it around in that second quarter?
Well, it looked like Collingwood were just going to come out in that second quarter again after a dominant first quarter where they didn't make the most of their opportunities and go again because they had a blueprint that was working. But I think Sydney were able to send one up to the contest, get a little bit more territory game, set up their defence behind the ball a lot better, and then Collingwood weren't able to sort of play that chaos game and get the ball through, and Sydney were able to turn it over, go back inside 50 to a disorganised defence at times and have those 10 shots on goal, which Heath talked about.
Yeah, Sydney have been able to pick holes in the Collingwood defence. They've taken 9 marks inside 50 in that first half, and There's been times where the Collingwood defenders just zoning off and not being able to catch the Sydney forwards.
Yeah, I think that's because at times Collingwood, as I said, they were sort of running and gunning out of their defence, and if you're good enough to turn them over, that means that those guys are going to be out of position and won't be able to defend. And yeah, at times they got caught out where they'd all run off, and then Sydney's pressure lifted, their defence was better, they turned it over, went back in, and at times there was like 2 or 3 on one in their forward 50, and they utilised it.
Choice Hotels around the grounds. Whatever your reason for travelling, you'll get the lowest price guaranteed when you book direct at choicehotels.com. So go ahead, book it. Yeah, next game starting soon at Marvel Stadium between the Kangaroos and St Kilda. But Ethan, just a recap, please, of the other game earlier this afternoon, because it was Port Adelaide getting the win.
Yeah, but tense finish in the end. Port Adelaide 12-20-92, Essendon 13-9-87. Real tense finish with Andrew Phillips having a shot late in the game.
Well, let's take a listen to the final minute of that game, courtesy of Triple M.
Draper with the footy. Big kick coming up. He plays on the big ruckman. Goes high to half forward. The big men are there. Phillips! Phillips has taken the mark. The kick on its way from Phillips. He goes back a long, long way with the run-up. He'll kick outside 50. 52 metres. The kick, he gets under it. Is it going to make the distance? Port Adelaide with numbers. They concede. Minor score. Port Adelaide by 5 points. There are 37 seconds left on the clock.
They bring the footy back in. Try and get some distance. The outer side. Dixon in the contest. Ball spills. Oh, free kick. Port Adelaide. There's 6 seconds left. Down the line goes Marshall. Bouncing ball. Hind a scrubber. Siren sounds. Port Adelaide have won 5 on the trot. They get home by 5 points in a ripper.
And move up to 4th on the live ladder. Port Adelaide, of course, Collingwood still in this game. Sydney Swans just outside the top 8. Of course, the halftime Amy segment, I should say, the Amy Clangers, who covers Clangers on and off the field. Amy does. Here's how we saw it. Oh, the handball was picked off by Rowbottom. Had a fumble, so he handballs it to the top of the square, and then McLean off the ground. Like a soccer striker from the cross. Put it in the back right post. And this umpire loves doing score reviews. This goal umpire has more score reviews than any goal umpire in the game. And he loves the airtime.
You think he's getting some kickbacks here from Crypto.com?
Yep, I think he is.
Second income.
This was early Haaland-like.
This was absolutely... Maynard was the goalkeeper who picked the right way. He went left, but he couldn't get a finger on it.
That's a brilliant goal.
Are you eating?
But even a better setup.
Brownie's trying to talk while he's got a mouthful of Hot Jam Donut. Nathan Brown just joining in the special comments while he's having a Hot Jam Donut, but that is our Amy Clanger. Of course, this is the halftime break for Mitre 10 Trade. Mitre 10 Trade for expert advice and a job done right the first time. Stevie J and I will take a break. Daisy and Nath Brown will get back in the chair and talk through the rest of the games this weekend and what has happened this weekend. But of course, as we do go to the break, we need to go to our good man, Matty Leighton, for a news update.
Thanks very much. Households and businesses are in line for hundreds of dollars in energy bill relief under a deal between Canberra, the states and territories. Treasurer Jim Chalmers telling the ABC the size of the rebates will depend on where people live and how much other governments chip in.
More than 5.5 million households will get some assistance with their electricity bills, and around 1 million small businesses will be eligible as well.
The $1.5 billion package will be unveiled in Tuesday's federal budget. An icy blast has seen Victorians shiver through their coldest start to May in 3 years. Snow fell in alpine areas and parts of Melbourne have been pelted with hailstones. Mount Buller recorded its lowest overnight temp for the year at -4.6. A gunman is dead after killing at least 8 people at a busy shopping mall in Texas. He was fatally shot by police after he began firing outside the centre north of Dallas. And billions worldwide have watched King Charles being officially crowned at Westminster Abbey.
Join the project tonight for a special celebration of Jock Zonfrillo's remarkable life. 6:30 tonight on 10 and 10 Play, followed by episode 1 of MasterChef.
It is half-time at the MCG, where it is a chilly 11 degrees. The Swans hold an 8-point lead over the Magpies as Triple M rocks footy.
That halftime break for Mitre 10 Trade for expert advice and a job done right first time.
For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's.
Triple M rocks footy.
The next awesome Triple M Know the Show to Go experience.
Here we go, here we go, here we go.
Packing your bags for the UK to see the Aussies bring home the Ashes.
Just gotta know the show to go. Gotta know the show to go.
Listen to the Marty Sheargold Show anytime 6 to 9. Then answer a simple question while you're working to get on the shortlist.
Ashes to ashes, funk to funky. Marty Sheargold ain't no funky.
Triple M's know the show to go. Your next chance to win is coming up 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Triple M.
The Quarter Pounder. 100% Aussie beef, cheese, mustard and pickles. If you think about it long enough, you might forget you've already made dinner. Now that is a pickle. Grab a Quarter Pounder on the My Macca's app today. Available after 10:30am.
Meerkat Motivationals with Alexander and Sergey.
Hey, Kurt, sinus is playing up again.
Yeah, doc says I need surgery.
Good you have health insurance.
Yeah.
But you know, some health cover premiums are rising. You could sniff out some insurance for less. Stay alert, Kurt, or you'll pay through the nose holes.
Okay.
Wake up to waste. Switching health insurance is easy. Visit Compare the Market to see the range of brands and products we compare. Or call 13 32 32. Simples.
Can Kennards Hire make your job easy? Can Oath. With an extensive range of equipment for every job or project and branches across Melbourne and Geelong, Kennards Hire has you covered. Hire online or find your nearest branch at kennards.com.au.
120 years ago, in a small shed, four mates pushed the limits of what was possible on two wheels. That day, they created Harley-Davidson. Celebrate 120 years with finance so low, they're mates' rates. Because every mate deserves a Harley. For a limited time only, at your local Harley-Davidson dealer. Available on 2022 models while stocks last. Credit provided by BOQ Credit Proprietary Limited. Criteria, fees, charges and T's and C's apply.
This year, Australia has a chance to give Indigenous Australians a real say in their future. Join us. Visit yes23.com.au.
Authorised by Dean Park and Australians for Indigenous Constitutional Recognition Limited, Sydney.
For mums who love radio, DAB Plus is the innovation that gives her 20 plus extra stations. All her favourites will still be found, but the difference she'll love is digital sound. With news, talk and decades of hits, it's a Mother's Day gift that never quits. A DAB Plus radio surprises all year, making mum smile from ear to ear. So go to Harvey Norman and show mum you care. With up to 15% off, you'll have money to spare. Exclusions apply.
Join the project tonight for a special celebration of Jocks on Frillo. Friends and chefs from across the globe share memories of his remarkable life. A very special project, 6:30 tonight on 10 and 10 Play. Followed by episode 1 of MasterChef.
Monopoly Shop Scan Win is now on at a participating Vicinity Centre near you. Simply spend $10 or more in one transaction at a participating store, upload your receipt, and you could win a share of over $3 million worth of prizes, including a brand new MG ZST Core and thousands of instant win prizes. Head to monopolyshopscanwin.com.au to find out more. Australian residents 16 plus only. Ends May 31. Keep receipt. Entry limits and terms apply. See website for details.
Shut up! The foot is on the radio!
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Titanium Caravans. Titanium Caravans are built to tackle Australia's toughest conditions. Visit titaniumcaravans.com.au.
Well, it's a big turnaround in that second quarter because the Magpies were 15 points up at quarter time. They kicked the first goal through to Goey. They led by 20. And after that, it was all Sydney. They kicked 4 goals to nothing. They lead this contest by 8 points, 5-8-38. Collingwood are 4, 6, 30, all single goal kickers so far in this game. Got Daisy Thomas in the back row. Just your quick thoughts on that first half. I know the other boys have spoken about it, but it's always good to get your thoughts.
It was an interesting half of football. Inaccuracy in the first quarter certainly kept the Swans in it. And I know we're not talking large numbers, but it should have been probably a 30-point deficit instead of 15, and that becomes really hard to sort of get back into the game. 1 or 2 goals you expect the Pies to kick each quarter. You're a long way behind the 8 ball from the outset, but that wasn't the case, and the Swans got on top, and they looked like when they were playing with more freedom and a bit more aggression through the corridor, keeping the ball in motion a bit more rather than going slow like they did to start that second term. They looked really dangerous out the back, and the Collingwood defence certainly off a bit this afternoon.
If you were to play AFL football again, so right now, let's just say that you're able, your body handles it.
Yes.
From your point right now, how long do you think you'd have to train for to get AFL fit?
Do I go back to a half-back flank? I reckon if you gave me 3 solid months, I think it's always there. It's just as long as, obviously, with no injury, soft tissue, or whatever it is, obviously have to drop a few kegs, but that's certainly on the way down as it is. I reckon 3 months with a strict program, AFL intensity, I reckon I could get up to play at least a game. I wouldn't want to be having me second up, though.
It looks easy from up here, doesn't it? You forget very quickly how hard it was, and you sit here up here sometimes you think, gee, it looks easy to get a kick out there today. I'd love to be playing, but it is a hard caper.
And even the decisions that are made, when you look at them from up here, you can see the entire field. When you're at the ground level, and people obviously watching in the grandstands as well, when you're at ground level and you've got 4 or 5 blokes coming at you, you've run the best part of 3 or 4 kilometres in that quarter, you look up and you make a split-second decision. It's either the right one or the wrong one, and sometimes when it is wrong, it's glaring and obvious from up here, but at ground level it's certainly hard. But that's why we take our hats off, and that's why once being in this business, I'm trying to be as pro player as possible, because it certainly is, as you say, easy to forget how hard it was, but hard it was, I certainly won't forget.
It is fun coming to work at Triple M, though. We have fun. We watch footy. Triple M Red Z lending stats. There's another game going on at the moment. Choice Hotels around the grounds. What's the score over there?
Yeah, score's level at the moment. North Melbourne and St Kilda just the one behind a piece. 5 minutes into that game. Cam Zerha just missed a pretty gettable one from 45 out, so we'll keep a close eye on that one. Port Adelaide as well. Important win. Now 5 in a row they've won over Essendon. 5 points the margin. Dramatic finish in that one with Andrew Phillips nearly kicking a goal late in the game.
Buddy hasn't been able to get into this one. Darcy Moore, as you said, he's played him with a ski rope, but multiple times he's dropped marks he should have taken. Then when he's been out, Sydney have missed him with easy passes. So Darcy Moore has owned him at the moment.
He has. You can't rely on that as an out, though, if you are Darcy Moore, getting lucky a couple of times, because there will come a point in this one where Sydney do connect the field and find their way through Buddy Franklin, and he only needs a few possessions to have some serious impact, because most of those are centre forward, and when he is centre forward, if he is getting it, he's generally looking towards goal or hitting someone up on the lead. So that's something they'll have to tighten up, but it certainly hasn't been Buddy's afternoon, and he was getting a little bit grumpy throughout that period. Steele side bottom right in front of us, came back, found some body on him, and he hated that. And then his next 3 or 4 contests, as Buddy sometimes does, just came in and just wanted to feel the contact and got it himself and crunched a few blokes. So he's still having a crack, old Bud, and as we've touched on a few times, it's interesting to see and to hear the comments around him and Sydney potentially being better without him. Absolute ridiculous comments they are.
We've already spoken a fair bit about Steve Johnson, but he's had a wonderful 8 weeks with Triple M since starting, and that's culminated in a Sunday Footy Show performance today, and he's been invited back later in the year around the Wimbledon time when people take holidays. But how would you assess his performance so far in the first 8 rounds? If you give him a score out of 10 for Stevie Johnson, what do you give him?
It would be certainly above average. So if we're going back to sort of the grades in schooling, I think an A gave you above 80% and an A plus above 90. So I think we'd have him about 85%. A few things he needs to tighten up. Obviously, the other week he came to Marvel Stadium and we were on air and he was swanning around behind the coach's box, getting lost. He parked in Gill's spot. He brought a Sunday supper today that was below average. So an 8.5. But in terms of your first 8 weeks, that is almost as good as you could possibly hope for. That's like a Nick Dacos sort of debut 8 weeks.
Yeah, I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. He's called over the callers a couple of times in big moments, but apart from that, he's been faultless. Third quarter about to start. Nick Dacos has started in the middle of the ground. Callum Mills for him. Sydney lead by 8 points for McDonald's Ream Upwater. Triple M Rocks footy.
Cox tapped down, looking for Pendlebury. An excellent first half. Coming off the wing, so's Eric Gordon gets the free kick. He has had a big first half.
I'll be up here.
Cox runs away and doesn't want to man the mark, so Gordon runs to the centre circle, goes towards McLean. As Ethan told us, number 1 rated player on the ground in the first half. Clark, that's Ryan Clark lurking.
Hold of the man. Crisp.
And the free kick paid off the ball to Jack Crisp. Nick Dacos.
They've made the switch, Sydney. They tried to put Sheetha through a fitness test without the strapping, so it was the left knee, don't forget. So Aaron Francis in for Sydney, and we've got Sheetha sitting in the back stalls with that left knee.
Peter, Mason, thanks.
Want to go anywhere? You'll need Australia's toughest off-road caravan. Titanium Caravans are built purpose to tackle Australia's uncompromising editions. They have everything you need to stay off the grid and off-road for longer. Look no further than Titanium Caravans. Visit titaniumcaravans.com.au. Boundary throw-in on the outer side. Socket off the ground by side bottom towards half forward. Myercheck leading the race, but he went to ground, so that allowed McCartan to tap the ball out to Warner. Warner picked it up and then tucked the ball under the arm, and then Mills found himself in some trouble. Handballed it straight back to Josh Dacos for the perfect start for the Pies. Hits the post. 4:7:31. Collingwood, 5:8:38 Sydney.
Just keep tabs on the accuracy down that City end, the right of the broadcast, Ethan. 4 goals 12, is it, down that end?
Yeah, 4 goals 12 for the game.
Both teams having trouble in that first half, converting. 5-8 to 4-7. Sydney's way. Heaney. McDonald got a good leap at it. 2 hands to it. Couldn't take the mark. Murphy just taps it forward. Collingwood have the outnumber. Noble. His kick's going to go along the boundary line. Too wide. Not sure.
You got it?
He was trying to get that to Bobby Hill. He sprayed it out of bounds on the full. It'll be Lloyd. He'll take it and goes back towards his defensive goal square where Nick Blakey's got plenty of space, and so's Gordon, having a great game out on that wing.
Outside 5.
Takes the mark. Not a lot up ahead. Sydney all queuing up laterally and short, so he goes short to Callum Mills.
Outside 5. Go with him.
Goes back of the wing. Shane Warne stands side. Lights are on. Sun's slowly starting to set. And again, they build it up and find an uncontested mark. Clark, certainly been their plan today. Gordon. That one was a bit too aggressive, tried to bite off a bit too much, looking for Patley. Cox got the fist in, and then Gordon taking in a tackle as Mills and Nick Dacos still go at it a little bit. Been going on since the start. Team tag, and Nick Dacos, 13 disposals, but not a heap of influence in the first half.
So the ball up.
Holding. Jordan DeGoey, Collingwood.
You heard the umpire. Jordan DeGoey being held. Quickly moves the ball because Quainer's ran on. He's at half back. Noble offers up a lead for him. Doesn't go there. Now Quainer has to stop steady and chips the ball to Joey's man, Hoskin Elliott. Hoskin Elliott just forward to the centre. Chips the ball to Johnson. Still 2 kicks from home. Methodical build-up by the Pies. Johnson to centre half forward, looking for Maynard. Buddy almost got there. Maynard took the mark and then went inside 450 with a brilliant kick to Elliott. Good build-up for the Pies.
Great transference of play. The 2 kicks that came inboard, the one that hit Johnson and then the other one that hit Bruzzy Maynard, it was a little bit of risk in that second one, but just opens up that entire other side of the field that allowed Jamie Elliott to get access to.
So Jamie Elliott yet to kick a goal today. He'll cross the 50 and kick from about 45, just inside the boundary, and take a big kick. And take a big kick it does. Jamie Elliott gets his first, and the first of the third term to the Pies. And it's a 1-point ball game. Sydney 5-8-38, Collingwood 5-7-37, Titanium Caravans.
Yeah, that was methodical ball movement there by Collingwood. It looked like Sydney got back to support their defence, got numbers inside their defensive 50, and in case the high ball had to come in, they would have been all over it, but Collingwood able to lower their eyes, look in, take a 45, again, use the arc, and then the kick inside 50 to an open player on the other side of the ground. Really smart ball use and a good start to this quarter for Collingwood.
Just keep an eye out for the free kicks coming from stoppage. So I know that at half-time and at the breaks, the clubs can speak to the umpires. That's 2 now. The outer-zone umpire playing free kicks for holding in and around the contest.
Both the Collingwood, 2 of those free kicks. Good start for them this quarter. Jamie Elliott, beautiful exponent of the set shot. And they're back within a point. Of course, this week only McDonald's score a Big Mac meal and a cheeseburger for just $6.90 on the My Macca's app as the Pies win this clearance. Adams goes towards Ash Johnson, who's normally got a good pair of hands. Good defence from Blakey. Got the fist in. Side bottom front and square handballs back to Hoskin Elliott, who kicks a high ball into the pocket. Coxie flew from the side. The greatest exponent of the specky we've ever seen, according to 60 Minutes in America.
According to Mason.
The ball goes out of bounds. It was a good feature, though. I did look at that. Gone to the world over in America, the game of AFL. From the throw-in. Laddams couldn't get a hand to it. Mills having a good game. Parker just tried to get a little flick through to Cunningham. Collingwood again have got the forward pressure going. A lot of players around this ball. Hard one to win. Taylor Adams couldn't get it out. Another stoppage.
I reckon we're due to see DeGoey. A big moment for him very soon.
Let's keep an eye. Who's going to pounce in ground level? Dacos goes one way. Mills just shoved Taylor Adams, and got another clearance and handballs it, and the Swans kick it towards the wing. Maynard, kicking ball, there's De Goey, takes the mark, handballs on to Pendlebury running through on his left, goes short to Crisp, 55 out. Again, they look to the open side, and again, they find a mark inside 50, and it's with Josh Dacos, who's already had a crack this quarter, and he'll try and put Collingwood back in front.
Must be something they've scouted. Obviously, if you can transfer it to the other side, it's good to do so, but a clear direction there. Pendlebury lowered the eyes, but as soon as they got it there was numbers spreading out to that open side, with the Sydney defence getting very skinny line of ball.
Dale Thomas, Stevie J, Triple M Seabus Super special comments. Seabus Super making hard work pay off. As Dacos kicks from 45 and another miss across the face. 5-8 apiece. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard. Early stages, third quarter. Ethan, you got any idea on the crowd? I know it's normally Chu's thing, but what do you reckon?
The high tide line is what he normally goes with, and it's pretty full up to the top tier, so I'd say there's probably nearly 60 here, I guess.
You have to agree with that. There's a lot of people here. 60, maybe 62.
I reckon 65.
Oh, I reckon 58.
Okay, so Sydney moved the ball towards centre wing. Handball forward to Franklin. Franklin steps in with the left foot and had to handball it back. He got under pressure. Hayward back to Franklin. They're going backwards now, Sydney. Buddy, that's a good kick into the middle, though. Cunningham opens up, and here goes the Lizard. Blakey through the middle of the MCG. Lowers the eyes. Papley leads up. It was at his feet. Can't mark it. Can't get it on the half volley. Now McCreary. Mitchell. Nick Dacos. Picked it up. He's got a player on the outside. Saw him with the corner of his eye. Pendlebury normally makes a good decision, but absolutely didn't see the opponent coming in, Goulden, and that's holding the ball. Not often you see Pendlebury give it up.
Gordon's kicks a beauty into the corridor to Campbell, and there's leads on everywhere, and instead he kicks it to the big man Mason Cox. That's a bad kick from Braden Campbell. What was funny, Stevie?
Just the way he laconically kicked it backwards when he didn't need to.
Until a bloke that had a Sydney forward behind him about a metre.
That's forced Collingwood to go slow, so Adams at half-back, short to Hoskin Elliott, in front of him to change gates. These numbers, Ethan, had a big game, Hoskin Elliott.
Yeah, Hoskin Elliott disposal number 14 coming up for him now, going at 100% by a foot, kicked the goal as well.
That's above his career average already. Early stages, third quarter. Campbell, that's Braden Campbell, almost coughed it up. Parker been clean. Tom McCartan under pressure, just throws it on the boot. Hoskin Elliott lurking again, couldn't take possession. Neither does Pendlebury, neither does Franklin. Finally Mills does, but his handball into the corridor went straight to De Goey, and here go the Pies now. Pendlebury sweeps it wide. Quaynor and Dacos, well, they run into each other. Quaynor knocks down Dacos and then has to kick a high ball himself. Cunningham has to sit under it, and Mychek could have made him pay, but almost allowed him to take the mark. It was a bit disappointing, and Sydney get out of trouble through Warner.
No doubt there's been a shift in the players' mindsets to not absolutely mix players when they're sitting underneath the ball, knowing that they're going to get suspended on the other side of it with the new interpretation.
Chain of handballs to Parker in the middle. The Lizard was involved as well. Warner got it back. Right foot to half forward. McDonald marks it on his chest. Open forward line. McDonald kicks now to the lead. But chipping in is Murphy. Read it best. Murphy handballs back to Pendlebury. He's having a day out. Pendlebury slices one wide. Josh Dacos marks on his chest. Sliding to the ground to Quaynor. Quaynor's got De Goey just short. Elects not to go there. Up against the boundary line was De Goey. Now Quaynor. Going to settle on a long one to centre wing. Looking for Mychek. Can't mark it. At the back of the pack was Fox. Fox went even further back to McCartan. McCartan sweeps one to Blakey. Blakey at half back. Went one way, then the other. Almost slipped over him. Eventually got it to Chad Warner. Warner chips the ball towards Parker. Fox. Now the Pies win it back, but give it up again to Warner.
Well, they're flicking it around here, Sydney. They're stuffing around with it, but they might get out of trouble. No, they won't. Eventually, they just kept handballing it indiscriminately, and it was picked off by Pendlebury to Tom Mitchell. Now got Bobby Hill. Forward of the wing, bit of space. 2v2 inside 50. He wants to get it moving, but he scrubbers it along the ground. Poor kick. And Sydney again will counter off half back, and they continue to flick it around by hands. And finally, Braden Campbell has Logan McDonald in a ton of space on the wing. Franklin offers a long lead short. He ignores that. Franklin goes again, and he ignores him again. Callum Mills. A couple of Swans seem to be getting big numbers, Ethan, particularly the mids. Mills, Parker, Gordon.
Yeah, Callum Mills, that was his 10th disposal for the quarter, 11 minutes in, up to 25. Parker 26, Gordon 25 for the game.
They get 27 for Parker. He gets that in the middle. Blakey tucks it under the arm from half back, runs to half forward and then kicks it straight to Quaynor.
Doesn't lose a one-on-one, Quaynor.
Still hasn't lost one.
Or a 1v none, Nath.
Yeah, it was an easy one. He'll direct the kick, went straight to Quaynor. He's going to go back up the Shane Warne stand side, looking for the smallest man out there. Kick needs to be good, and it is to Elliott. Marked it in between two. So he's all the way up at half-back, Elliott. He's got side bottom running for him. Kicks it to him now. Side bottom moves it quickly to Mitchell. Mitchell a high ball. Looking for Frampton. Frampton can't mark it at the ground level. Sydney got the numbers through Cunningham. Cunningham to Warner. Went with the one hand when two was needed. Fox picks it up and runs an arc. Chips the right foot ball. And he finds rail bottom.
Good player, rail bottom. I'll say it. You're all going to sit there and giggle.
Yeah, what's happening around the grounds? Choice Hotels.
Shootout.
Not a lot, to be honest. St Kilda just kicked the first goal of the game. 18 minutes in, so 1-4-10. They lead North Melbourne 0-3-3.
Must be played in a bog, is it?
Should have taken it.
It's at Marvel Stadium.
Collingwood now, chain of handballs. They're out this time. Oh, great tackle from Tom McCartan. Pies were out everywhere. They were streaming forward, and now it might be Sydney's turn. Now they're streaming forward. Can someone find a mark inside 50? Finally they can. And it's the sub, Aaron Francis, who's taken the mark 40 metres out. On a bit of a tight angle. And he'll go back and try and break up this deadlock. It's been a bit of a stalemate in this third quarter.
That was huge, that tackle from McCartan in the middle of the ground. It looked like Collingwood were going to go forward and they would have probably scored, and it just saved that. They've picked up the footy and gone back the other way. Francis in a heap of space there, and he's going to line up for his first shot at goal for Sydney.
Hasn't kicked the goal for the Swans. This is his third game. He still hasn't. Hangs that out to the right. 5-9-39 Sydney. Collingwood 5-8-38. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard. Titanium Caravans are built to tackle Australia's toughest conditions. Visit titaniumcaravans.com.au.
Noble to do the kicking in. It's a long ball looking for Mason Cox, but he's not going to mark it. The Sydney players spoiled each other. Franklin picked it up and then tried to run through his side bottom like he wasn't even there. Ball pipped out. Sydney, centre of the football. Parker, been big. Marks it. Warner wraps around. Right foot, it's a high ball. Get underneath that one and mark it if you can. Francis does just that, but almost dropped it. In the end, the ball popped out to Hayward. Hayward couldn't control it. Side bottom, another one. Side bottom left foot. Underground ball. Kicked it into Isaac Heaney. Come off his boot. Another boundary throw in.
What's happening in this third quarter, Ethan? Red Z Lending stats?
Yeah, Red Z Lending stats in this third term. It's all Sydney so far. Plus 30 disposals, plus 29, I should say.
Loans for the self-employed. R-E-D, Z-E-D. Throw in. Forward pocket for the Swans. Hoskin Elliott. Quick kick. Only as far as Hayward took the mark. Did well. Might not have gone 15. Crowd don't think so. But Hayward was coming one way, Pendlebury the other.
It's a really dangerous bailout kick in that area of the ground. You know that if you're getting slung, you probably should just try and toe poke it, Daisy, just along the ground, get 5 metres on it rather than popping it in the air to where the defence is going to be set up in that area of the ground.
No doubt there was an element of panic, though, because he'd almost done the full 360, so it was get it on the boot or be done holding the ball.
Harvey Norman replay. It was Jack Crisp coming the other way, not Scotty Pendlebury. Up to 30% off clearance mobiles. Now at Harvey Norman. Hurry while stocks last. So Hayward's already got one. Only 40 metres out, slight angle. Oh, that's a bad kick. Geez, both sides have got the goal-kicking yips today. Set shots, Ethan, for the Swans, that's out on the full.
Yeah, set shots, and that doesn't count necessarily. 1 goal 6 for the Swans, 2 goal 4 for Collingwood from set shots.
You could analyse this game into an inch of its life, but the reality is it's probably just coming down to the goal-kicking accuracy.
Darcy Moore looking for Cox. Frampton was out the back. Now some space for McCreery. Does he use his wheels? Because he's really quick. He's got McCreery. McCreery goes long now. Bouncing ball. Does it sit up for Elliott? That's a tough ball to take. Goulden got back and did well. And Goulden handballed it up and saved the day for the Sydney Swans. And now they've got some space from half back with Cunningham. Back to Goulden. Normally a pretty good user by the left foot. That's not great though, but Eventually made it to Clark.
Really poor entry going inside 50 there from McCreary. Just had to honour the short lead coming from Myercheck. Then he would have been able to roll and find Bobby Hill, or Elliott it was, sorry, running unopposed into the goal square.
Yeah, both teams slaughtering chances this third quarter. And Sydney build it up to half forward. They keep giving it back to Gordon, the kicker, but again, that's a poor kick. Although Francis had a bit of separation from Murphy. Handballed it up to Heaney. Terrific smother from Murphy along the boundary line. Full stretch. And gets a round of applause from the Collingwood crowd. Sydney leading this one by a point, 39-38. After a fast start, this game's turned into a real arm wrestle. Going to be thrown in 40 metres out from the Sydney goals. Frampton, McLean, Pendlebury, another possession. Feeds it back to Dacos. Murphy over the shoulder. And now Tom Mitchell along the boundary line, just inside 50, goes to the wing. That'll be a free kick to Myercheck against Tom McCartan. He's a long way from home. It's 14 free kicks to 8 in favour of the Pies. And he points to centre half forward, and that's where the ball's going to go. Ash Johnson, one-on-one. Mills had a huge quarter. Wins the ground ball. And Sydney are out again, and geez, Errol Gordon's just owned that outer wing today. And he racks up another touch. How many's that in, Ethan?
Errol Gordon, this is disposal number 29 for him. Already 659 metres gained.
Good kick to centre half back. Finds Florent. Florent, the game just opening up a bit at the moment. There's a bit of space around. Logan McDonald in the middle of the MCG. Heaney's forward. One-on-one. He's got Murphy at the back. Goes to Heaney now, but Quainer helps out his teammate. Comes across, slides in and takes a comfortable mark and bounces away. He's got Darcy Moore on. That's where he goes now. Big task for Darcy Moore. Can't mark it. Ball at the ground. Mills again. His handball was battered down by the Pies, and they get back with Hoskin Elliott. Underground ball from Darcy Moore looking for Bobby Hill. And the ball goes out of bounds. So 5 minutes 36 to go in the third term. The Sydney Swans lead by a point. 5-9-39. 5-8-38 this week. Score a small Big Mac meal and a cheeseburger for $6.90, only on the My Macca's app.
Sydney are going to win this stoppage. Rowbottom feeds it out to Franklin, just inside the boundary line. He kicks it to a dangerous part of the ground. Oh, this could be costly against the Pies. It went to centre half forward and they're away. Dacos, Adams to Josh Dacos. Myercheck takes the mark, plays on. But well done by Braden Campbell, who left his man and nailed a tackle. Bobby Hill was in the goal square all on his own. And Collingwood have butchered another chance.
Oh, absolutely gassed it. All he had to do was stop, go back and get any sort of purchase on the ball. Missed his entire foot. Horrible decision going forward.
And just like that, Sydney are now up to half forward. But they're held up, so they'll switch it into the centre square to Lloyd. Whereas McInerney on this broadcast side of the MCG. Collingwood have got a couple back inside defensive 50. Frampton and Quain all just lurking. So they've shown today they haven't wanted to bomb it in there, Sydney. And McInerney has no intent to bomb it. Goes even wider to Braden Campbell. And he goes back to the wing. Lloyd, and they're going to transition the footy. Try and draw out this Collingwood defence again. There's Gordon just owning that outer wing again. Disposal number 30, is it?
Disposal number 32.
32. Can he hit a target inside 50? Again, he wheels and doesn't strike it really well either. And Darcy Moore, the human brick wall, takes another intercept mark.
Robbo Bob Jane teammates, looks like they're going to make a sub.
Yeah, Jack Ginnivan down here warming up. He's got the kit, the playing kit on. We're just trying to work out who he's going to make that sub. So he's run onto the ground, but Collingwood haven't declared their hand with who's subbed off.
So Sidebottom has the ball at halfback. 3 minutes 43 to go before three-quarter time. Sydney by a point. Here's Ginnivan. Marks the ball on centre wing. Parker, lucky not to give away 50. Ginnivan chips the ball to centre half forward, looking for Mason Cox. Can't mark it. Both players went to ground. Taylor Adams' left foot went forward. Bouncing ball to Myercheck. It's set up for him. Myercheck across the body. Brilliant finish. 2 to Myercheck, and the Pies are back in front by 5.
Well, absolutely gassed one going inside forward 50 only moments ago. Needed to make amends for that. That's an absolute class finish. Seems like he's one of the players over the past month who has been a little bit down on regular output. But we know one thing about the bloke. He is a dead-set trier and he will not stop trying. On that occasion, just worked his way in and behind his direct opponent and running to the boundary. Nice finish with the banana.
Yeah, not an easy one to kick from there, Daisy. Running towards the boundary, blustery conditions. Sometimes the player would choose to kick an in-swing drop punt or maybe even dribble it across the ground, but he backed himself to kick the snap across the body and a very nice finish.
Robbo, Bob Jane teammates, who's been subbed out for Jack Ginnivan?
Yeah, just finally got into the back row, Bobby Hill. So been on the phone. Now he's had to step back. Ginnivan straight into the action and they goal, Collingwood.
Bob Jane teammates have a great buy three, get one free deal plus instant cash back. Call or order online today. T's and C's apply. Patley gone into the centre bounce. Was able to get the hands free to Laddams. Kick inside 50. Franklin just brought it to ground. 2v2. Heaney, Quaynor and Markov. And the ball trickles out of bounds. 45 metres around from the Sydney goal. 3 minutes left in this third quarter. And a good seesawing battle. Collingwood led by as much as 20 points early in the second quarter. Sydney led by 8 points at half-time. The only 2 goals of this third term the way of the Pies. And they now lead by 5, and Noble will get a free kick for high tackle. Defensive 50. Members side. Tells everyone to slow it down. And he's going to go towards Johnson and Robbie Fox. Fox gets the fist and then mops up his own work, and the ball goes out of bounds, centre wing.
Oscar Elliott playing a terrific game this afternoon. Been up and down on the wing. Been in absolutely everything, putting his body on the line too, which isn't something you could probably usually say about Will.
Boundary throw in. High tackle not paid. Everyone stopped as though it would have been, and in the end it will be paid to Noble.
Yeah, I thought it was high. Stand, move out, play on.
Noble chips it to Daisy's man, Hoskin Elliott.
Stand.
Hoskin Elliott at half-back, so a slow build-up for the Pies. It took over 2 minutes before three-quarter time. They lead by 5. A goal here would be big for them. To Johnson, fisted back. First one there is Adams, cleverly. While he was falling to the ground, was able to get his handball out to Quaynor, who kicks a finger breaker inside forward 50. And it gets over the back, floated every which way, and then went out of bounds. And we'll have a boundary throw in next to the point post. Pies in attack, 1 minute 58 to go. 44 plays, 39. Collingwood in front.
I've seen Mason Cox call for that long ball quite a few times today, but he's got to get moving before the ball's kicked in his direction, so he's got the agility to change and get to where the ball is ending up.
Opportunity for Collingwood, forward 50, throw in. Frampton tried to have a little set play for De Goey. He ran out of room. Jordan De Goey's numbers, Ethan?
Yeah, Jordan De Goey below expectation. You'd think 11 disposals for him and kicked a goal as well.
REDZED.com. RedZ lending loans to the self-employed. So we'll try again. Crisp at ground level. Can he get boot the ball? Squeezes it on his left. Oh, it was a good effort. Just through for a behind. So 6-9-45 Collingwood. Sydney 5-9-39. Minute 40 left in this third quarter, thanks to Titanium Caravans.
Does Blakey go down the middle? Does he try one on? McLean leading in the middle of the ground on his own at the moment. That's where he's going to go. He sees McLean and pumps one long to him. Can't mark it though. And then Hoskin Elliott runs away and pumps it back inside. Myercheck at the front, but getting across is McCartan. We haven't seen a lot of that from Sydney today. That's McCartan's first intercept mark. McInerney chips it to Chad Warner. Chad Warner at halfback wants to move, and he does now to Lloyd. Lloyd to Francis. Francis on centre wing. He's got Heaney leading. Now he goes in the middle of the ground. Florent, the players on the outer side. Goulden had a stack of it. Wants his left foot. Has to go back inboard. Does now to McLean. This is a slow build-up by Sydney. Heaney offers a lead. Buddy wants it in the pocket. Francis is about 40 metres out. McLean taking an eternity to get rid of this football. Eventually just kicks a high up and under ball. Looking for Franklin. Can't mark it. Collingwood at the front of the pack.
Francis.
And Francis has been paid the mark at the front of the pack.
Move out 10 metres.
That's twice now. The players have all stopped, given away what the decision was. One's in front of us with a high tackle, happily laying it. And on that occasion...
10 metres.
Francis is...
I thought that was the mark to Darcy Moore.
Darcy Moore had 2 paws on it. Francis just had the big left one and was able to reef it in.
He's conned the umpire. He's kicking to the punt road end to put Sydney in front. Francis. The crowd tells the story. It's another bad miss by Sydney. 5-10-40. Collingwood not much better, 6-9-45.
And of all the stats you've given us, Ethan, set shot goal kicking for the Swans. What is it?
It's 1 goal 7 now. Aaron Francis now 12 goals 20 in his career.
That's the story. 5 goals 10 for the Swans. And that would have given them some real momentum at 3/4 time. The siren might beat them. We tick down. And they're not going to come from behind this time, the Pies, but they're going to go in with a 5-point lead. It's still game on. It's an arm wrestle. Who's going to take their chances in the 4th quarter? Stick with us, we'll find out. Daisy, Stevie J, Ethan, Brownie, Robbo, everyone's here. Big 4th quarter coming up from McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M, Rocks Footy.
That quarter for Titanium Caravans. Titanium Caravans are built to tackle Australia's toughest conditions. Visit titaniumcaravans.com.au.
For McDonald's,
Triple M Rocks Footy.
this week only, score a small Big Mac meal and cheeseburger for just $6.90. Only on the My Macca's app.
It can be bloody hard dragging yourself out of bed some days. We agree. That's why Triple M has this guy revving things up from 6 for brekkie.
Kneel down and put your Hessian shirt on and then I'll whip you with the travel strap.
The Marty Sheargold Show, starring Marty. He's your old school funny bastard.
Gold Coast is just an absolute shambles. They should burn it down.
And he does not care who he offends.
Well, you should wee with your pants up, not down around your ankles.
Kick your day in with a grin. The Marty Sheargold Show for breakfast. Weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on Melbourne's 105.1 Triple M.
Steel Solutions, Houston speaking.
Houston, we have a problem.
Okay, settle down. What's happened?
My wife's mother is coming and she wants me to fix the carport, side gate and put a retaining wall across the backyard.
Relax, mate. We've got all the steel you need and we'll even cut the steel to the lengths you want. You don't have to pay any extra and you can have it delivered or pick it up.
Houston, we don't have a problem anymore.
That's kind of why they call us Steel Solutions.
Steel Solutions. The steel you need when you need it. Sunshine, Bayswater and Springvale. steelsolutions.com.au.
Together we create what's next. You've got the potential, we've got the know-how. So let's get started. Apply now for certificates and diplomas at RMIT. Start mid-year. Cricos 001 22A RTO 3046.
Iceberg lettuce $11.99.
Inflation has hit 7.8%.
Interest rates have increased by another 0.25%.
Let's focus on the number 1. 1 is powerful. One act of kindness can produce a flood of joyful tears. And $1 means 2 meals for someone doing it tough. Donate at foodbank.org.au. $1 donated is 2 meals created.
Carlo can't wait for his canter. He's all excited, all worked up, just thinking about all the work his hard-working canter will help him do. Well, you don't have to wait, Carlo. Your Fuso canter is here. In the lot, ready to do the lot. With a 5-year warranty, cap price servicing and safety as standard. Can't wait for your canter? See your Fuso dealer today. Job done.
Subject to availability and conditions of sale. Find out more at fuso.com.au.
Things need topping up every now and then.
More tea, Auntie. Thanks, Bub.
Including your COVID protection. If you're an adult and it's been 6 months since you caught COVID or had a COVID jab, you can now top up with a free COVID-19 booster. It helps keep you and your mob protected from serious illness from COVID-19. So talk to your doctor or health worker about a free COVID-19 booster or visit health.gov.au/top-up to find out more. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Australia, now is the best time to enjoy Aussie fresh fruit and veg.
And only Coles has in-season 100% Aussie Smitten apples for just $3.90 per kilo.
Coles, value the Australian way.
Offer ends Tuesday.
Hello, Frank Walker from National Tiles. National Tiles' famous once-a-year May Mayhem is the biggest and best ever. Spend $5,000 and we'll only charge you $3,800. Or spend $10,000 and we'll only charge you $6,800. That's right. Spend $10,000 and we'll only charge you $6,800. Don't miss the biggest and best National Tiles May Mayhem event of all time. So rush into National Tiles now and save.
Shut up! The foot is on the radio!
Triple M Rocks Footy.
This quarter for Beacon Trade. Beacon Trade's here to partner with your business with a huge range of lighting, fans and electrical accessories. Beacon Trade, let's make light work.
The game of footy at the MCG. Collingwood up against Sydney. Collingwood led by 15 at quarter time. Sydney bounced back and led by 8 at the half. And now it's the Pies by 5.69.45 to the Sydney Swans 5.10.40. Triple M Red Z lending stats. Loans for the self-employed. How do they do it, Heath?
Well, a lot of big numbers for Sydney. They're plus 97 disposals, but it's just that last kick in front of goal. 1 goal, 7 from set shots for them, plus 110 uncontested ball as well. It's Errol Goulden running amok. 34 disposals, 13 marks, 779 metres gained. They're all already career highs for him. Parker 29, Mills and Warner 27 apiece for the Pies. Scott Pendlebury has 24, most for Collingwood.
Choice hotels around the grounds?
Yeah, not a lot going on in that game at the moment. Dan Butler with the only goal of the game. 13 minutes left in the second term. St Kilda 1-6-12. North Melbourne 0-5-5.
Triple M super special comments?
Well, the Swans' inaccuracies really cost them. It's been the story of the afternoon really for both sides. But Sydney Swans, in terms of set shot goal kicking and some really easy looks, it was Aaron Francis, the activated sub in that quarter, missed a couple of easy ones that would have seen the Swans, albeit in front on the scoreboard. So they've been pretty good. The Pies have gassed some opportunities. It's set up for a cracking last quarter, Stephen.
Yeah, I think they've got to have a look at that matchup. Goulden, I think he's spent predominantly most of the game on Josh Dacos on that outer wing, and if he continues to rack him up, he's one of the best kicks going inside 50. Eventually he'll cut you up. So I'd like to see Collingwood put some time into him, but you know that Collingwood are very hard to beat. They go in with a lot of belief in close games, and this is another one I expect them to run away with.
Righto, it's become our favourite Sunday afternoons watching the Pies in fourth quarters. Can they do it again and continue this incredible run of winning close games, or can the Swans do what they did to them in the prelim, Rabsy, and break their hearts? We'll find out. Ream Hot Water, built tough for Aussie conditions when it comes to water heating. Ask your plumber to install a Ream. Fourth quarter underway. Pendlebury starting off the back of the square. Heaney, handballs back, and now Florent, half-back flank. Towards a one-on-one. Hayward takes the mark on Noble. It's an open forward line. Papley on Quaynor. Offers a little lead. He waits for Florent to give the handball, and then Florent just kicks it to the top of the square. Francis in a one-on-one with Moore. Moore's going to win that 9 times out of 10, and he does. And then he has some support. Handballs to Maynard. Quaynor. Good pressure from Hayward. Forced the Quaynor handball to go out of bounds, and it'll stay inside the Sydney Swans forward 50. They're trailing by 5 points. The start of this fourth quarter. Fourth quarter brought to you by Beacon Trade. And the ball will be thrown in. Frampton and Laddams. Good clearance from Mitchell, although the handball went to Sidebottom, whose kick was smothered. Now a loose ball inside 50 for Sydney. Clark shovels it back to Cunningham. Good tackle from Murphy on Goulden. Ball up.
Jack Ginnivan's come on, and he's got the matchup currently on Lloyd, so we know how good Lloyd is at getting in positions to win the ball. You just imagine on a fast break at some stage, Ginnivan's going to be goal side running into an open one.
Inside forward 50, the Swans go. Quaynor stands up and takes a nice mark.
Stands. Play on.
Wrap around the back from Nick Dacos. Chips the footy to Noble. Noble's got some room to go, but he likes to go back over the mark. Short ball to Taylor Adams, just inside the boundary. At half-back. So Ash Johnson offers a lead towards centre wing. That's where Taylor Adams hand directs where he's going. The ball is good for Frampton, diving in, couldn't quite get there. Picking the ball up was Florent. Steps inside the tackle of Mitchell. Then look for Franklin inside forward 50. Franklin 1 by 2 by 3. And he's marked it 45 out. This is where he likes to run around, give himself some room and pump it.
Francis is unopposed on the forward pocket at the minute. Lance not going in to share this one.
2 metres, thank you.
He's not passing this, Joe. Daisy.
That's correct, Stevie.
If he tries to run out, Sidebottom's going to come at his left foot, so he's going to have to back himself to have the distance with the straighter run-up.
So this will be a big start for Sydney. Their superstar full forward, over 1,000 goals. Franklin to the city end. Arcs out a little bit. Pulls it right and it stays right. Through for one behind. 45 plays 41. Collingwood in front.
Robbo, Bob Jane T. Marks.
Yeah, just an update. Mark Sheether off
Sydney Swans, so Aaron Francis got his chance and Ginnivan gets his chance in this last term with Bobby Hill sitting on the back pine.
Thank you, Robbo. Is it warming up down there?
No, it's getting colder.
Bob Jane Team Arts have a great buy three, get one free deal plus the instant cashback. Caller order online today. T's and C's apply from the kick in. Collingwood have a lot of numbers at ground level. So the handball goes out to side bottom, who kicks towards Cox and Blakey in a one-on-one. And there's going to be a hold. It was against Nick Blakey to Mason Cox. Ginnivan took the advantage. And a little dinky left-footer kick finds Jamie Elliott, who's been the only one who looks like kicking a set shot today. And he'll go back to try and kick his second.
Well, this is the end that they've had trouble kicking it all day, both sides. In the warm-up, as we said, just needs to start it just inside the left post, not give the goals away.
He's going to kick it about 45 metres, about 10 metres in from the boundary line. Across the face, and it won't even make a distance, and Myercheck will float across and take the contested mark. Poor checking by the Swans. Well done, heads up play, Myercheck. The man on the mark, he's in between the goal post and point post. He's going to have to step out and snap this on his left.
He's going back too far. He needs to come forward another 3 or 4 metres. Step out straight across the body.
There's the expert advice from the man who invented the J-curve. But Myercheck proves him wrong. He's got it. That's 3 for Brodie Myercheck. And that could be the difference in this game. Those 3 goals have been crucial. And the Pies get out to a 10-point lead. They're 7-9-51. Sydney 5-11-41. Early stages, fourth quarter. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Well, he did hit it a little bit skinny, Joey, so a little bit lucky there, but it paid off being in the right spot. Sydney coaching staff would be filthy that ball wasn't punched through for a rush behind on that occasion, Daisy.
Just explain to the people who might be wondering what you're meaning by coming closer. So he obviously went back near onto the point post when he took the mark on the goal post.
Yeah, so that player there for Sydney was basically back on the goal line. All he needed to do was come up to within about 2-3 metres of that player, step out quickly and snap it straight across his body. There would have been no risk of maybe bellying the ball or hitting it skinny, which he did do, but it was good enough to go through.
Collingwood have kicked the last 3 and lead by 10 points. Choice Hotels around the grounds.
I'll say one thing, it's close. 1-9-15 St Kilda lead North Melbourne 0-6-6 late in the second term.
Sounds like a ripper over there. So Laddams falling over out of the middle to Gowie. Hasn't touched it a lot. Needs a big last quarter for his footy club. Looking for Adams. Going back with courage was McInerney. And a free kick will go to Dacos.
Taylor Adams took the long sleeve off. We were questioning how tough he is. That is incredible. Took the contact, back on his feet, tough as nails.
Pendlebury. He's got to go if he wants to go to the right. Doesn't. Now to the left, into the pocket for Johnson. Getting back and marking it in his space was Billy Frampton.
He just he could have kicked that inboard to Gowie, who would have been about 55 metres out, but I think the smartness of Pendlebury understood that there was a space being created through a little bit of movement from the Collingwood forward line, and Frampton was going to have a mismatch if it was kicked in his direction. Really smart play by Pendles.
Well done by Johnson, just late pulling out of that marking contest and allowing his teammate in front. This is for 4 in a row and a big lead. Slides it wide. Set shot goal kicking has been pretty ordinary today. 7-10-52 the Magpies, 5-11-41 the Sydney Swans.
Game still up for grabs. Who's going to take it? Who's going to make the most of their opportunities? Both have had good looks. What an inside 50 count in this game, Ethan?
Yeah, Red Z lending stats. Collingwood +8, 44-36 their way.
Blakey strolls out from fullback, goes towards the wing. Collingwood again have the numbers. Josh Dacos to his brother Nick. Under pressure, throws it on the boot. Nick Blakey had 10 metres of space. The ball didn't bounce for him, unfortunately, and it goes out of bounds. Nick Dacos' numbers.
Nick Dacos, of course, he's copping that Ryan Clark tag. Red Z lending stats, 18 disposals for him, only 58% by foot, both below his averages.
Loans for the self-employed, R-E-D-Z-E-D. Robbo, Bob Jane.
Adams coming off. He got absolutely smashed on that halfback flank, limping off. I reckon they're going to check every bone in his body. It was one of the biggest clashes I've seen at the G.
Ginnivan played for the free kick. Correctly, the umpire said play on. Collingwood supporters not happy, but he definitely ducked his head into it. DeGoey sits underneath it, gets his hands free, and they'll have a ball up on the 50.
touched off the boot.
Thanks, boys.
Here's the replay.
Thank you.
He was stiff there.
Ball up, Frampton. Lloyd swung around in the tackle. Umpire said play on. Frampton chips one back inside forward 50. Myercheck just need to get his foot to it. I think it's bounced through in the end anyway. So the umpires are going to confirm. There's a bit of a push and shove.
Who's the umpire, Joey?
Joey's favourite umpire. He wants his me time.
Me.
No, it's a different one, Joey.
Make sure it wasn't touched. Thanks, boys.
Just making sure it wasn't touched. And that umpire's got his face on camera again. So the kick came in from Frampton. The marking contest was Myercheck. As we bring it back, the Harvey Norman replay. Hey, look, if it's touched back at the 50, it's not.
Is not.
The ball goes inside to the top of the square.
Not touched.
And I think this might bounce through for a goal. I'm calling it a goal.
Oh, Nick Blake in a bad spot for the Swans.
That's a goal for mine. Collingwood fans agree.
Not overturning that if he said it was a goal.
That'll bounce through. That's the Collingwood fans you can hear. That's a big build-up. This for 4 in a row for the Maggies.
I reckon it hit his arm, boys.
It's hit his arm, Nathan.
Oh! Tells you. It's a goal to the Magpies. It's going to come up on the screen in a minute. And the Collingwood supporters are going to go off. Goal to Collingwood. Frampton, by this stage, is all the way onto the bench and he's high-fiving Craig McRae. And it's a 17-point lead to Collingwood.
Stevie, that definitely hit him on the forearm.
How can you be so
clear as day.
definitively sure?
I've seen the replay. I don't know what the bloke upstairs is looking at.
The same replay you were.
He couldn't have been. He couldn't have been.
He can't be 100% sure.
I'm 100% sure that hit his forearm.
Is that the first time a player's ever celebrated a goal that he's kicked while he's on the bench?
Let's have a look at the replay again for Harvey Norman. Stevie J's bionic eyes. Like just X-ray vision he has.
Tom McCartan knows he touched it. And he put his hand up straight away.
Ridiculous.
And there's great scenes. Frampton on the bench celebrating his own goal. And it's out to 17 points. They did lead by 20 at one stage, Collingwood. But this is a pretty significant margin now, considering the scoring that's going on in this game. We have a secondary stoppage. Cox and McLean, De Goey, been so good at centre clearances this year. Top 10 in the comp. Handballs it off to Mitchell. Inside 50. One more goal might just break the hearts of the Swans. It falls to that man, Ginnivan. And he sticks out the arms. And he loves it. And that might be the killer blow. Sydney going to have to get their skates on now. Because Collingwood lead by a game-high 23 points. They're 9-10-64. Sydney 5-11-41. They've kicked 5 goals in 3.5 quarters. And they're going to need 4 in 13 minutes. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Just a good front and centre. But it comes down to the importance of winning the ball out of the middle. Mason Cox, a lovely tap down to De Goey, who was good enough and strong enough to take the tackle, still release the ball to Tom Mitchell. And as we see here, it's that match-up on Lloyd. Just got goal side. Lloyd peeling off, looking to try and receive when the Swans didn't have the ball. Ginnivan right spot, right time. And did he love it?
A fumble by Sydney. They have been very fumbly today. Choice Hotels around the grounds.
Yeah, St Kilda kicked a couple of goals now, 3-9-27 to 0-6-6 North Melbourne late in the second term, that one.
So the umpire's going to throw it up. Cox and McLean. Cox won that one. De Goey inches it forward. Ginnivan again. He's given him something. Bouncing ball. Elliott keeps it in front of him. Didn't fall over. The Sydney opponent did, but now Sydney with the numbers. Rowbottom chips the ball to Franklin, who's all the way up at half back, and he'll get booed. Wants to move it quickly. That won't worry him. See, hands out, saying, where can I go? He's going to get himself into trouble here, Franklin. Kicks it, a bouncing ball to centre wing. Mason Cox tried to tap it with his foot from 6'10" high. Rowbottom ran down from behind, holding the ball. Everything turning up Collingwood.
This is when they really get their mojo on the Pies. Fourth quarter energy. Crowd up and about.
Move it on.
They don't need to be too reckless here. 23 points up. But they'll keep playing their way. Kick from Crisp. There was no representation from Collingwood. Hayden McLean is able to mark it, sliding on his knees. Robbo, Bob J&T marks.
There, Taylor Adams wants to desperately get back out there. He's had his left ankle strapped heavily, so ready to go. But Laddams, he's down here, still complaining of headaches, wants to get back on. But that happened in the first bounce of the day.
Thank you, Robbo.
Move it on.
Mills stuck across half back, just like Franklin was earlier. So they've lost a bit of confidence in their forwards up ahead. No wonder when Darcy Moore keeps intercepting like he has. Logan McDonald wanted a free kick, none doing. Josh Dacos, handball back to Markov, and he goes back in defence to Murphy. And they'll set the field, Collingwood.
Yeah, I think Sydney's got to start actually taking that contest a little bit more early. I know they're set up really wide and trying to use the switch, but that's not happening for them. So they've got to come in, condense the field, take the contest, and if they win the contest, there might be a chance of scoring.
Can they change that in the game, Stevie? Because the whole game they've been spreading the field, kicking short.
I think if they put a green sign up, that'll mean win the game, take the contest, take more risks with the footy rather than trying to take this uncontested mark style of game, which Collingwood getting back in numbers. It's going to be very hard for them to kick 4 goals and win this game doing this style of play.
Now they're still doing it now. They took the intercept mark, Sydney, forward of the wing, but they've gone from one side of the ground to the other, and they're still 70 from home, just chipping it around.
Stand, Clown.
That suits Darcy Moore and co just fine. Well, that's a better kick. It was a low, flat one. Hayward got both hands to it, couldn't take it. Ryan Clark has had the tagging job. Wins a ground ball, but handballs it to no one. Side bottom. Always so cool and calm. Johnny Noble, not so much. Papley taken high. And the crowd are filthy. They think Ginnivan missed one earlier and that Papley might have contributed to that one. But he'll get the free kick, but it's going to be a tough ask. Steele side bottom on the mark, 45 metres out, just inside the boundary line.
Well, if there's one bloke that can get the energy and the excitement up for the Sydney Swans, it'll be this man if he can kick a goal from 50 metres out.
Let's see what he can do. He's going to have to kick it from 50. And he strikes it beautifully, Tommy Papley. And now he's got that look in his eye, Stevie. He's getting the boys up and about. They get back within 17 points. Still plenty of time. 6-11-47. Collingwood 9-10-64. Triple M Beacon trade scoreboard.
Well, the sign's gone up on the bench, Stevie, but it's got a race car on it. One side's green, the other one's got the race car.
The speed, exactly what we're talking about.
Yep. So the chance to take the game on, get some serious speed into what you're doing with the ball in hand.
Wheels.
Against Sydney.
Fast.
Yeah, just a little bit fortunate there that they're able to draw the free kick, Papley there. It wasn't through, taking the game on, which we'll be looking for them to do now.
The Pies were flat last week with the umpiring. If Swans are good enough to get up and win, the Ginnivan one at the other end was 14 times worse than that. And I say 14, I think it was definitely 14 times worse.
Great finish by Papley. Life for Sydney. They need the next one, though. Side bottom, picked it up from the wing to Nick Dacos, tackled as soon as he got it by road bottom.
My ball. Thanks, buddy.
Empire ball up, Choice Hotels around the grounds.
Yeah, still St Kilda, nearly half-time in that game, 3-9-27 North Melbourne, haven't kicked a goal, just 7 behinds to their name.
Umpire balls it up, road bottom, spun around in the tackle. Parker pushed one forward to the top of the 50, Loeb McDonald. So have to kick it 55 metres out. Has he got the journey from here?
Yes, he does.
So Loeb McDonald looking around, looking for a pass, looks uncertain. Does he load up and just go bang? He kicks it into the pocket, the lead from Franklin, over the back, and it's out of bounds.
I hate that option. Yeah. There's no point kicking it to a lead in the pocket when they've got numbers back. At least if you're going to lay it up to a dangerous spot, which might bring your crummers into play.
Kick it to the top of the square. Give yourself a chance. Now they're going to have to try and create something from a throw-in. Very rarely do you get forward 50 stoppage goals, but they'll give it a crack. Papley trying to come through. Quaynor met him. Noble taken high in a tackle. So it'll relieve the pressure for the time being. Still 9.5 minutes left. Pies by 17 points. They've kicked 3 goals to 1 in this quarter. In fact, 5 goals to 1 since half-time. Fox got the fist in on Mychek. Josh Dacos front and square. Gave the handball off to Crisp, who kicks it around the body on the left towards the wing. 1-on-1. Elliott and Cunningham. Elliott tried to break free. Well done, Cunningham. And then De Goey tried to get it forward. Elliott went back and applied pressure. Here's the Collingwood pressure. Mitchell, De Goey and Elliott, they all get involved. And they force a ball up. Just forward to the wing.
Brilliant pressure it was. Looked like they had the 2-for-1 once De Goey went out of play, slipped over on the wet surface, but quickly back up to his feet and the numbers arrived.
So the ball up just in front of the benches. Out of bounds now. 64 plays 47. 9 minutes 10 to go. Collingwood in front and seemingly in control. Sydney have got the last one through Papley. It's a live ladder, Heath.
Live ladder. Collingwood on top if they hold on here. Only team with 7 wins ahead of Melbourne.
So a boundary throw in. Laddams went straight down to Crisp to half forward. Free kick will go to Ginnivan. So Ginnivan's on the point of the square. Cox is in the goal square. So too Mychek.
Stand now.
Johnson just ahead of them. So he sets it up now. Mason Cox comes running. He's hard to hold out when he gets a run and jump at the football, Mason Cox. And this is the part of the game he does best.
Clever kick from Ginnivan. There was some nice blocking going on the line. Johnson, Mychek were back there.
10 metres.
But just a clever kick to space, but with enough elevation that even when Mason Cox was getting to the ball, he could still come up and through it rather than getting bodied out of it.
He's given them plenty.
The Sunnies almost came off as well. I'm expecting a big strut. He's a celebrator. He celebrates his own work as well as anybody. 30 out directly in front. And he's missed. It's been miss after miss here at the MCG from set shots today. And the Pies, they lead by 18.
Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite them. Sydney now have got the race car sign and they go straight down the middle from the kick-in. Heaney being quiet today, Ethan. What are his numbers?
Yeah, Isaac Heaney, Red Z lending stats, just the 13 disposals, 1 behind.
And need more out of him. Handball went to Rowbottom, slips. He's going to get a free kick. Is he high contact? Oh, that won't please the Pies fans from the umpire inside the defensive 50. Kick forward to Mills. Had a big game.
Look for this to maybe go to Heaney. They'll be looking inside a little bit more with this race car sign up.
Okay, get the inside word here. Franklin's come a long way up. And he wants to kick it aggressively. And he just goes long to the top of the square. Francis, Darcy Moore again. How many intercepts for him, Ethan? He just does it week after week.
Darcy Moore, that's intercept mark number 4. This will be disposal number 20. 10 intercept possessions all up. That's a game high.
That'll be frustrating ball movement in the Sydney coaches box. They moved it around the boundary and then went to the Pies numbers rather than trying to be more adventurous through the corridor.
Franklin might have another go at it. Gave the big fend off to Nick Dacos. And then kicks it back where it came from. Moore's there again. Couldn't take the mark. Pat League front and square. Screws it into the corridor. Clark taps into the path of McDonald. Goes around on the left boot. Just missed. Nice little passage by the Swans. But they still trail by 17 points. Time becoming a factor now. 6:50 left on the clock. 65-48. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
So Quain to do the kicking in. They've come to this side most of the time today, and they will again, looking for Frampton. And also, Mychek's there. Frampton over the back.
Man in front.
It's a big crowd, 71,463.
I think I was closest.
Wow. I said 68.
Daisy, what'd you go?
71. Hard to beat, Steve.
So Sydney kicks the ball to Lloyd.
You got any record? You wouldn't have any records, would you, crowds? Sydney v Collingwood? They'd have to be up there.
I'll have a look for you, Joey. They haven't played here in 10 years, of course, so I'll be back to you with their record crowd.
Lloyd squares it up to Blakey. Blakey a pumping left foot inside forward 50, bouncing ball to Franklin. Flicked the ball out the back. He was looking for Goulden. But John Noble, super consistent player, picks it up and has a bounce. Looks for Elliott out on the far wing and he dives in and he marks it towards the boundary line and he'll soak up some time.
6 minutes left on the game clock. They lead by 17 points.
Move it on. Fly on.
Just need to play it out here, Collingwood. And they'll be sitting atop of the ladder again tonight. They've had to do it the hard way. Been a grind, but they've been up for the challenge. Sydney will keep coming at them. Can they be more aggressive with their ball movement? McInerney demanding that Logan McDonald come at him, but the kick was horrible. Heaney pushed Markov in the back. So Markov will take the free kick half forward as Josh Dacos just flaring wide. 70 from home. Goes even shorter to Taylor Adams. Umpire said not 15, so Taylor Adams goes back to Dacos. Yet that one was 15. So Dacos still 80 from home. Couple of kicks. Frampton, Myercheck and Ash Johnson are all long down the line. Kick won't quite get to them. It'll go off hands and out of bounds 30 metres out from the Pies goal.
Really good result for them there. He would have been aiming for the pocket, knowing that if it goes out of bounds, they can set up behind the ball. And a repeat stoppage for them here in their forward 50 would be another good result for them to chew that clock.
So the boundary throw in Frampton and Laddams. Laddams worked his way to the front, tapped it down, but the ball bounced back up into Frampton's hands. Pushing his way through was Elliott. We'll have a ball up again.
Red Z Lending Stats, biggest home and away crowd at the MCG between these two sides. Only a 2003 clash up in Sydney at Stadium Australia 72, and the 1936 grand final have been bigger.
Ball up, Ginnivan. We'll ball it up again. Triple M Red Z Lending Stats, Ethan.
That was good.
That was a good stat.
Yeah.
On a cold day, they've all come out.
They need to look for an outside hit here, the Swans.
Ripping crowd. 71,000. Watching Collingwood at the moment. In control in the last quarter. Rowbottom. He's got a runner on the inside. That was Florent. Florent feeds a handball to Logan McDonald. Logan McDonald's got a player forward to the ball. Franklin darts into space. The kick just needs to be good, and it's not. It misses him, and it rolls out of bounds. It's been Buddy Franklin's night, pretty much summed up in one passage of play.
Stevie, you know John Longmire in the Sydney game plan as well as anyone. Over 400 disposals, just 40 inside 50s. Is this how they want to play? Do they want to play this way, or has it just been a game plan that hasn't worked today?
I don't know. I think they're probably playing what they see, and Collingwood have got back and really supported their defence, as we've talked about. Probably made them play a style of game that they don't really want to play. It's certainly not the way they played last year when they were able to reach a grand final.
Yeah, they just look passive. I wonder if they've losing a bit of confidence in their forward line, Sydney. Pendlebury, it was smart by Papley. He tackled Pendlebury to the ground, then let him go to make sure that Pendlebury had to get it out and it goes out of bounds. It's just been a misfiring forward line for Sydney this year. Been spluttering, struggling to kick a score. Just 48 points. It's been greasy, but still been okay conditions. Mitchell, strong tackle from McLean. And then McLean will try and get it out to Papley, but good pressure from Collingwood. Frampton, handball forward. Mitchell, first onto it. Got to tap it out. Nick Dacos over to Ginnivan, who's come out the front of the stoppage. Just a little clever 15-metre kick on the ground, then DeGoey the same. And they've worked it up towards the wing, and they're using the numbers here. This could be the final play for Collingwood. Elliott running hard. There's the handball. This could be the team goal. Well done, McCartan. Came off his man, big smother, 50 metres out, 3:30 left on the clock. Still, Sydney need 3 goals to try and snatch it.
He's played a game, McCartan. His ability to come off and impact, that's 3 or 4 goals he's directly saved by pressing out to the 50 and impacting both ball carry-up but also ball.
What are DeGoey's numbers today, Heath?
Jordan DeGoey, Red Z Lending Stats, 16 disposals, 6 clearances, kicked the goal as well.
So boundary throw in, sock it out of that pack. Josh Dacos leads the race for it. Going to be a free kick.
It'll go to Nick. He went to put a nice block on Callum Mills there, and he grabbed him across the shoulder.
Well picked up for Stevie. You see that on the Harvey Norman replay as well. So Nick Dacos, 3 minutes 20 to go. Dacos with the right footer, hugs the boundary line. Inside forward 50, Cox elevates himself. Can't mark it, the ball's out of bounds. Choice Hotels around the grounds.
Yeah, half-time in that game. St Kilda 3-9-27, North Melbourne 0-7-7. Their first goalless half since 1979.
That is a good Triple M Red Z Lending stat. Boundary throw in. Cox to do the ruck work. Goulden been good today. Pendlebury been even better. Went over the top of his head to Lloyd. DeGoey in the middle of the ground, side bottom, handballed it up to Pendlebury. Pendlebury runs the arc, and then he always finds a target. And he finds a target on this occasion to Nick Dacos. Nick Dacos, 55 out. This will be the knockout blow. Can they hit a target inside 50? Short ball. He finds his brother, Josh Dacos. 55 out himself. Leads into the pocket. Now he looks for Mason Cox. Coming in from the side was McCreary. Dropped the mark. Probably should have taken that. We'll have the ball up again. 30 metres out from the Pies goal.
2 minutes 30 left. Pies have it where they want it, inside their forward 50 with a stoppage. Feels like Sydney have had all the ball winners, Ethan. Who have been the Pies ball winners?
Yeah, Scott Pendlebury leading the way, 29 touches. Nick Dacos worked his way up to 23. His brother Josh, 21. Tom Mitchell, 21 as well.
And Sydney have probably had a heap. They've had over 420 possessions. Still scrambling around inside 50 for the Pies. Rowbottom squeezed one out only as far as Billy Frampton. He tried to put on a few moves and then tried to squeeze. A kick to DeGoey, who's going to go on the left boot. This could be the sealer. Oh! Myercheck! Out of midair. Kung Fu style. And the same goal umpire wants another score review for knee time. Even though this is the best goal. Well, it's not better than Will Ashcroft, but it's the goal of the day. There is no need for a score review. He just wants more airtime. Myercheck's kicked his fourth. That's the best of him. Have a look at that. Over his shoulder, in midair. That's a goal. And that's another win for the Pies.
Review complete. Looking at this angle, we can see the ball comes off the boot of the Collingwood attacker last before crossing the back of the goal line.
By the way, that's his sixth score review, this same goal umpire today, for those keeping count.
The Triple M Red Z.
Let's hear the roar. And that's a roar of victory. Myercheck has kicked 4 out of the 10. Ever so workmanlike, but not on that occasion. A bit of flair, Stevie, that even you would have been proud of.
Yeah, I don't think I was capable of that, Joey. My hamstring's a bit tight. Kick two scissor kicks over my head, but he's been important today, Brodie Myercheck. Just important moments in this game where it's just need a little bit of a spark. He stood up and given them something. I like the introduction of Ginnivan. The start of this last quarter, he also got the momentum going for him.
Was clever on the goal line. His first thought was to shepherd, but as the ball died and it started to swing late towards the post, his mind quickly changed, and that's a hell of a finish, bicycle kick style.
6 goals to 1 in the second half in favour of the Pies. And they go forward again. Socket out of midair by Mason Cox, down to half forward, and Johnson marks on his chest. Josh Dacos, left foot, centres the football. Myercheck's got 4. Can't pick this one up. Handball come out, wild. Florent, he was tackled. Mills picked it up at handball. Now Heaney with some space. Picks the ball up at half back. Pumps the ball to half forward. Quainer up against Papley. Got out the back, and Darcy Moore will track the ball towards the boundary line, and he wants the boundary line. He keeps it in. No, he doesn't. And the ball will be thrown in.
Right. Hayden and Mason, thanks.
A minute 20 left. The Pies will sit atop of the ladder. And they've got next week, Ethan, or have Collingwood got?
Next week, Giants back here at the MCG.
Well, they should take care of business again, Collingwood. Keep marching. Pendlebury's been excellent. Dacos short to Taylor Adams, who wanted to give it back to Dacos, but Sydney had numbers all around this ball, and Ginnivan, who, as Stevie J said, had some influence in this fourth quarter, coming on as the sub.
Back across your line, thank you. Foot on the line, foot on the line.
It's going to be out on the full, accidentally off the boot of Ginnivan, so Luke Parker will take possession. He'll kick this one to an aggressive part of the 50 for the Swans. Haven't seen enough of that today. Nick Dacos said he's with a smother.
You're 15, play on!
Not 15 paid, and then a good spoil from Nick Dacos, still working hard, gets that ball out of bounds. 51 seconds left on the clock. Collingwood lead by 23. And here's Nathan Brown to call the final 50 seconds.
Boundary throw in. Cox works his way to the front. Heaney handballs to Lloyd. Lloyd to Rowbottom, tackled by Noble as soon as he got it. going in hard as always.
Foul, not 15.
Mason Cox tried to punch the ball forward. Dacos been tagged all day. Josh on this occasion, socking the ball out, looking for Elliott. Elliott tracks the ball towards the boundary line. Picked up by Fox. Fox handball to McLean. Another one to Mills. Mills couldn't get over the top of Cox, who intercepted it. Now Noble back to DeGoey. DeGoey handball to Frampton. Can they have some cream on top the pies? Quainer to Pendlebury to side bottom. This would be an absolute brilliant goal if he can kick it. Side bottom to Myercheck. Myercheck's going to kick 5. What a finish by the Pies. Last quarter specialists, and they've done it again. 29-point lead. And the MCG 71,000 and the Magpie Army are happy.
Career high, 5 goals. Kicked 4 goals 11 times before that, so a good one. Thank you for that one for Red Z, Heath. That's an absolute ripper, but just a nice passage of play. When it's been the Swans trying to win the game, they're all out on offence, allowing the defence to be really spread. And once they got it through the corridor out to the open side, it was 3v1. They worked their way through it. Side bottom, as he does so often, summed it up beautifully. Kick to the line. Myercheck does the rest. Game over.
And all that's left to sound is the siren. It'll come as soon as this ball is bounced. And in front of 71,000 at the MCG, Pies fans continue to see them sitting on top of the ladder.
What a big win from the Pies. They were challenged in the second term. They led by 15 at quarter time. Sydney bounced back, kicked 4 goals to 1 in the second term. They led by 8 at half time. The Pies by 5 at 3/4 time. And then it was the Brodie Myercheck show in the last quarter. He kicked 3 to take his total to 5. And Collingwood win another game. 29 points, 11-11, 77 to 6-12, 48. Get down to the ground, Nick Dacos with Chris Johnson.
You needed to. Yeah, the boys have been running our games really well. I think we've got that belief and we've put in the work all week, so it's been good reward.
All the talking, mate, about tagging you and everything else, and a bit heated there early on. They came for you, and your teammates got around you and stuck up for you and certainly showed their support for you.
Yeah, we love it when I get a tag. We think we can manipulate the opposition, get 1v none, so it's a good thing for us, and I've always got my teammates' support, which I love.
So there would have been a bit of banter going on in there?
Yeah, plenty of banter, but all good fun.
Congratulations, mate. Enjoy the win.
Thanks, Jono.
Nick Dacos did a good job today. Always hard when you get tagged, but he worked his way through it. He wasn't the most prolific ball winner on the ground, but he did his job.
Love the fact that he had 5 tackles, was looking to block and bring others into the game.
And the morale of the Collingwood players, even up until the last minute of that game where he was able to just force that ball out of bounds, which is obviously a team plan in that stage of the game, and they got over and really celebrated that. That'll make him want to do those extra little things more and more as his career goes on.
Well, head back down to the ground, and Brodie Myercheck, the 5-goal hero with Chris Johnson.
Get it through for Geordie, and I was like, this ain't going all the way. Stuck the foot out, love those goals. So, I was happy happy to get 5. Can't believe it. Everyone says every week when you're going to kick 5, and it's happened, so, yeah.
Well, Pedals come straight up to you and say congratulations, you finally got your 5, so it must be a lot of conversation around the footy club.
Yeah, Pat Lipinski's the #1 guy telling me to get 5 every week. Just awesome how we come back in that last, and we knew we're always capable of come back, so just happy to get on the end of him and get the win.
Congratulations, enjoy the win.
Thank you, cheers.
5 goals, Collingwood on top of the ladder at the moment. Melbourne, St Kilda, Brisbane Lions and Port Adelaide all on 6 wins, but it's a mighty performance again from the Pies, and they've got a forward line with Ash Johnson and Brodie Myercheck, and when Mason Cox can mark the ball, it's starting to look dangerous.
And Sydney have lost 5 of their last 6 now after winning their first 2 games, so real concerns for the Sydney Swans and where their season is at. But Collingwood have got some really winnable games the next month. Gee, that's a nice month. Did you see that? It was Giants, West Coast, North Melbourne and Carlton. So all teams not in the top 8. So Pies could be sitting pretty at the bye.
Choice Hotels around the grounds?
Yeah, second half has just resumed. St Kilda 3-10-28, North Melbourne 0-7-7 in that game.
This is the Triple M Amy Review. McDonald's this week only score a Big Mac meal and cheeseburger for $6.90 only on the My Macca's app. You impressed, Stephen?
Well, I'm not surprised. We know that they're a fast-finishing team. They've got so much belief. They've got a system that works. They were challenged today, which is another good response to come back at Sydney, who looked like they were starting to get control of the game and win that arm wrestle, and to finish in the fashion they did against a quality opposition. And with the month ahead, they're a team that's probably going to be premiership favourites after the weekend's over.
You can say that they held up well during momentum shifts, but if anything, it was Sydney's inaccuracy that allowed them to get their terms and the game back on their terms. They had so many set shots at critical stages just to get them back and to maybe make the Pies a bit nervous, but weren't able to put any scoreboard pressure on them. And we know with the Pies and the style they play, you only get certain patches of each quarter where you do have that momentum until they're good enough to turn it around and then get some looks the other way.
Who got the most disposals for Triple M Red Z Lending tonight, eh?
Yeah, Red Z Lending, Errol Goulden, career high, 37 disposals. Also career highs for marks and metres gained. Luke Parker, 34. Callum Mills, 31. Ollie Florent, 29. Big numbers around the Swans for the Pies. Scott Pendlebury, 31. Nick Dacos worked his way up to 25 in the end. Josh Dacos, 23. Quaynor, Adams, Mitchell, all 22 apiece.
Macca's, I'm loving it moment tonight. That happened at the 12-minute mark of the last quarter, and how's we called it on Triple M Footy.
Cox and McLean to Goey. Been so good at centre clearances this year. Top 10 in the comp. Handballs it off to Mitchell. Inside 50. One more goal might just break the hearts of the Swans. It falls to that man, Ginnivan. And he sticks out the arms. And he loves it.
I'm loving it Macca's moment. I think Joey's got Leroy on a retainer back there at the studio because we're 8 weeks in now and it's been 8 Montagna and 0 to Brown as Collingwood players and the fans are adoring 71,000 people.
Only you would keep notes of that too.
Call Montagna.
That's very good. Okay, who's got the votes?
Stevie has said that I will do them today, so I will do them.
Triple MVP award for Case IH. Case IH end of financial year. Tractor deals are on now. Visit a dealership today.
Good to see you pronouncing your H's correctly this week, Nathan. One vote goes to Errol Goulden from the Sydney Swans. 37 disposals, 5 inside 50s, 825 metres gained.
That's a lot.
That is a lot of metres gained. Used the ball really well. 13 contested possessions as well, so he was their best player. I gave 2 votes to Darcy Moore down there in the back line for the Pies. Held up all game long. Without him, there would have been many more avenues to goals. Intercepted, did everything you'd expect from a defender, but also set them up in offence. And if you kick 5 goals, you're going to be very hard done by if you don't get the 3 votes when I'm doing them, Stephen. Brodie Myercheck made the most of all his possessions. At times it didn't look like it could have been his day, but he certainly stood up when needed. 5 goals to him, career high. 3 votes, Brodie Myercheck.
3 votes to Myercheck. Nice work. Kicked 5 goals.
He did, I said that.
Triple MVP award thanks to Case IH. End of financial year tractor deals are on now. Stevie, the long trip back to Wangaratta, yes?
Yes, Nathan. It's been a long day. Been a long drive.
Joey, what are you up to tonight?
Just first crack, Brownie, so I've got to head off now to Fox Footy. So it'd be nice if I could get going.
It'd be a great night, you and Kingy. What about you, Heath?
No, there could be a sneaky beer in the MCC for this afternoon. You never know.
Daisy?
I've got to get home. I've got dinner. I've got a nice bowl of 2008 Mosswood decanting. Natasha's got dinner on the plate, and then I will go in and do my spot at first crack.
Quickly, Heath. Choice Hotels around the grounds.
Goal to Nick Larkey, so North have brought it back to 15 points early stages, third quarter against St Kilda.
Robbo, down in the rooms.
Yeah, big crowd down here expecting it, and why not? Because they're sitting on top of the ladder, and even Brooke Warner is just yelling out to me on top of the ladder. The Magpies, she loves it. So, yeah, they're crammed in as usual, and the mob loved it. What do we have? Over 71,000 here. And they just waited. The great Peter Moore just coming in just to congratulate his son as well. So they're all cramming in and just waiting for it. Brodie Myercheck's 4th goal. Topped it off with 5. Nice hug from Darcy. and Pete. The skipper just gather him together in the circle. They'll quieten down and then they'll sing the Collingwood song. Another big mob too, as we said, broken records with regards to Sydney and Collingwood crowd. So they came out, it was bitterly cold, and they needed to do it. A pretty tight game, could have gone either way. Pies have found a way once again. So they're going to gather round. Fell in last week, as we know, by a point. Unfortunately, Sydney lost by a point last week, so it was up for grabs in that last quarter. Big Coxie gets in here. Silence.
As old America should.
On top of the world, the Pies.
Well done, Robbo. Down there in the room, 71,463 people at the MCG on a bitterly cold Sunday afternoon. Footy's good, and the Pies won by 29 points, 11-11-77. Brody Myercheck kicked 5. Sydney Swans 6-12-48. A big win to the Magpies for McDonald's Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy.
That quarter for Beacon Trade. Beacon Trade's here to partner with your business with a huge range of lighting, fans and electrical accessories. Beacon Trade. Let's make light work.
For Ream Hot Water.
Triple M rocks footy.
Built sharp for Aussie conditions. When it comes to water heating, ask your plumber to install a Ream.
Hi, it's Marty Sheargold from Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show, and right now, Triple M rocks football. Max, go on.
And Bailey Laurie, you can have a little guess at what his nickname would be with the last name Laurie. Famous cricketer, Bill Laurie.
I was thinking Hugh from House. I was thinking front end load.
I was thinking a truck.
So surely they're not going to call him front end.
Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show. Weekdays from 6 on Triple M. Get the podcast now from the Listener app.
It's Great Southern Bank's Bench Your Rent, where you could get your rent paid for a year, up to $50,000. Search Great Southern Bank promotions to enter now. It's a smart goal grafter. Great Southern Bank. Happily clever after.
T's and C's apply. See gsb.com.au/promotions. AU residents 18 plus, excluding SA, who are renting in Australia at time of draw. Ends 27/6/23. New South Wales TP/01145. ACT TP 23/00235.
Oh, who's that from? Damn it.
Licence, please.
Use your phone while driving and expect a $555 fine and 4 demerit points. A message from the TAC. Drive safely. For everyone.
G'day guys, Matt Wright here. Now escape the cold this winter with a wild territory experience at Top End Safari Camp with me. Discover the very best with airboat adventures, scenic helicopter flights, croc encounters and some great tucker. Book now at topendsafariCamp.com.au.
Once in a while a TV show comes along and takes things to a whole new level.
The most death-defying adventure series ever seen.
Freezing black lakes, sky-high falls and rising above it all, the summit. 14 Australians stepping out of the ordinary world to get to the summit and claim their share of $1 million.
I don't trust anyone but myself.
This is going to get wild.
The summit starts next Sunday at 7 on 9 and 9 now.
Well, the hottest of hot water you've ever seen. Ream comes on steady, hot and strong. It just keeps on and on. Install a Ream. Install a Ream. Install a Ream. Install a Ream.
Ask your plumber for Ream, Australia's #1.
Our favourite tune at Wild Turkey is the one that comes from within. It led Jimmy Russell to perfect our 101 bourbon. Where will your song take you? Over 18s only. Drink responsibly. Wild Turkey. Trust your spirit.
The Lowdown.
Around town. Uno is back at Hungry Jack's. Peel, match and win. Free food, cash and more. There's over 140 million in prizes to win. Play Uno at Hungry Jack's. See T's and C's at hjUno.com.au.
The Lowdown.
It's Great Southern Bank's Bench Your Rent, where you could get your rent paid for a year, up to $50,000. Search Great Southern Bank promotions to enter now. It's a smart goal grafter. Great Southern Bank, happily clever after.
T's and C's apply. See gsb.com.au/promotions. AU residents 18 plus, excluding SA, who are renting in Australia at time of draw. Ends 27/6/23. New South Wales TP/01145. ACT TP 23/00235.
Shut up! The footy's on the radio!
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Titanium Caravans. Titanium Caravans are built to tackle Australia's toughest conditions. Visit titaniumcaravans.com.au.
But a big win to the Pies at the MCG. Time to head to Marvel Stadium to catch the action between the Saints and the Kangaroos.
From 53, but Battle, the goalkeeper, back on the last line.
And it should be 52. Umpire had already blown his whistle. Larky didn't hear it. He laid the tackle, so Battle is going to go from full-back and take the 50-metre penalty. Plays on quickly. Interesting kick too. Hard work for Marshall. Got it to ground level at least. Burns tried to access Hill, who was running past. Zerha lays a fabulous tackle. Loose ball to the advantage of North Melbourne. Zerha back up on his feet. He's wrapped up by Wilkie, and he's rewarded. Tackles are sticking this afternoon.
It's good to see. He's had some big ones this evening, the Zoo. As the Saints across half-back now. Clark puts one into the hole, running onto its Stocker. He'll load up on the right boot, sends it up to Burns. He took the mark and he was collected head on afterwards by McDonald. Wants to get on with it, gets it to Wood. He'll swing back onto his left from 49. Sends it to the top of the square, back with a fly Butler. Unkind bounce came there for Owens. Slaps it back into a dangerous spot. Goldstein collected by Butler. Got the handball out. Bergman. Oh, the little don't argue by Tucker. He ran into a couple. That's going to be ball. So free kick to the Saints. There was three of them tackling. Who's going to get the ball in hand? But whoever it is will have a set shot here. Looks like it's going to be Owens.
You can feel the game heading up now. I think North Melbourne just getting a little sniff, thinking that they might be able to kick a few straight goals and come back within the game. Saints trying to arm wrestle it back too, and some great pressure in the forward 50, ending in a shot on goal. Mitchie Owens hoping that he can...
50 here. Some abuse, bit of talk back here.
Josh Simpkin off the ball, getting a little bit chirpy, and geez, Clarko won't be happy with that one.
That's real costly, isn't it, Brucey? As Owens puts it up into the second tier, he gets his first for the afternoon, and the margin back out to 17 points here at Marvel Stadium.
Yeah, it's inexcusable, really, isn't it? Just losing your temper when someone's having a shot from goal inside 50. As Spud Frawley used to say, it's a real coach killer. They're the ones that are tough, and Saints just walk into an easy goal after North have really had the ascendancy. And it seems it's Zerha tried to fight through about 2 or 3 tackles before as well, and the same thing just happened there. And it's a hard one. You need to try and get rid of the footy where you can, instead of trying to take on as many people and give the first option. And as you can see, Simpkin bit of dissent to the umpire, and they're not copping that in 2023. Give you the red hot tip.
A big hello to our Victorian audience who have just joined us for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy. It's the Saints 4-12-36, leading North Melbourne 2-7-19. Sarah Hosking and Josh Bruce on our Triple M C-Bus Super Special comments. Nat Unides boundary side. Tim Solly and Jack Heverin calling all of the action. Here's Sinclair, spits out the back, punches it low from 45 and goals. 2 in a minute for the Saints. And as the game starts to heat up, St Kilda finally get their game going. They're 5-12-42. North Melbourne 2-7-19. 14 minutes played third term. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
And that's why he's been one of the best. He's kicking a goal when they need it. His ability to just stay in play there, break open. He was on his own. No one went to him. And then finishing shot about 45 out.
Incredible kick of the footy, Jack Sinclair. I mean, we've seen how damaging he is off a halfback. And the thing I love about his kicking is he doesn't try and drill it. He doesn't try and kick it too hard. He just hits that perfect amount of trajectory on the footy. And even then, he just kicked it to the top of the goal square and let it roll through. Knows his kick back to front, and that's why he's probably going to be All-Australian again this year.
How's the mullet on him? He's got nicer hair than I do.
He loves it too, let me tell you.
Sarah Hosking, Josh Bruce on the Seabus Supers. Seabus Super making hard work pay off as the clearance here for the Saints from McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Steele and up and under the 50. Got bumped forward, Sharman. Took a little bit of a frisbee flop. And he'll get a free kick right on the 50.
Frisbee or Frosby?
Crosby. That'll do. My language is extraordinary tonight. As he goes inboard now, finds Clark. Still on the 50, so they've worked their way around the perimeter here, the Saints.
This will be a top of the square.
He just goes a little three-quarter kick here, Brucey, leading out Higgins. He saw the hole there, the little fella, and he just led into the space, and a perfect kick there by Clark. He'll go back for a set shot from 30.
It's one of those set plays. Coaches hate having long points, so when guys are just on the outside of their range, most clubs generally have a setup where the smalls will block for the talls, and invariably sometimes the smalls are the ones who end up with the mismatch, and Higgins was the lucky one to get out this time and found a bit of space.
Stabbed at it, Higgins. He's absolutely stabbed at that ball. It's gone across the face. Another minor. 5-13 the Saints. 5-13-43. North Melbourne 2-7-19. 16-minute mark of the third term on the Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard. Titanium Caravans built to tackle Australia's toughest conditions. Oh, you just got to visit titaniumcaravans.com.au.
I feel like you will be tonight.
Absolutely.
When you get home?
Scrolling.
Little browse of the website.
Maybe you're straight onto Google.
They must be running your driveway already.
I'm checking out those features for you, Brucey.
I think that's what he's working on. Zerha, good kick for Larky. He's had a big presence in this third quarter. Takes another mark inside North Melbourne's forward 50, this time from 30 out directly in front.
Yeah, we spoke about it pre-match. You know, Larky, we know he's an incredible working hard forward. And it's, as a key forward, it's all about what's happening out the field, and he's finally getting some good service. He's had 3 or 4 lace-out footies, and he's been good enough to finish him, and he's keeping him in the game, to be honest.
18 goals, 4 for the season. And he's had his kicking boot on. He's a beautiful set shot. North Melbourne get the reply. 3-7-25 of the Kangaroos. The Saints 5-13-43. That's all for McDonald's. This week only score a small Big Mac meal and a cheeseburger for just $6.90 on the My Macca's app.
Goals have been hard to come by, but you go Larky leading the way for North. Zerha again just with the 2 points and a couple of big misses. But for Saints, we got Butler with 2, Higgins with 1, Owens 1, and Jack Sinclair with 1.
It's the inaccuracy of the Saints is killing them, though, isn't it?
Yep. You look at Higgins. Again, we know he can be so dangerous, but he's only kicked the 1 goal, 2. Again, one of them went out of bounds as well, and he's running at the 20% kicking efficiency.
Back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. It's an ordinary bounce by the umpire. They'll recall that one. So for those that have just joined us here in Victoria, it was a goalless first half for the Roos. Larky's kicked 3 in this third term. They've had a bit of a sniff. And they trail this one at the moment by 18 points. So ball up in the centre square. It'll be Marshall versus Logue, who's done a lot of the ruck work today, Griffin Logue. Parked on top of that one, Ross. The umpire hovers and says you dragged it in holding the ball. So Shields will take it. He dishes off to Sheasel. He loads up a big driving, penetrating ball in the Larky direction. Down front square was Sinclair. Snap around the body, but parked underneath Bergman. He looks and goes now, Bergman. 60 from home, sends it out to the fat side. Larky's there, couldn't pluck it. Ground level, mopped up Davies Uniacke, and he's clamped. 15 metres out from the Roos goal. They trail this by 18.
They'd love to sneak another one here, North Melbourne. Make it 2 in a row. Stay in the hunt as we head towards three-quarter time. It'll be built up again. Just as Shields broke through and snapped a goal, it's not going to count. And it's coming back. 3-7 place, 5-13. Right into town for North Melbourne. It's thrown up. Marshall kicks hurriedly. Umpire's fallen over in the background. Butler on defensive 50. Steele. Beautiful handball into the corridor and releases Filippo. Has a bounce and now a second. No one comes at him from 52 metres out. Long ball is off to the left. He's going to be a player this
so
kid.
dangerous there, yeah. His ability to break away from two players, he took about 50 metres there, I think. Again, you'd love for him to be able to hit that shot. You're absolutely spent after running from half back.
His legs were going quicker than his mind. So Perez kicking jitties, leaves the square. Penetrating ball. Goldstein over the top of Patton. Good mark. Dishes off. Davies Uniac. That's an ordinary ball on the 45. Wanganeen Miller chops it off. So just a defensive side of the centre circle. He looks this way, that way. He's not sure where to go. That's an ordinary ball. Cut off Davies Uniac. Couldn't stick the mark. And then Clark had the jumper pulled. So Hunter Clark goes inside now. Stocker off a step. Just belts one inside 50. Owens flies. Couldn't quite. It was Philippou. Now at ground level. Trying to track the pill. There was Owens again. Sheasel did well. Knocked it forward. Falling to his knees. Got it up Marnie. He was met in a dead-end street by Steele. Seb Ross on top of that one with Cunnington.
Love that contest from Owens as a big young player, just working on your craft to be able to put the knee up into the defender's back and actually create a contest, bring the ball to the ground. Outstanding.
Sarah Hosking, Josh Bruce, Triple MC Bus, super special comments. Mackay back with a flight of the footy. And there's a whistle here for a push.
Looked like they pushed each other. Got away with one there, I reckon, North. But yeah, some of these Sunshine forwards, you're right, Sarah. Owens, Philippou, they're all really strong competitors, and that's what you want from your forwards, especially when they're young.
Call long down the city side wing. Only as far as Callum Wilkie, who has been picking off North Melbourne's long kicks all night. Looks for Crouch, just outside the Saints forward 50. Now the help arrives through Higgins, who gave it a hill, turns around and sets it up to a dangerous area. Sharman marks uncontested, 15 out directly in front.
Yeah, he just floated in. He came up running a defensive pattern up to about the halfway mark to try and help out the defence. This is what you want from your high half forwards, and he was able to float back down without any of the North Melbourne defenders turning their heads, and was just able to slot in the hole uncontested and take one out directly in front.
His first game of the season, at 11 disposals, he's kicked a couple of behinds, has played a handy role for St Kilda. And now he's got his first. The Saints start to pull away. That's a game-high 25-point lead. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard, 4 minutes before three-quarter time.
Again, just impressive by Sharman, just being able to read the play, float out the back and then find himself a little hole to get the ball. But I think, as we spoke about, it's just been impressive from Saints to be able to score through different avenues. Maybe not today, but across this season, we know that they've been able to score through different avenues. In Owens, Caminiti when he was in, and then also through Butler, all their small forwards as well.
Yeah, it makes it really hard to defend, doesn't it? And also, I think in the first half, North did a really good job in quelling the influence of Cal Wilkie and his intercept marking, but he's having a really strong influence in this third quarter. I think Griffin Logue was the matchup on him and was almost playing a defensive role, but he seems to have dropped that one in the third quarter.
McDonald's and Ream hot water. Saints with a clearance. Socket off the deck by Steele. Inside 50. Going back Perez. Touch of the fumbles. Knocked off at Burns. Scrambles towards goal and getting back Bergman. The double fist spoil. Through for another minor.
They're really feeling the heat on those defensive ground balls, aren't they, North? Looking very shaky down back. Saints are putting on great forward pressure and keeping it locked in their half. North are finding it really hard to get through this defensive structure.
Just got to hang on here, North Melbourne. 3.5 minutes left in this term. They trail by 26 points. And one thing we know about the Saints is they will finish strong. They're 5-1 with the one draw in fourth quarters this year. That's going to hurt. Curtis got one in the back from Stocker. Jack Zeebles comes in and tells Stocker, don't touch my mate. Yep. Curtis told to play on. Up the line, it falls off a couple of sets of hands at the back. Crouch, and now Sinclair on the wraparound. Had options to choose from. Pick the right one in Owens.
No one standing the mark, so he turns and goes immediately. Sends it up to the 50. Butler in a one-on-one. Couldn't stick the mark. Gets it at ground level. Up to Membry. On the left. Sends it inside 50. Big one-on-one. But that one favoured call. against the undersized Higgins. So 26 points, as Heb said moments ago. It's a game high for the Saints. Could be a lot uglier. They've kicked 15 behinds. 6 goals, 15. And we've got about 2.5 minutes left in this third term. As they wheel around here, they're messing around with it in the back pocket. Sheasel.
This is what we spoke about pre-game, the Saints' defensive structure. If you look at it, it's just this beautiful web. You can't get through it, and at ground level, it's really hard to identify the pockets of space.
Outside 50, and Goldstein.
He's taken some absolute
He's winding back the clock today.
He's the fourth man up. It was never likely to be his ball. He just launched over the top of all of them. And now they'll go for the switch here. Core. He's got Zeeble wide, bit of time and space, and now he completes the switch to Scott. Left half back. Nurses a short one. Curtis. Some pressure came from Butler. Scott mops up, and then he walks out of bounds. He looks back at the boundary umpire, says, "Are you sure?" So we'll have a ball up on this broadcast wing.
And I think just based on that ball movement, Zeebel's had 30 touches already at 94%, but a lot of his kicks have been going backwards and sideways because there's absolutely nowhere to go. The Saints' defensive setup is just too strong.
Josh Bruce in the back row alongside Sarah Hosking. Seabus Super making hard work pay off. Zeeble just wheels it forward. Cunnington on the end of it marks, and it gave a handball to Taylor. His kick smothered. It was a promising build-up for North Melbourne, but now it's coming back the other way.
On the counter-attack, Clark wrapped up Sheasel, got the ball out to Sinclair. His slippery handball for Crouch, arches the back. He's taken in the tackle by Scott. Did well, Scott. But he's also wrapped up by Steele, right on the point of the square. And we'll have a ball up 60 out from the Saints' goal.
And good pressure there from North, but you can just see the Saints' ability to be able to run in numbers. They draw the defender and then get that quick hands off.
Steele won the clearance. Kicks long and direct. It's at the top of the goal square. Dangerous here for North Melbourne. Higgins taken off the ball. Membry bends down and picks it up, and a couple of Kangaroos tackle him.
And Jack, you just mentioned Saints with another clearance. It's 10-3 for this quarter, Saints way.
Red Z Lending, loans for the self-employed. All of our numbers tonight. And Jack Marnie, it's been okay in his first game of the year. Kicks it out of defence. It bounces end on end on end out to the city side, and Wanganeen Miller cleans it up.
He gives it to Hill, who runs to 80 and then darts a ball inside 50. Crouch front spot, ball off hands. Higgins there. Immediately claimed in the tackle by McDonald and Zeeble. He just stays on top of him for a moment there, Zeeble. So slow to get to his feet. We've got 45 seconds left in this third term. It's been 3 goals apiece in this third quarter as the ball's tapped down. Sharking it there with Steele, gave it out. A flying shot from Burns is way out to the right, and it tumbles about 7 rows back. Ball in, right forward pocket here for the Saints. Can they find something in this last 30 seconds? They're leading by 26. It'll be ball in. Goldstein versus Marshall. Marshall works his way to the front. The ball falls to the back. Scott there. Works his way through the traffic. The handball wide. Missed the target, Zerha. Handball, Davies-Uniacke. They're fumbling around with it. And again, out of bounds, right forward pocket.
Another stoppage here with 25 seconds to go. If you're North, you just want to stop the bleeding a little bit. Make sure that you man up, locate a player, even have a +1 potentially.
35 metres out from their goal. That's a shallow throw in. Marshall took it out of the ruck. Goldstein tackled him. Ball trickles outside 50. Crouch first there. Oh, that's a genuine throw that Clark got away with. And Sheasel along the boundary line. Brings it back inboard. Wilkie just misread the ball coming in. It should be okay for St Kilda. 3/4 time siren is about to sound. And they're going to take a 26-point lead into the last break of the game. They're 6:15:51 to North Melbourne, 3:7:25. Sarah Hosking and Josh Bruce in the back row tonight. Nat Unides is boundary side. Tim Solly and Jack Hever. And that's your Sunday Twilight Call team. And for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy.
That quarter for Titanium Caravans. Titanium Caravans are built to tackle Australia's toughest conditions. Visit titaniumcaravans.com.au.
For McDonald's,
Triple M rocks footy.
This week only, score a small Big Mac meal and cheeseburger for just $6.90. Only on the My Macca's app.
You ready to hear how to win
Triple M's next Know the Show to Go experience?
Here we go now.
There's no show quite like it. And if you know Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show, you and a mate could be off to the UK with the Aussie cricket team as they bring home the Ashes.
Just gotta know the show to go. Gotta know the show to go.
Just listen to the Marty Sheargold Show for breakfast and answer a simple question at work. Next chance, 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Triple M rocks.
It's Great Southern Bank's Bench Your Rent, where you could get your rent paid for a year, up to $50,000. Search Great Southern Bank promotions to enter now. It's a smart goal grafter. Great Southern Bank. Happily clever after.
T's and C's apply. See gsb.com.au/promotions. AU residents 18 plus, excluding SA, who are renting in Australia at time of draw. Ends 27/6/23. New South Wales TP/01145. ACT TP 23/00235.
Campbell Brown here with Andrew Shea, the CEO of Builders Academy. For those already experienced, what can Builders Academy offer?
Thanks, Brownie. If you have a number of years' experience in the building and construction industry, we can help you via a process called recognition of prior learning. We gather evidence of your knowledge, skills and experience and help you pathway towards gaining a nationally recognised qualification.
Thanks, Andrew. Get in touch with Builders Academy on 1300 Legend.
RTO 21583.
Join the project tonight for a special celebration of Jock Zonfrillo. Friends and chefs from across the globe share memories of his remarkable life. A very special project, 6:30 tonight on 10 and 10 Play, followed by episode 1 of MasterChef.
It's Great Southern Bank's Bench Your Rent, where you could get your rent paid for a year, up to $50,000. Search Great Southern Bank promotions to enter now. It's a smart goal grafter. Great Southern Bank. Happily clever after.
T's and C's apply. See gsb.com.au/promotions. AU residents 18 plus, excluding SA, who are renting in Australia at time of draw. Ends 27/6/23. New South Wales TP/01145. ACT TP 23/00235.
IGA's Price Match Promise. We checked, we matched, you won't pay more. Every week we check and match the regular price of the big 2 supermarkets on hundreds of everyday products. Just look out for the Price Match tickets in store. Participating stores only. See website for full terms.
At Kmart, we're bursting with Mother's Day gifts. Mum will love our stylish sleepwear, slippers, pamper packs and more. All at our famously low prices. Now that's a good feeling. Kmart, low prices for life.
Yeah. Right now at BP, you'll get rewarded every time you fill up. Sign up to BP Rewards to earn points. Plus, you'll save 6 cents per litre on your first 5 fills. Conditions and exclusions apply. See bp.com.au.
It's Great Southern Bank's Bench Your Rent, where you could get your rent paid for a year, up to $50,000. Search Great Southern Bank promotions to enter now. It's a smart goal grafter. Great Southern Bank. Happily clever after.
T's and C's apply. See gsb.com.au/promotions. AU residents 18 plus, excluding SA, who are renting in Australia at time of draw. Ends 27/6/23. New South Wales TP/01145. ACT TP 23/00235.
Shut up! The foot is on the radio!
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Beacon Trade. Beacon Trade's here to partner with your business with a huge range of lighting, fans and electrical accessories. Beacon Trade. Let's make light work.
After a pretty underwhelming first half, things started to open up in that third quarter and St Kilda took full advantage. They lead by 26 points, 6-15-51 to the Kangaroos, 3-7-25. Dan Butler, the only multiple goal kicker for the Saints. He's got 2, and Nick Larkey has got a couple for the Kangaroos as well. Make that 3. In fact, he's got all 3 of their goals. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, built tough for Aussie conditions. When it comes to water heating, ask your plumber to install a Ream. Nat Yannidi's boundary side, we've just got some news coming in from the MRO.
Yeah, the match review officer has been pretty busy tonight, or last night I should say. Jacob Van Rooyen has been banned or offered a 2-match suspension for striking Ballard of the Gold Coast. That was yesterday. That incident was graded as careless with high impact and high contact, so he can accept a 2-week ban. Tyler Brockman from Hawthorn's also been offered a 1-match ban, and Brad Close of Geelong has been offered a 1-match ban for rough conduct. On this game, clean bill of health for both teams at the moment. They've both still got their subs, so Lazaro and Baitel still the subs for this game. Interesting, they kicked 3 goals in that quarter, Jack, but in the first half they went goalless, and it's the first time that North Melbourne has been goalless in the first half since 1979. As I say this, Ben Cunnington is putting on the jacket. Looks like he is going to be subbed out of the match. Has been really struggling, not just for possessions, but he just looks really proppy out there. Came off limping off training on Thursday. So surprised that he's even out there, to be perfectly honest, but he is now been subbed out of the game.
Oh, nicely done that. So the sub activated for North Melbourne. Sarah Hosking, Josh Bruce. Third quarter, as we say, the game started to open up and was a little more free-flowing.
Yeah, and a little bit more scoreboard reward there. As we mentioned, Larky kicking 3 solo and then Saints 3-6. So they had their opportunities. Their ball movement was a lot better, running in numbers, smashing North in the handballs and leading disposals for that quarter.
Fourth term underway for McDonald's and Ream. Hot water, Triple M Rocks footy. Davies-Uniacke works it backwards, and then Sheasel off the back of the square. Inches a kick up to half forward, but it's marked by Battle. He gets a right foot ball out wide, looking for Marshall. Ball falls to the back. Out there was Bergman, spun out of the tackle by Philippou. Goldstein. Handball, Sheasel. Loopy one, set up the man in Tucker. He goes back and finds it, Sheasel. And now Butt overrunning it was Battle. And then the tackle laid on the outer wing by Hill. So we'll have a ball up on the outer side. So they need the first one here, the Roos. There's no doubt about it. They trail by 26. As Davies-Uniacke is willing his team to get forward. He sends it out of the clearance, inside 50, off the hands of Logue. Howard there, dropped it, got it up to his man in Wilkie. Tumbles one out. Philippou couldn't pick up on the bounce. Now on the rebound. Davies-Uniacke on the 50, gives it to Stevenson, fires from 40 and buries it. They get the first goal of the final term, the Roos. And they are well and truly in this game. 4-7-31. The Saints 6-15-51. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Yeah, really good start to the quarter from the Roos. What I really liked there was Griffin Logue. He's obviously playing up forward, he's up front with Comben out this week, and he just had a 2v1 against two really premier key defenders, brought the ball to ground. They were able to force a scrubby kick outside of 50. Clean hands, Davies-Uniacke and to Stevenson, who finished nicely from 45, and that's the perfect start for the Kangaroos. That forward 50 pressure, re-entries, that's how they're going to score today, by getting the ball to ground and obviously some of those dirty goals, and they're giving themselves a sniff.
It's 12 goals for the season now for Jaden Stevenson.
And loves a long sleeve, the big fella.
He does. The McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. That's not a great bounce. It's coming back. You see the sub for St Kilda activated as well. We'll get back down to Nat in a moment with the details on that one. On hands and knees, Sinclair got back up and works together with Marshall with a handball. Kicks a low ball to half forward that rolls towards Membry. Hard one for him to control. Mackay might have been in his back. Umpire said play on. That's Sharman. By hand to Wanganeen Miller up. And back to half forward they go. Mason Wood drives this football deep. Membry sat under it, couldn't mark. Tucker takes possession. Owen sticks another tackle, and we get a forward 50 stoppage for the Saints.
They lead by 20 here, St Kilda. Hasn't been convincing at any stage. 15 behinds as we're down. Scrambly ball out of the congestion. Marshall, Membry sliding in. Higgins is there front centre. Ball tapped out. Mackay, nervous moments. Sharman opts for the boot. Going in Zeeble. Handballs 1-2 with Core. And then belts a high one. He's hit the wrong side of the Sherrin. And he's put it out of bounds on the full.
It's what we've been saying all day. St Kilda's forward pressure. North Melbourne look really, really under pressure, especially at ground level inside their D50. Saints applying great pressure and forcing the turnover here.
So Wood has it in the pocket. He goes inside off the fingertips of Stevenson. Marshall got it to Clark, dropped the ball in the tackle. And they've made a meal of it, the Saints. Bob Jane, Team Arts, Nat.
Jade Gresham has been subbed out of the game. The physios are just putting ice on his right knee as we speak. He did get a little bit of treatment in that third quarter, but did go back on. So he's been subbed out. Jack Vitale is into the game.
Bob John, Team Arts, have a great buy three, get one free deal. Sorry, Plus Instant Cashback. Call or order online today. T's and C's apply. Apologies to our friends at Bob Jones Team Arts. We love them.
No, they're wonderful people. Good kick from Larky. Finds his mate Zerha. Man on the mark, 50 metres out. Little worse than a 45-degree angle. Sets it up to the goal square. It's all St Kilda players who fly. And Sinclair waits down. Handball's off to Wilkie and tells him to send it out to the city side, and that's exactly what he does with Owens.
Just a little short, stabby one. Owens in the back pocket. He drives one outside 50. They have to compete here. Sharman opted for the spoil, but a good mark taken by Core. He goes backwards on the 45, about 30 metres. He's got Zeeble all alone. He'll just wind up, sends a big penetrating one. Larkey flies, ball off hands. Numbers with the Saints. Battle. Handball's wide. Treading the boundary was Wood, and spits one to the sub by Tell, who's just come on the ground.
And that's 2 forward 50 entries there from North Melbourne. Both times the ball's been brought to the ground, but an easy escape for Saints defenders.
Sarah Hosking, Josh Bruce, Triple M Seabus Super Special comments. Footy goes back to Curtis Taylor, who sends it inside North Melbourne's forward 50. Stevenson crashed the pack. Umpire comes in and calls for it.
Even though the Saints are able to get the footy out, I'm loving North Melbourne's contest ahead of the footy. Griffin Logue, Larkey, and I'm loving Zerha playing back in the forward line instead of the midfield. He's adding a real different dynamic down there and allowing him to bring it to ground.
20-point lead to the Saints. Balled up in the forward pocket. Zerha did well as he was falling out of bounds. Squared it up to a dangerous area, but Wilkie's there for St Kilda. He's been fabulous all night long, and now he releases Hill.
Hill with a bit of run and dash. He's going to have to stop and prop here, though. No one to give it to, so he handballs sideways to Wilkie, who just casually waltzes and spits the kick onto the chest of Crouch, right on defensive 50. Now there's moments here for the Saints, actually. They haven't really felt in control of this game, and if the Roos got the next one, it'd be a real sniff as Crouch goes to the outer side. Sharman collects at ground level. He handballs back to Hill. Tucked on the boundary, he goes down to half forward. Owens flies, he kept his feet, well done. Handball off, a bit of run and dash here. Philippou handballs to Membry from 46. He sends it into the corridor, but puts it onto the chest of Stevenson.
Had a 3v2 ahead of the footy there and managed to find Stevenson, who works really hard back. His work rate's really improved this season, and he's having a really nice game today, working up and down the ground as a forward.
6:15 plays 4-7. It's a 20-point lead of the Saints. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. Davies Uniacke back into the team tonight has been very good. Low marks strongly on the wing. Goes back inboard to Shields, who's going to get it back off Sheasel. They've chipped their way up to half forward.
Saints have got an extra in the 50 here.
Curtis Taylor, the next link in the chain. He heads towards Larkey, who attracts a crowd. Ball got out the back. Goldstein had a fumble. Wilkie's kick smothered. Zerha pounces on the loose ball and misses across the face. Cuts it back by 1 to 19. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. Beacon Trade is here to partner with your business with a huge range of lighting, fans and electrical accessories. Beacon Trade, let's make light work.
On the Triple M, looks like Rowan Marsh is getting a bit of treatment to that left ankle of his. He's very important to St Kilda. He's their sole ruckman, so wouldn't want him to be missing too much of this last quarter.
We'll head down to Nat shortly and check on that as they go outside 50 of the Saints. Crouch spins, pirouettes, and then scrambles the ball forward. It's going to come back, though. The driving ball tumbling up to half forward is cut off by Stocker. And he fans one wide. And Crouch takes it at right half back. They've lost all momentum here, the Saints. They're just trying to hold on to this one. As Crouch will just send one down the line. Ball off the hands of Core. Ground level, mopped up. Philippou. Handball's about 20 forward. Cut off Zeeble. He's tackled. His handball to Tucker, who retreats by hand to Bergman. From a standing start down the line. Good one-on-one contest. Couldn't reel it in, though, Curtis. And now they dive on top of him. They're crying for holding the ball. The umpire says there's no way he had an opportunity. We'll have a ball up on the outer wing.
Nat Unides for Bob Jane T-Munts.
Not great for the Saints or Rowan Marshall. He's just limped down to the rooms, had his boot off. They were looking at his right ankle, which was already strapped, so they might be re-strapping it. I'll keep you posted.
Little squirt in it. He'll be back in no time.
8 minutes into the fourth quarter. The lead is 19 to the Saints, who are looking to go 6-2 for the season. They're not there yet. Lowe doing the ruck work. Beautiful tap down to Simpkin. Now Shields kicks on his left foot. High ball is long. Battle came across and wasn't paid the mark. Probably had it for long enough. Stocker's got some work to do for the Saints. Off to Hunter Clark. Had a kick.
Whoa!
Starts. What a fly from Philippou. That's a different type of air up there.
Oh, put on the rocket pack. As they go to half forward in the Saints. Remember, he stood his ground and the umpire said he blocked. So Mackay will get a free kick. They were out there, the Saints.
You can see why he went such a high draft pick, Filippo. He's got some talent. He's going to be a good player.
That's one for the highlight reel for sure, Brucey. You got the little double pumpers watch here on the Harvey Norman. Up to 30% off clearance mobiles now at Harvey Norman. Hurry while stocks last. Talk us through it, Bruce.
Oh, it's beautiful. Got the lovely little sit, got the second rise, and managed to take it. Sometimes when you get that second lift, it can hit the hands a little bit harder, but he was able to hold on. I remember I used to be able to jump like that.
As the ball's locked in again on the outer wing. Shields at the bottom of that one. So 10-minute mark of this final term. Saints 51, North Melbourne 32, 19-point buffer as North get it out of the clearance. Simpkin gives it to Davies Uniacke. This way, that way. He handballs it off Tucker. Back to Davies Uniacke. Pulls the trigger from 40. And misses to the left. That was the one they needed, the Roos.
They've been absolutely all over St Kilda here. It's been a forward half game, keeping it locked in their forward line. Re-entries, Saints just can't keep it out. It's North have really come to play.
North with the 9 inside 50s to St Kilda 2 this quarter.
Red Z lending loans for the self-employed. Filippo flies again, same spot. Didn't mark that time. Simpkin picks it up and looks towards Curtis, who couldn't hang on. Wanganeen Miller are under pressure, just kicks hurriedly and tries to get it out of the dangerous area. 50 metres out from North Melbourne's goal. Perez couldn't take it away. Burns does for the Saints, and now they've got the corridor if they want it. Higgins gathers and turns and goes. Filippo stops and props. And he heads out wide to Hill. The overlap run, City side wing. Kicks long. And Zeeble knocks it towards the boundary line. It's not out of play just yet. Owens bodied off the football. Butler gathers for the Saints and kicks the belly of the Sher, and it's sat in the air for a long time. And Higgins kept his eye on it the whole time.
Now that's a hospital pass if I've ever seen one. Accidental though.
Yeah, he did well to stand on the footy there. He knew the contact was coming, and we know Jack Higgins, he struggles with his set shots directly in front and his drop punts. He can sometimes, the ball drop can do a little bit of funny things, but he's the preferred kick on the snap here.
2 goals, 1 for the afternoon. Kicks an important goal for the Saints. And it might just be enough for them now. 24-point lead with 11 minutes left. They're 7-15. The Kangaroos 4-9. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Yeah, great courage there from Jack. We know that he is such a courageous player. He's happy to sit under the flight. Knew that someone was going to come in and put some pressure on, but the ability just to stand under it and take the ball nicely. And again, he hasn't had the greatest luck in front of goal today, but nice for him to finish off. And I'd find it hard for North Melbourne to come back from here and win. They've got to kick another 4 goals to make it, but I think goals have been shy today, and it's going to be a very tough outing with only 11 minutes left.
It's funny how it happens, isn't it? North Melbourne had all the ascendancy. They had the inside 50s. They just couldn't finish, and then Saints go coast to coast and take the wind out of the sails.
They've only kicked 4 goals for the match. The Roos, they're going to have to kick 4 in 11 minutes. They're going to give them the clearance here for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Shields, miss Simpkin. They're going to have to be cleaner than that. As Saints will get a free kick to Owens, a true centre-half back. So they'll just milk the clock here a bit, the Saints. Sometimes you got to win ugly, and it has been a bit of that today. As Hill looks back inside, he's got Stocker, just the 15. Players are out on their feet here. There's not a lot of movement around the ground. Just statues everywhere as Stocker drives along now. The big nest for Mackay there off hands. Memory stayed down. He sharked it. And then a right foot ball to advantage for Burns. Getting back Marnie. Spoiled. Bytel the sub. He can't get there in time. Wood. Tackle by McDonald. Wrapped up through the hands of Bytel now. And then getting busy there was Higgins again. He's claimed in the tackle by Perez. Ball up, right forward pocket, Saints.
We tick up to 14 minutes played in this last quarter. Choice Hotels around the grounds earlier today. It was Collingwood by 29 points. And Port Adelaide 5-point winners over Essendon at the Adelaide Oval. North Melbourne hoisted high out of defence. Hunter Clark trying to crash his way through. Couldn't. Still fighting for the footy. Hill comes up with it. Kicks quickly, but Goldstein's there. for North Melbourne. If they want to try and make any sort of inroads in this margin, they're going to have to start to play a little more aggressively. Marnie honours the lead of Stevenson, who marks at right half back.
Brucey, Sarah, I'd love to hear your thoughts. They got rid of a lot of experience. Hall out, Kane Turner out. They brought in the young kids. Do you like this setup for the Roos?
Yeah, I do. I really think they've been really competitive, North. They've been really putting on high pressure. You know, they've come to play. They've kept the ball inside 50. Some of the youthful exuberance has shown. They just haven't finished in front of goal at the end of the day. And I think the class has shown that St Kilda, you know, they're probably going to play finals this year, and North are still in that rebuilding phase, but it's definitely an improvement on the last couple of weeks for sure.
Steele in front of the interchange gates, sends it inside 50. The big nest forms. Sharman on the second bite, couldn't quite. Trying to barge through his Wood, and then Burns, he's had a big afternoon. And then McDonald for the Roos is laid in the tackle by Philippou, who took a big mark moments ago. And he'll be on AFL.com during the week, no doubt, just watching that back time and time again.
You got a favourite hanger of yours, Brucey, that you took?
Yeah, the one against Yabers is pretty good. Came second in mark of the year, got robbed by Nick Nui in 2015.
Not dirty about it at all?
No, not at all.
What would you have won?
I can't remember. I think it might have been a lifetime supply of Weet-Bix, which is pretty good, but the car would have been better. I think they got rid of the car.
Kids would have loved the Weet-Bix.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I used to love them as a kid, 7 in the morning, 7 at night.
7?
7 at night?
What's the best you've done?
Yeah, as soon as you get home from school, you know, Weet-Bix, sugar, beautiful.
That's 14 in a day.
Yeah, that's impressive.
That's a lot of weight.
That's a growing boy right there.
That is. That's why those skinnies are as impressive as what they are, Brucey. We won't mention the halftime pipe. 7:15:57 the Saints. North Melbourne 4:9:33. Just over 16 minutes gone in this last quarter. Saints just happy to slow the pace of this game down a little. Look after the lead, which is 24 points at the moment. And Stocker changes direction and goes to Wanganeen Miller on defensive 50.
Bob Jane teammates, Nat, what do you got for us on Rowan Marshall?
He's just re-emerged from the rooms, gave that ankle a quick test and looks like he's going to be heading out shortly.
The Saints, right back flank. Patton, short option, finds Sinclair, dishes back to Patton, who's driving by, and then a bullet past, finds Sharman through centre wing. He's been serviceable. Came in for Cordy today. He's played his role, he's kicked the one major. Missed a couple, but he's presented well. He goes into the corridor now, finds Wanganeen Miller. He handballs off to Stocker, who had to stop and wait, and then munts a ball inside 50. And it's turned over onto the chest of Marnie.
Got one more in.
I'm sure Rowan Marshall got a little bit of love down there from the doctors. They're hit and miss, the Saints doctors. I remember one time Dean Polo got one straight through his thumb and ended up squirting down on his shoes. So Dr. Ian Stone, I don't know, he mustn't have been wearing his glasses that day.
I'm just picturing that. Sinclair to Hill. This overlap run that comes from defence has been relentless in this last quarter. Great kick to the hot spot. Mason Wood outmarks 2 Kangaroos. And we'll go back from just about point-blank range to finish the game.
And let them know too, gave Luca McDonald one in the chest on the ground. A little bit of feeling in that one.
What a turnaround he's having. 5th in the competition for goal assists. Number 1 at the Saints for inside 50s. One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Won the Robert Harvey Clubman Award last year, coaching with the AFLW. He's really found a new life.
He's just kicked it. Just. That kind of sums up this game, really. 8:15:63, St Kilda, they're home now. North Melbourne 4:9:33, Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Again, you just look at the run and carry ability from Hill there, just able to hit up Mason Wood. He's just been outstanding and been able to really build out his game as a solid game across this season. He's got 17 disposals today, a couple of inside 50s, and his contested possessions as well is right up there.
He'd be in the All-Australian conversation, wouldn't you think, Timmy, for that wing position?
Sorry, that...
Mason Wood would be in the All-Australian conversation in the squad.
I don't know if you're asking the right person. I'm a Saints supporter, so yes.
Yeah, you'd have 22 Saints players out there. We go.
So back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy. The ball down. Owens is there. Tapped out. Oh, Sharking on that one. Shields did well. He got it out to Marnie. Streaming forward here, the Roos. Jury on debut. Spits it in. It's going to be cut off. No. Did well, Logue. Got it out wide. Drop footy. Oh, here goes Curtis barging through. Bit of muscle. And couldn't quite break his way through. Ball up 15 metres out from North Melbourne's goal.
It's a bit of burst of energy from you, Timmy. I like that. You stood up.
Bit of action.
Yeah.
Hands go out.
Tried to make something happen.
Must have been the meat pie at half time.
I think he was trying to spot the little one down the crowd, weren't you?
See if they haven't kicked the crap out of each other yet, the two solid kids.
Babysitting from the box.
Bouncing ball. Goes from centre half back to centre half forward for the Saints, and Cause there first for North Melbourne. Plays the broadcast side out for Drury, who labours after the footy on debut. He can certainly hold his head high, Blake Drury. 12 disposals in his first game. Let's have a look at the Rowan Marshall incident here, Timmy.
That's after he's come back on the ground, I think, is it?
Rolled ankle?
Rolled ankle, left ankle. So, looks like he's back on the pine as the ball's in on the broadcast wing. A little falcon there from Goldstein. Shields got it up towards Taylor. He got it forward. Diving on top, knocking it out. Sharman dropped the pill. Now Shields. Handball's back. Perez on the Toyota logo. Sends a high one inside 50. Good shape here, Howard. Had to sit and wait. The spore came. Now Scott takes it on and disposed of it incorrectly in the tackle. So Patton will just steady things in defence for the Saints.
Nat Unides for Bob Jane Team Arts, Rowan Marshall.
So what's happened is he never actually went back on in that fourth quarter. He was running up and down the boundary. He was ready to go, but that Mason Wood goal was actually basically the sealer in their eyes, and they've decided not to risk him. So they've just put ice on the ankle. So he's done for the day, but you would assume it's just precautionary.
That's good news for Saints fans, Nat. Well done. They take on Adelaide next Sunday at the Adelaide Oval. It's a big test for both teams. It'll be one of the games of the round. North Melbourne have got Port Adelaide in Hobart on Saturday afternoon. As Marnie uses Flynn Perez. And we're down to the last 4.5 minutes. It's a 30-point lead to the Saints.
Might get some of the Red Z landing stats in the back row there. Good guys.
Yeah, the Red Zeds, Saints on top. Callum Wilkie, 27 touches. He's been superb back there. Brad Hill with 25, Ronnie Burns with 23, and Wanganeen Millera. I always struggle with that one, 23 as well. 34 for Zeeble down back. They've been busy down there, and Sheasel closing in on 30 again as his first-year player. He just loves following the footy, that young fella.
Red Z Landing, loans for self-employed, REDZED. Bit action down on the boundary, Nat, for Bob Jane Team Arts.
Yeah, just got a crowd figure for you guys. 22,065 here at Marvel Stadium today. Not bad for a North home game.
Fine work by you as Logue has taken the mark right on the 50. He's going to have to get the old double barrel out here. From 55 on the left. It's going to fall short. It's gone right to the top of the square. Ball off hands. Shark by Scotty. Scrambles one. It goes almost backwards in the end across the face. And it's going to beat young Drury across the line. Right forward pocket for the Roos.
I've really liked Griffin Logue's game today. I feel like he's competed really hard. He's been 2v1. He's had, Saints have got some really strong key defenders. Obviously, Wilkie's had a good game, but I feel like Griffin Logue's been outnumbered 2v1 and brought the ball to ground numerous times and helped his small forwards get into the game, and shouldn't be underrated changing position.
Spoken like a man who's changed position this year. Does he need to stay there, do you think, Griffin Logue? Is that the best spot for him with his team the way they are?
Oh, I think when you don't have Combin out there, you just can't leave Larky one-on-one because he just gets 2v1s or 3v1s all day, so you just need another tall there. And I actually really like the move of Zurhar going forward as well again this week. He's had a bit of midfield time, but spending a lot of time forward as well, which is really helping him structurally.
Higgins has found Hill in the centre square at Marvel Stadium. A handball to Wanganeen Miller and punches a low kick for Butler, who might have had his arms chopped by Bergman. Umpire said no. And Zeeble gets one high. Butler gives that free kick away. So Kangaroos footy with 2.5 minutes left. It's a 30-point lead on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
It's a good kick there by Wanganeen Miller. Just darted it low into the space and made Butler lead at him. Zeeble collected on the kick. I think it was during the kick. He didn't like it, Jack. Got over there. Oh, here we go. A bit of over the top. Bit of jockey riding the horse action. As it's a 50-metre penalty against the Saints. Young Drury with ball in hand.
They're still going at it, 150 metres off the ball out in the fan club there, Zeeble. He loves a scrap.
He does. As Drury is taken right up to the centre wing. He just fans a short one to Shields. He's been serviceable again. Got off to Perez. Handball wide for Marnie. The two guys that came in today. Gets it to Zeeble in the boundary. His kick partly smothered. Hard work there for Goldstein. He never got given an opportunity, and he was carried across the line by Howard. Let's watch here on the Harvey Norman. Brucey, talk us through it.
It wasn't even that late from Butler, but Zeeble is one of the hottest heads in the competition, and he's had a tough couple of years, the big fella, being the captain of the North, so fair enough to have a little scuffle here and there.
Saw it on the Harvey Norman replay. Curtis Taylor from 50 metres kicks it to the goal square. Mark was dropped by Battle. He's happy to walk it through for a behind. Up to 30% off clearance. Mobiles now at Harvey Norman. Hurry while stocks last.
Don't forget, built tough for Aussie conditions, Hev. When it comes to water heating, there's only one option. You ask your plumber to install a ream.
I actually need to do that.
Can confirm. Reams are the best.
Absolutely. We love our friends at Ream. As the Saints here, just happy to work it around in the defensive 50. Wanganeen Miller. A minute and a half left on the clock here. They got off to an okay start, the Saints. They led by 20 at half-time. Larkey came out at the start of that third term, kicked a couple quickly, got the margin back to 10. Then the Saints steadied with goals through Owens, Sinclair and Sharman. Led by 26 at three-quarter time. And they lead by 29 points here as the kick to the out of the wing. A mark taken by Ben Mackay. It's just going to go back on the 45 to the angriest man on the ground, Zeeble. He'll switch it back. He hasn't hit a target there. Perez under pressure. Tackled by Butler. Wrapped him up. Umpire says, give it to me.
No prior there, but certainly put him under pressure.
And we're down to the last minute of this game. Saints by 29 points. Bytel trying to handball it free. 55 metres out from St Kilda's goal. Crouch found a bit of space. Now has Patton options to choose from inside their forward 50 and finds Bytel.
And Saints with an ugly win today, but their next outings, they've got Adelaide next week. Again, probably a tough game for them. Giants following that and Hawthorn. North Melbourne on the other side. They've got Port, Sydney, Collingwood and Essendon for their next 4 games. Looks like it's going to be a tough run.
It's not going to get any easier for North Melbourne. So Bytel will kick pretty much on the siren. Geez, struck it nicely. And off to the left. The Saints go to 6-2. And get a bit of momentum back after last week's loss. Winners by 30 points. Ross Lyon's face in the St Kilda commentary box just about sums it up.
Very nonplussed that was. Glad to get away with that one. Go marching in, oh, when the Saints go marching in, oh, how I want to be with St Kilda when the Saints go marching in.
$16.64 to $4.10.34. And a couple of goals to Higgins and Butler for the Saints. Singles after that for North Melbourne. Nick Larkey kicked 3. Jaden Stevenson with 1. Let's get down to take a listen to Mateus Philippos talking to Sarah Jones, courtesy of Fox Footy.
Year of AFL football.
Yeah, look, I can't really put it into words, but I'm absolutely loving it. Just, it's such a privilege to be able to play the game that I love and you know, make a living out of it. So it's been awesome.
The highlight for us today watching you was a magnificent marker. If you have a look over there, we've got the vision of it. Talk us through what was going through your mind there.
Yeah, I just saw it up in the air and I knew there was a contest forming, you know, beneath me. I just jumped and, you know, got a boost and got up there and gladly hung on to it. So, yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Did you take many speckies as a junior footballer?
No, I haven't. I've only gotten on shoulders like twice now, once against Carlton, which I dropped, but then that one. So it's I've always had the jumping ability. I just haven't gone for him, and that's been something Dad's spoken to me about. But, yeah, I guess Robert Harvey's been great in that sense, telling me to go for my marks. And, yeah, I guess I'm starting to get up there.
I reckon that's a contender for goal of the mark of the year?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'll leave that to the fans and judges.
Well, we think it was. Your first year and being under a coach like Ross Lyon, what's the number one thing you've learned from him?
Yeah, that's a good question. Just, I think the best thing that he's taught me, you know, as a person more so than anything, is just to focus on process. You know, whether in football or in life in general, just, you know, stay focused on the process, don't focus on results, and you get to where you want to get.
We often hear first-year players get to this part of the season and it becomes a bit of a grind, you get a bit tired. How are you feeling physically with your energy levels? Are you feeling like you might need a rest soon?
No, physically it hasn't been the challenge. Surprisingly, it's been mentally. Just taking my mind away from football more than anything, and the boys have been great in that sense, Ross as well. So, yeah, just staying focused mentally off field, you know, whether that's uni or enjoying time with my friends. So, yeah.
You've got the Crows next. Always good to get back to South Australia, where you grew up, and be able to play in front of some friends and family.
Yeah, it should be good. I'm looking forward to having that with friends and family in the crowd.
Well done tonight. Well done on that mark, and we're certainly enjoying your career so far.
Thank you. Thanks, Sarah. Appreciate it.